ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਸਲਾਮ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਨੇ 'ਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ and I think what we'll try to do, Ali Paji, is to keep it in English and Punjabi, and we'll see how that goes. Um, so today's space is very special. I have with me also. So we are live currently on multiple channels. We have a Twitter space which is on. We also have we are live streaming on Twitter on my handle. We are also live streaming on Instagram and YouTube. So Instagram, I have the same handle FTW Harjeet, in case you are watching it on Instagram. And today with me, I also have on the live stream. Twitter space people probably can't see him, but on the live stream we have Ali Hamza. And he's a former fighter pilot from Pakistani Air Force, and he very graciously, on very short notice, accepted my request to join this space. And the reason why we are doing this space, I think, is because something came out. And given that Ali Hamza and myself, and a bit about myself, I'm Harjeet. I'm based out of Seattle, Washington now, born in Punjab, or Indian occupied Punjab to be more accurate, and was raised there, served in the Air Force there for a couple of years before I moved to US, and I work in multinational IT sector firms here. And Ali Hamza and myself, we have been analyzing this momentous event. I would call it historical, and I would say a kind of a turnkey event, I think, in the history of the subcontinent, called Operation Sindoor by the Indians. I think the Pakistani name is honestly, like, it's too difficult. They should have they zero marks to them for choosing the name, though it is a good name. But like, in terms of publicity, it's difficult to Bunyan and Mansoor. It's difficult to remember Punjabiyan vaste. But anyways, Sindoor, I think, is a more popular name. So Operation Sindoor. So we'll talk. We suddenly we've been analyzing this, but suddenly now there has been a press conference. The Indian side has been very quiet in terms of its claims, but suddenly there has been a press conference by the Indian chief, and they've been quiet for almost 90 days. I don't know how many days have passed, 70 days, 80 days, 90 days, and they have made certain claims. So we couldn't let it go. Okay, we had to react to this claim. Ali Paji, what was your first reaction when you heard that the IAF chief has come out with this?
Thank you very much, Paji, for having me. First of all, I am honored, and Salam and Sat Sri Akal to everybody listening. And we were talking about this for the past 2 months, and then finally we got bored of Operation Sindoor and the kills and everything. So we moved on. The last podcast I did with Ali Chishti Bhai, it was regarding the geopolitics. Like, the India is in SEO also, and BRICS also, and Quad also. So we forgot about this. But I think the Indian Air Force, they don't want to let it go. They want us to talk again and again and again about this, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, we claimed our all the targets, 6 aircraft shot down 6-0 on the first day. They took more than 3 months. Secondly, the chief of the staff, it's not a press conference. Like, he's talking in the HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited auditorium, and it's a kind of a speech. And then he suddenly goes on and he starts talking about that I have shot this aircraft, that aircraft, etc. So, I mean, this is first of all, this is amazing that it took him 3 months, more than 3 months rather.
Yeah.
Secondly, a very, very important thing, I think, which people have missed in this, he says something about that this time we have taken care of the ghost of Balakot. So you see, before this aircraft and targets. So I was talking about this last month also, that the Indians, the Modi government especially, they were interested in videos and optics. This was not a war for damage. This was a war for videos, and they lost a Heron drone, Israeli made Heron drone. It was very close to the LOC, right? Because it was making videos in the targets of Azad Kashmir, and they showed only those videos, right? Rest of
Yeah.
everything is open source satellite imagery. So from this, I think that since 2019, AP Singh has just taken over. Now I think it's been not even a year as Air Force Chief, but Modi and his all his minions, they were waiting since 2019, because in 2019 Balakot strikes, they couldn't show this, that we have hit this and we have that and all that. So this was all like, again quoting AP Singh, that we wanted to take care of the ghost of Balakot. So basically, it is for that that you have to take care of those targets that I have to show videos. Otherwise, this is a myth. The number of aircraft is only five. Four, not four, not six. Exactly five. That President Donald Trump told us in his speech, that there were five aircraft short. So Pakistan Air Force is claiming six failed, right? International media, they have shown videos of four wreckages of four Indian aircraft just after on the next day, on the 7th May. But Air Chief Marshal AP Singh, he just says five. Now, five aircraft, whether Indian, whether Pakistani, and the number is also exact. So you
And
cannot
nobody knows.
dispute Donald Trump.
He says
Yeah.
five confirmed
So,
kill. He says
yeah,
five
five
confirmed
confirmed.
kill from SHW system. Now, which SHW system, Pakistani aircraft or Indian? And we'll go through that. Ali Baji, you kind of set it up very right. What I was thinking was for the format, I think he spoke for around 50 minutes in that conference. We will not. What I was thinking was that I'll play certain part of the his speech so that we can, and we will stop in between and give live reaction to the claims he's making. And there's a lot that a body language of an officer can tell you, right? Suppose you are, fighter pilot, you have a kill, how you speak about it tells you a lot. And now there are accomplished liars like Bill Clinton that you can't never make out whether they're lying or telling the truth. But I can tell you, Air Marshal Amarpreet is no Bill Clinton, and and it's very interesting because Air Marshal Amarpreet had gathered a reputation of talking to the part. Like he had gathered a reputation and earned the respect, I would say, even to the from the Pakistani side, that okay, finally there is a chief who is telling the truth to the Indian babus and the Indian government. When he went to HAL factory and he basically said that you guys are not delivering Tejas, it's not coming. He stood in front of Rajnath Singh where he made that statement that we are made to sign on programs which we know are failure, which he was referring to Tejas, that they are never coming. And so now, suddenly, after 90 days, the same person is making these statements. So it's very interesting. And we will analyze a bit about Air Marshal AP Singh as well. Using our background, we will speculate what might have happened here and why he's making these statements and whether they and when we listen to this, honestly, when I heard about it, I went with an open mind that maybe he has evidence. And but when I listened to it, and my immediate reaction was, oh man, like this is all bump cum. This is bullshit. And and I'll talk about it why I call it so based on my assessment. I might be wrong. I'm not a god, but like I might be biased. But the fact is that I find no credibility in whatever he said. But let's play through these clips, Ali Paji, and then I'll stop and then I'll take your reaction. I'm just sharing on screen. This is Air Marshal Amarpreet. People who on the and people who are on space, they can also watch us on live stream. And in the end, we'll take questions from the audience. But here is Air Marshal Amarpreet. As you see, it's a 56-minute clip. But I'm going to start from in the initial portion. He basically covers the how they lobbed the bomb, the Battle of 6th and 7th May. There, it's very interesting. He doesn't talk about the loss at all. He doesn't talk about the Pakistani reaction. He just talks about we went and we dropped these bombs, we destroyed these targets. And then he now talks about what happened on the 9th and 10th of May. And we will start from there. I think that's where I'm interested, where he then comes up with the story of S400. Okay, here I'm playing it.
One particular airfield and decimate that airfield. Attack idea was to give him that feeling or give him that indication.
Okay, it's too far ahead. Let me pull it back.
North to south, they tried to penetrate various classes of drones, including weaponized. We were able to neutralize most of their weapons by either countermeasures, some of them by using our air-to-air guns as well as SHWs. systems like Akash and all have taken down many of their loiter munitions which have come in, the weaponized ones. None of their aircraft could come anywhere near the boundaries of Akash and even MR-SAM. All their aircraft were taken on by LR-SAM because they were trying to stay away, but still they were within our ranges at times, and that is the opportunity targets that we got. As far as our offensive was concerned, so that night we held no hold bar, we didn't have any hold bar, and we decided that we will go attack at pan front and stretch his resources. And the idea was once again not to attack one particular airfield and decimate that airfield. The idea was to give him that feeling or give him that indication that, look, we can attack you deep inside at will wherever we want to. So some of the places that were attacked, like this is a command and control center, it's their Noor Khan base. This is the after attack, and this is before attack. Rahim Yar Khan base. This is based on specific intelligence. We had taken a call that here we have to attack the airfield. So the airfield was attacked, and their building, the main building where the planning goes on, which is also used as a civil terminal building also at times. As far as Sukur airfield is concerned, we attacked their UAV hangar and a radar site. You have the visuals available here. This is the hangar which has been flattened, and this is the radar site which is before and after. Polari, again, an AEWC hangar was attacked. And here we have very clear hint that there was an aircraft inside when this attack took place. Sargodha.
Okay, I'll talk about Sargodha later, but just stop here. Ali Bhai, what do you make out from what you have heard till now?
Okay. First of all, Bhaji, like you said, I respected this man a lot because as a Pakistani, I was thinking that, oh my God, finally Indians have got some professional chief who can stand up to the Babus, like you said, because Indians were not happy. The government was not happy with his words, but he was absolutely spot on with this HAL and HAL, and that because there is no capability coming, and Tejas, and even with that Yashas or Sitara trainer jet. And so I thought, okay, fine, maybe Indian Air Force has finally got a professional officer, and now they are going to do something which is tricky for us. But now I am satisfied. He's just another
Yes.
officer like many others who cannot stand up to the babus and the politicians. Secondly, like you said, this is not how you debrief. This is not how you give your kills, even in an exercise.
Yeah.
You have been in the Air Force. I have been in the Air Force. So once the fighter controller or the pilot, they stand up like Sir Aurangzeb did. Like
Yeah.
you give all the coordinates, range bearings of the kills. You give them the heights. You give them everything. This is not the general sweeping statements. This is not how a fighter pilot does that.
Yeah.
Now coming over to this, their claims. The Noor Khan base, just that hangar. It is not a command and control center, right? It was an empty radar site. It has been shifted from there. It was not a command and control center. You do not make your command and control centers in a tin roofed hangar. You know better than me, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just ask him, how can you say that hangar was a command and control center? Then he talks about Murid. It was an underground. Yes, that I agree with him. That was a command and control center of Murid, but it was underground, and they could not penetrate it. The hit was precise on the top of it. We have accepted that, right? But the underground office that could not be penetrated without bunker busters, and the BrahMos and Scalp, they are not bunker busters. Okay. Now Sakhar is not a main operational base. Rahim Yar Khan is not even a base. So if the Indian Air Chief does not know that the Rahim Yar Khan is not a base of Pakistan Air Force, I don't know what to say. That he's claiming Rahim Yar Khan base and the civilian terminal was used for planning. You do not use civilian terminals of airports for planning and wartime
I hope
requirements.
I
And
hope he was I hope he was not throwing Dowell under the bus here.
yeah,
That
yeah,
okay, we were told it is maybe because he's stating it. He definitely somebody told him something is going on in Rahim Yar Khan in this building where which is also a civil terminal. I don't know what top secret stuff is going on, but he's kind of hinting something fishy is going on there.
and even like the previous chief, Air Chief Marshal Baduria, we discussed in last time also, he
Yeah,
has claimed that we have the wrong intelligence. Basically, intelligence is not the baby of Indian Air Force per
correct.
se, whether you call it a G Doval or Raw or whatever. So the he was very clear he's the serving AP Singh is the current chief, Baduria is the retired chief, but
Yeah,
he was on social media, no, sorry, on media in an interview, he was claiming that we had intel that the Pakistanis cannot shoot above 150 kilometers, right? But they shot us at 200 kilometers. So that
yeah,
was an intelligence failure. So again, S400, not a single kill amounted to S400. But if AP Singh is happy with S400, great, lovely. We have taken out 2 radars of S400. I would love that they buy more S400s if they want to spend their money. But 5 kills with S400, and very important, Paji. One thing more, I just want to say that the Indian Air Force has been reduced to a rocket force, right, by Pakistan
yeah,
Air Force strategy,
correct.
because he's claiming his Akash, MR SAMs, long range SAMs. He's claiming the kills through BrahMos, right,
Yeah,
Scal. He's not even claiming himself a single air to air kill
single air to
like
correct.
Pakistan.
Air
Like
battle is
we
the
are
main.
claiming,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Just for the
yeah.
benefit of audience, what Ali Hamza is pointing out is that the main thing was the air battle. And what all these claims, even if some of them are true, are because they launched supersonic missiles across in barrages. Some will get through. Okay, that's a given fact. But the professionalism, while missiles are also part of the whole thing, the fact is that the main test was the air battle, and the air battle is what they lost. And he basically didn't actually. It's interesting. I didn't play the earlier clip just for the shortness of it, but Ali Hamzaji, when he was talking about the air battle, he interestingly he didn't what you call negate the Pakistani claim. It was for him to say that we didn't lose anything. He didn't comment on anything that we didn't lose anything or we shot anything on the Pakistani side. So I think in a way there is an admission there. At least he
he,
didn't.
he skipped he skipped it he skipped it altogether. Like
Yeah,
he even like if you the audience can go and play this, so it's I think 57 minutes of full speech. So if you start initially, he gives the introduction and he says that I was graduated in 1984 and things like that, and uniform people in blue, etc., etc. And then once he starts talking about the targets of Murid Ke and Bahawalpur, he shows
yeah,
the visuals. We took out this, we took out that, terrorist, and all that so-called
yeah.
narrative that we killed terrorists. They were all civilians. But anyways, and then he suddenly he fast forwards to 10th May.
So tenth,
So whole
correct.
operation Sindoor, yeah. So one
Yeah.
hour fight
Which
with
is,
Air
he
Marshal.
gives zero detail how many aircraft got airborne, what kind of resistance they had to face, what kind of ammunitions they dropped, and the only thing he covers is like this building, which is all basically he cannot even know because Ali, as you pointed out, all that is not Air Force data. All that is being fed by the intelligence agencies, which is not even his sphere. So he's kind of washing his hands off by just reading out. This is what they told me. Murid K had these many people present, and we dropped the ammunition, and then obviously they are killed. They just told me they are killed, so they are killed, and it's very funny. But yeah, sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. He's himself saying that this is from the open sources. So Pakistan Air Force Indians are very like they often ask a question. Okay, if you hit us on 10th May, why there is no satellite imagery like Indians have shown, right? I challenge you. You go to Maxar Airbus, like that French company. I don't know his exact name. They give this open source imagery. You go on their website. I'll give you the coordinates of Indian bases. 34 Indian bases were hit. The targets were hit. Indian air combat, command and control system targets, right? Some headquarters of army brigades, some bases also, main bases also, some BrahMos depots also. So I'll give you the coordinates. I challenge everybody in the audience, whether they are Indian, Pakistani, European, American. You go to Maxar or any French company and you ask that I want to buy this imagery. and they will not give you whatever the reason. Maybe they, like the French were not happy because they lost their base, etc.
Yeah.
So Indians can buy the satellite imagery from the open source, but the Pakistanis or others cannot. So this is why that once they say that okay, there is no open source imagery, and again, open source is not purview of Indian Air Force, right?
Yeah.
Indian Air Force is just doing the job, and then they will ask somebody to go and buy it from the open source, or ask Ajit Doval or RAW or whatever the intelligence agencies, okay, give us the battle damage assessment, BDA. Our
Yeah.
bombs were hit there, and then give us that, and also. So he's like saying, okay, so the air battle was my baby. I will not talk about it. He has not even said a single word about the air battle, and the
Yeah.
rest of the things were not my problem.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the imagery which was given to me by so and so, and it's not. I don't know whether it
Yeah.
happened like this or not, but this is the way it is. I was actually I heard his whole speech in this hope that he will say something about that air battle, because as a pilot, as an officer, Air Force officer, I don't know much about the politics and the intelligence and all those things. So my
Correct.
main focus is on the kills, air to air kills, right?
Correct.
And it was astonishing. Sir Aurangzeb's most important part, again, he talked about many things, multi-domain operations, but the most important thing, or the most interesting thing for me, was again that air battle, 72 aircraft on one side, 42 aircraft
Yep.
on one side, and then a 1 hour flow, the grind of going hot and cold and etc. So I thought, okay, he's the senior most pilot in Indian Air
Yeah.
Force, an Air
Yeah.
Chief Marshal, graduated in 1984, flew fighters his whole life. So he
Yeah.
will tell something, maybe it is against Pakistan, okay, I'm fine with it, but he will
Yeah.
give some technicalities about that air battle. And it
Nothing.
was amazing that he
Zero.
even said even one single word. He
Yeah.
didn't even say a single word. So I rest my case here. That
Yeah.
Indian
It's
Air Force is just.
interesting. Interesting that the what ammunition was used, I came to know from some American pilots. Somehow these guys had some intelligence, and on the Twitter space they told me, Ajit, they used scalps and what was the name of the other one?
Hammer,
Hammer.
hammer, yeah,
and
hammer and drum.
they gave me the parameters of that. And I'm like, but the Indian Air Force till now has not even mentioned what ammunition they use. Anyway, so cut to this. Like I think we are talking about just for the benefit of people. We are in the portion where Marshal Amarpreet is talking about what happened on 9th and 10th of May when they lobbed the missiles. Okay, one thing just for the benefit, as you guys heard from audience, he used the term LR SAMs, which is I think long range surface to air missiles. So what he claimed was that the Pakistani aircraft in the 9th and 10th, whenever we were launching missiles and drones across each other, uh, he claims that the Pakistani aircraft tried to remain at the edge of, didn't even come close where they come in the range of Akash and all. I think it will be foolish if a Pakistani aircraft is flying in the range of Akash. I would call it the most foolish act, because Akash has a range of 35 kilometers, right? And why would
Actually, that's a compliment.
eh?
Yeah, yeah. No, I actually, it's a compliment, Paji. It's a compliment that we knew the boundaries of everything, and we were not stupid like Indians, and we didn't fly in the envelopes. And
it's a
even
it's a
S400,
compliment.
Akash has very limited range, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a compliment, absolutely, and because he claims that they were trying to remain at the edge, and he uses the word right, and basically that tells you that the Pakistani Air Force knew the envelope where the deployments were, and they were trying to remain right at the edge, and but for the benefit of audience, right? So his first claim, they didn't even come close to LR, like the SAMs, which are the Akash and all he made. Those are useless, systems in today's world. In my books, no Pakistani aircraft will come 35 kilometer close to any Indian installation to bomb it. There is no need. And now you can lob bombs. Even dumb bombs can be made smart by putting those JDAM kits and thrown from like 60 kilometers. Why would you come 30 kilometers close to your base? And if you have more money, you can throw things like scalp, which can you can shoot from 200 250 odd kilometers. So this is one interesting thing. He claims that the Pakistani aircraft remained at the edge of it, and then he will claim that we did kill some of them through SAGW. But it's a very funny way he claims that. Okay, and listen to when I think he's close to that. If this is the first time he's claiming that uh, first of all, before I go there, till now he has claimed that even the F-16 claim that he made is very, very jittery. Don't you think so? Like he claims there was, I think, some F-16s under
Yeah.
maintenance, or maybe,
Yeah.
something like that. What he used. He never says that
Exactly.
like there
His
were
words
these
are,
F-16
we hit the hangar. Yeah.
yeah,
And maybe there were some F-16s under maintenance.
under
So
maintenance, some, and then he
maybe,
never
yeah.
says that they were under this hangar or they were under some other hangar, and they were 4 to 5, like whether it's 4 or 5, like what is the right number here? Okay, so I think even that claim is just one line. Okay, there's no detail on it. It's just one line, maybe 4 to 5, and some 4 to 5 F-16, maybe under maintenance. But anyways, let's listen to how he doesn't share any detail. Okay,
We've grown up in our Air Force, dreaming about days like
Sargoda.
this. Someday we'll get a chance to go there. So it just so happens that I got my chance just before I retired. So we attacked the airfield there because we had very hard hit on F-16s taking off from there, and the ones who were attacking us in Srinagar as well as in Adampur. So we took on the airfield there.
So this is interesting. This is a new piece of information in the entire thing that I liked, where you say that it was the F-16 which were attacking us at Srinagar and Adampur. So
No,
that information is wrong. He's just obsessed with
that
F-16.
yeah, that information is absolutely wrong, Paji, because again, just briefly for the audience, F-16 was our primary weapon with the MRAM M120 C-5. It's like not the latest version of the MRAM. Now they have MRAM C-8 and Delta. So previously it used to outgun every Indian BVR. But after the induction of Rafale and Meteor combination, now our mainstay is J10C with PL-15, because the Meteor can outrange the older MRAM which we have in F-16. Lastly, Baji, one more thing he said just before I retire. So maybe he's not going to complete his service. So in a few months, maybe we'll see that he's taking early retirement due to some health reasons or something like that, because he has his service. Maybe I think it's 3 years, so not a half year, two to 2.5 years left. But he said that I had a chance to go back to Sargoda just before I retire. So maybe
Yeah,
maybe it's a figure of speech. Maybe he's going to retire very soon. So let's see. Fingers crossed.
there's speculation that he's resigning.
Yeah.
I think he might have been forced to make this statement, but why make this statement? He should have just resigned and let the new guy claim whatever he wants. Like it's anyways, we'll talk about what are the repercussions for this guy personally. But yeah, let me play the clip again.
Again, intentionally not taken on certain other installations in this airfield because of some kind of calculation by us that may lead to unnecessary escalation. And this is the last slide I have on this. That is Shahbaz, the Jacobabad airfield, one of them, again, the major airfield that was attacked. And here there's an F-16 hangar, which you can see here. And here, this is the photograph again from open source, from one of their earlier pictures of the same hangar. And here, the hangar, which is one half of the hangar is gone. And I'm sure there were some aircraft inside which have got damaged there. So,
okay, so this is interesting. So there's a
So
hangar.
he's sure.
I'm sure there are some aircraft which got a F-16 hangar. Tell me, Alipaji, what is the probability that there is a fight going on? This is 9th and 10th day, okay? That you guys have F-16s sitting in a aluminium hangar in Jacobabad.
Anybody around the world who serves in the military, they have their standard SOPs, contingency plans. Even if there is not a real war and there is a chance of escalation, the first thing is you disperse your assets and put them in HAS, the hardened aircraft shelters, right? And you need bunker busters to penetrate through their concrete things. And these are peacetime maintenance hangars, right? I have been there. My last posting was in Jacobabad, so my office was right there in that hangar. Anyhow, I'll not go in further details, but the point is that as soon as you say, okay, phase one of contingency, you disperse your assets. Then there is phase two, then there is phase three. So it is not possible. It is humanly, like, beyond any doubt, that there were no aircraft in those hangars in Jackbabad. Another thing I want to emphasize here is that Pakistan Air Force has not denied even a single of these claims. We accept the hangar in Jackbabad was hit. We accept the hangar in Bulari was hit. There were five deaths. One officer and four airmen were martyred, right? And there was an AVAX aircraft which was damaged about, let's say, 10%, but it has been recovered, right? It was not like it was destroyed completely, because it was that SAB, which was, if the audience remembers, in 2012 there was an attack on Kamra Air Base, and the terrorists, they destroyed two of those aircraft with rocket launchers, and Pakistan Air Force, they recovered even those aircraft which were destroyed by those terrorists by firing RPGs. Now tell me that if it is 10% of a wing which is damaged, if I can recover whole of the aircraft which was destroyed, how can I do not? It's my simple question to the audience. Do I not have the capability to recover that? So when he says, I agree with him that yes, there was an AVAX in Bhulari. Absolutely, there were five deaths in Bhulari. Except that Bhulari, there was no strategic asset lost. Not in Nur Khan, not in Murid, not in Sargoda, not in Jackbabad, right? Not any place else. So I am admitting, I don't know why they are telling me again and again that we hit Bahawalpur. Yes, you did. You hit Murid Ke? Yes, you did. You hit Nur Khan? Yes, you did. And the
Yeah.
most important thing, that when I say that I have taken down your seven or eight, okay, let's say five. Donald Trump has said five, so let's just say
Yeah.
five. I
No, no, he
think it
made
is
it
more than,
six. He has changed it. He said six. Yesterday he
yeah,
said six. He said five or six. Now he's at
five.
six. Somebody
Yeah,
corrected
okay.
him. Yeah.
So lastly, Baji, he has open source imagery of every target
Yeah.
except the wreckage of a single PAF fighter. So he can show me that, okay, I hit you here, I hit you here, I hit you here. But those five or six aircraft which were shot down by the SAMs, because Indian Air Force Rafales or Su-30s, they're not capable enough to shoot down even a
Yeah.
single aircraft during a 1 hour fight. And I have seen the wreckage from the international media of four Indian aircraft, right? Let's
Yeah.
not go to five, six, seven, eight. Four are
Yeah.
100% confirmed, right? In
Yeah.
Bhatinda, in Kashmir, Pampo, Rakhnur, etc. So again, my simple question to the worthy Chief of the Air Staff of Indian Air Force: why not you are showing a single wreckage or a single proof of Pakistan Air Force aircraft when you can show me everything else?
But for the
That
benefit of naive Indians who will now be fed all this propaganda. Okay, let's hear me out, Indians especially. Okay, when he says a hangar is destroyed, okay, that tell and there are five F-16s in it, I immediately call it bullshit. Okay, because I have served in I have not gone to every Indian base, but I can tell you, wherever I have, maybe I have seen seven or eight of the bases, these hangars that are being shown, okay, these are generally aluminium hangars. These are generally very close to the tower, and their main purpose is maintenance, and generally the engine will come in. At least on India side, Pakistan could be something else, I don't know how it is configured, but on the India side, generally these are large because you have to take out the engine, and then you have to work on the engine, and sometimes they kind of, most of the technicians work in these to service the aircraft. I don't see any logical reason that a war is on. It was almost a war. It was all six. We are talking about 9th and 10th May. That Pakistani Air Force would leave 4 to 5 F-16 in that hangar so that the Indian can drop BrahMos on right on top and just take out five F-16s. At the max, I might say it might have one F-16 engine lying around somewhere, which was probably in so much of bad repair that they have to take it out, and they didn't have time to transport it and keep it somewhere else, or because they might have to keep it running or test it, and maybe they were working in that hangar. And but I don't see why there, or even personally, I have never seen four aircraft or five aircraft together in a hangar for maintenance. I have never seen. Generally, like one, maybe two, and they go in and they come out. So this is why I call it bullcrap. In a war environment, all these aircraft are hidden. First of all, they are hidden, and most probably, depending upon the airfield, they are under hardened shelters, and they will never be five will never be sitting together. If they're sitting together, then I don't know what kind of then I'm just Pakistani Air Force is planning. Why are they together? Or do you want them to be gone in one shot? So this is what we call dispersed. Okay, so they are dispersed and they are under hardened shelters. So if one BrahMos comes and let us say it is so powerful that it can take out a hardened shelter, you can have one kind of a claim. But then you will have some evidence of it, because if it would have hit a hardened shelter, dug a hole in it, went in, and then hit the plane, and you would see a damage right from the outside on the ground. But what he's showing us is a hangar. So I call it bullshit. I call it just bullcrap. It's just an assumption. Somebody has said, okay, maybe there are. I'm pretty sure there are 4 or 5. Let's keep moving, Ripaji, on this. Let's see what else he
Yeah.
claims.
If I can just sum it up, what we were able to get there at least 2 command and control centers in like Murid and Chaklala that I've shown you one of the pictures. At least 6 radars, some of them big, some of them small. 2 SAGW systems, that is in Lahore and Okara. Then, of course, runway at Sargodha and Rahimia Khan. 3 hangars that we attacked. One was Sukur, the UAV hangar.
Ikrinpari, just give me 1 sec. Okay, I have a young man here. I have to just take care of it. Just give me 1 sec. Sorry about that.
Sure, sure. Paji, I cannot hear you if you are speaking.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry for the delay,
Yeah.
Alibaji. Just have to take care of something at home.
No, no.
But yeah, on there. So here's an interesting comment on all the other assets he's talking about. It could be right, could be wrong. Honestly, there's no good way. Like 6 radar, big, small. It all depends. Like you can take out a very small radar. It's like a range. Okay, so it's like you can get a 200 rupee watch as well, and you can get a $2 million watch as well. So it depends what kind of radar are you talking about here. But so he doesn't mention the value would have been in his claims if he would have said we took out X radar, like the Pakistanis are claiming we took out the cheese board radar. Okay, now that I'm listening, okay, fine. Now you're making a specific claim, and we know cheese board was there, and but what he said is we took out 6 radars, some big, some small. So I'm like, okay, like so fine, 6 radars. But like what I'm interested in is his claim about we took out at least, he said, 2 command and control centers. One he claimed in Murid Ke, and another was I think in
Noor Khan, Murid and Noor Khan. Yeah.
Murid and Nur Khan, right? That's what he's claiming. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what he was saying, that the building was being used as a command and control center, which I find it odd. I have never seen a building being used as a command and control center. Generally, it's underground.
It was a hangar, Paji, used for the radar storage and everything. Like, and it was empty. I know personally. And this, yes, Murid is. I don't know why Indians are not accepting my claims that yes, you hit the command and control center in Murid. It was underground. You hit it on the top of it, right? But could not penetrate it. So the crater, it was, I don't know, 5 or 6 feet, and it was deep underground. So if you want to say that yes, I have targeted, absolutely you have targeted. I'm not denying it. Nobody is denying it. But if you're saying that you destroyed it, ठीक है, that is completely false, absolutely false. ठीक है, destruction means that you need a bunker buster, like the Americans they use that mob, or the Israelis they use against Iran, and you cannot just throw a missile. And similarly with runways, I am astonished, Paji. He's a fighter pilot. He's far
Mm.
more senior than me.
Mm.
Anybody knows that to destroy a runway, right? You want Durandals or BAP 100, they penetrate and then they blast.
Yeah.
So the crater is so deep that the runway is rendered useless. If you just lob a missile on it and there is a small crater, rapid runway repair, the triple R teams, within just half an hour or 1 hour, they can
Yep.
patch it up, right?
Yep.
So claiming that I rendered the runways useless in Sargoda and Rahim Yar Khan. Again, and lastly, last point is that just like you said, that the sweeping statements that maybe we got 6 F-16s, at least 2 command and control centers. Pakistan Air Force, like you ask anybody, there are international journals, Air Forces Monthly, Jane's, Flight Global, etc. So, not Indian or Pakistani, any neutral aviation expert, you give them the details of Pakistan Air Force and Indian Air Force on paper, right? Indian Air
Yep.
Force has this much 230s, this much this much that, the numbers and the quality, and the Pakistan Air Force are far smaller in numbers, right? The Air Force is
Yep.
in comparison to, and now you give
Yep.
them the list of targets that Air Marshal Aurangzeb, he is claiming that we shot down 6 aircraft, right? We targeted 34 Indian targets, including
Yep.
their bases, their
Yep.
integrated air command and control systems nodes, like in Barnala, there was a whole
Yep.
complete center. Then you give
Yep.
them the details that headquarter of 10 brigade was destroyed or targeted
Yep.
rather. Cheeseboard radar of S400 in Adampur and Bhoj was destroyed. And then you tell them that okay, in Bias, Brahmos storage site, a warehouse in Bias. So
Yeah.
you can deny that. Indians will say okay, not this, but this is not how you claim targets. Like this again, respected and worthy chief of the staff of Indian Air Force is saying that I got this, maybe I got that. This is not the way to claim. even
This is
even
not
with a bigger
the.
air
Yeah.
force.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are a far bigger air force, and I am
Yeah.
accepting that you have targeted my this. I have
Yeah.
lost lives of my soldiers, like 5 in Air Force, 8 in Army on LOC, right? Some
Yeah.
civilians also, 40 to 50 lives lost. One AVAX damaged, which has been recovered. A runway
Yeah.
was cratered, which has been patched up, and I
Yeah.
am accepting all this.
Yeah.
But the way he is claiming, this is
So, but
ridiculous. Beyond
for the benefit
believe me, this is.
benefit of Indians, because I've seen the Pakistani audience generally understand these matters best. But if in case the Indians listen, okay, guys, when they sell you all this, Rahim Yar Khan like airstrip taken out, you cannot take out an airstrip in that way, the way they are showing. Okay, there's airstrips depending on what bomb you use, as Ali Paji said. If just you throw a BrahMos at it, if it's a crater, they'll fill it up in no time. And generally, you can't, even if you hit one side, the aircraft can take off from the other side.
Yeah.
And then, even if sometimes you can sit both sides, sometimes the aircraft, depending on how much you have covered, they can still take off without kind of touching the crater. So, airstrip, hitting the airstrip, unless you have really hit it at multiple spots and use the right kind of ammunition, is no big deal. Okay, like throwing BrahMos, I don't count it as the value is definitely if you take out a strategic asset, like like a cheeseboard radar of the S400, or as Air Marshal claims, and the Pakistanis have admitted that they hit a hangar in which there were AVAX was standing, and now the Indians are saying maybe the whole thing was gone. The Pakistanis are saying only 10% was damaged. Whatever be the truth, that those are the kind of targets that matter, in the scheme of things. And what I'm hearing from the Air Marshal here is uh, maybe there were, because we hit a hangar and 4 or 5 F-16. That's bullcum. Throw that out of the window. At least 2 command and control center. Again, if they were taken out, I would love to see the image, okay, which is showing enough damage to that area wherever that command and control center was. Though it is good of you that you guys are admitting the Indians, and it's quite brave of you, Ali. The Indians, I don't think even the chief of air staff has the permission to admit that some of your missiles hit their Barnala, whatever command and control. So it's kind of also telling of currently the situation between the two countries, and the level of civil liberties. Anyways, let's continue with this stuff.
Bolari hangar of AEWNC and Jacobabad, the F-16 hangar. And we have indication of at least one AEWNC in that AEWC hangar and a few F-16s which were under maintenance there. Apart from these, the SAGW systems, mostly from, I'm talking about fighter aircraft are from S400. We have at least 5 fighters confirmed killed and one large aircraft, which could be either an Lint aircraft or an AWNC aircraft, which was taken out at a distance of about 300 kilometers. This is the actually largest ever recorded surface-to-air kill that we can talk about. And apart from, of course, this, there are a large number of UAVs, drones. There, some of their missiles which have fallen in our territory. We have recovered lot.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, this is just one sentence. This is the crux. This is his biggest claim in everything. Okay, where he should be going gung ho that we took down 5 of their
World
J-10C
record. Yeah.
or GF-17s or F-16s or F-17s. God knows what they take down. But my SAMs SAGW took down 5 aircraft. Aircraft could be anything. Aircraft could be a balloon, or even he didn't even say confirmed. He didn't say my. He just said 5 confirmed kills. Are we talking about Pakistani kills of Indian aircraft? Are we talking about Indian kills of Pakistan? Nothing. No, zero detail. Like a child would like to give. That okay, my S400 took down 2 aircraft right here, 3 aircraft here, 1 aircraft there. We think it was J-10C from the electronic signature, or we think it was something else. And this is a time to boast about your S400 capability, but zero. It's just one sentence, 56 minutes, and he takes 2 seconds to say this statement, and zero detail. Now tell me, anybody, would you believe it? I won't. I would ask like a question like, what are we talking about here? SAGW. And let me play that again, okay? Let me play that again and see how much detail he offers.
Ever recorded surface-to-air kill that we can talk about there. Apart from these, the SAGW systems, mostly from, I'm talking about fighter aircraft are from S400. We have at least 5 fighters confirmed killed and 1 large aircraft, which could be either an Lint aircraft or an AWNC aircraft.
So he does say 5 fighters confirmed. So that's okay. So that much specificity is there. He says we have at least 5 fighters confirmed kill, most of them from S400. The fighters are from S400. Okay. So Ali Pari, what is your reaction? Like I find it totally untrustworthy the way this information.
Again, Bhaji, like I said, he himself, he's like more experienced fighter pilot than me. I'll give him the credit that he knows what he's talking about. Like the point before, also we were discussing about the runways. Even if you put craters, 4 or 5 craters on a single runway, you have parallel runways. Indians have it. Pakistan has its secondary runways. So everybody in the world, they have more than one runway, because one runway can be blocked for any reason. One
Yep.
aircraft, it lands and the landing gear collapses, so the runway is blocked. So you have to have the secondary runways or parallel runways. So anyways, coming on to this point, in the start he said that now the modern weapons, they are very very advanced, and they give you the exact details that now the weapon is going, the weapon is hitting, and is it a kill or not. So he himself is admitting that if S400 would have been doing what he is saying, he would have known exactly that now I have killed a JF-17, now I have killed a J-10, now I have killed an F-16.
Yeah.
No wreckage, no details. I think something is wrong with my camera. So,
That's fine.
oh yeah, okay. So anyhow, so no wreckage, no details. Even his S400 cannot tell him that which aircraft. So five fighters, just a random claim made by Donald Trump that five fighters were lost, and then this the like you said about his body language and the gung ho and the chest thumping, that he has made a world record of a large aircraft being shot down, whether it is an electronic intelligence aircraft or AVAX at 300 kilometers, and the people are clapping.
Yeah.
So, to claim a world record in the history of aviation, Indian Air Force has just made a new record that we have shot down at more than 300 kilometers a large aircraft of Pakistan Air Force. And just to say it like I have killed at 300 kilometers and just pass away, it doesn't make any sense. He should have given the details. He should have said that okay to the international media. Let's forget
Yeah.
about Pakistan,
Yeah.
that see, this is the capability of Indian Air Force, right? I can shoot down as this and this aircraft of Pakistan Air Force at more than 300 kilometers, and you give this credit to Indian Air Force and the capability, etc.
Yeah.
But the way he's talking, his body language, his choice of words, and he is actually not even happy about these claims. I don't understand why you are not happy. Why
Yeah.
you are claiming, why
ਜਿਵੇਂ
you are
ਉਹ
making
ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ
these claims?
ਚੋਰੀ ਝੂਠ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਉਹ ਸਿਰ ਨੀਵੀਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਬੋਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ. It's exactly like that. And like this is the biggest, like this was the in the entire this thing, this was the most sensational claim, right? That I took down 5 Pakistani fighters.
Yeah.
But I counted the seconds, 5 seconds in 56-minute clip. That's all he spends on the line which tells you that we took down. And I can play them like when that we took down. That's it. Like no detail. Okay, so we can infer. He's claiming that the 300-kilometer kill of the AVAX is the longest confirmed kill, which now by implication he is saying the other 5 I'm claiming were below 300.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Pakistanis had at minimum 5 aircraft flying within 300 kilometer of S400. Okay, I don't see why they would do that on 9th and 10th of May, but apparently that's what you guys were doing as per Air Marshal Amarpreet, and those 5 were taken down for flying close to the SHW. But no detail, right? Like this is where, like, if he had added, like, if he had made the presentation by like Air Marshal Aurangzeb and said the coordinates, this is where we think we hit it. This was the level of that aircraft we were thinking. This is what we think. This is J10C or JF-17, and then that we start. Then the world starts listening, because now you are sharing data that we can start questioning, and we can start making sense of it. But this kind of a 5-second claim, it's like Donald Trump. I think 5, I think 6, like whatever you can say. But Donald Trump is Donald Trump. But like, yeah, this is where I find it totally unbelievable. Like I don't think it's absolutely believable at all. Let's continue this clip, Ali Paji. Let's see what he says more.
Which was taken out at a distance of about 300 kilometers. This is the actually largest ever recorded surface-to-air kill that we can talk about. And apart from, of course, this, there are a large number of UAVs, drones. There are some of their missiles which have fallen in our territory. We have recovered a lot of wreckage from these, which now is being studied so that we can make out what did they do, where were they launched from, what route did they follow, what kind of system do they have, whether they have, what I mean to say, what generation those systems belong to, what all features do they have. So that study is going on, and it is going on even in coordination with DRDO. If required, we will also take some other industries' help for that. So I can say that it was, more of a high-tech war which was fought. In about 88, 90 hours of war, we were able to achieve, so much of damage to a system that it was very clear in their mind that in this current situation, if they continue, they are going to continue paying for it more and more. So they have come forward and sent a message again through DGMO कि हम बात करना चाहते हैं. and which was accepted from our side. And when I say our side, it's not just the Air Force, it's a joint decision that was taken, and it was taken even at the highest level. Why was that accepted? There have been a lot of debates which are going on. I will touch about it a little during continue in my talk. So that actually brings me to the end of my slides. Now, I want to talk about something like, if I can say, what were the reasons for success? One, which I can think of, is that there was political will. I'm being very, very candid here, very open here, because I hear various versions of.
I think Ali Paji from here on, na, he's
Yeah,
sarcastic.
yeah,
Actually, you will see he will praise HAL. Okay, I think he's deliberately overdoing it. But I'll take your reaction. He'll start talking about the political will, which he was questioning 1 month before,
yeah.
and you'll see like it's kind of very funny the way he does it.
I think if I tell you something, people will have to believe, because I was there, listening to everybody, attending every meeting. There was very clear political will, very clear directions which were given to us, and
He said, if I tell you, then people will have to believe. That's why I'm here. I am telling you. I've been told to tell you
Yep.
so that you believe it, that there is political will.
there was no kind of restrictions which were put on us. Many people have spoken somewhere. Unfortunately, everybody is speaking about it. कि कुछ ना कुछ मैं बोल दूंगा इस बारे में. So there have been talks about, was there any restriction? Were you kept constrained? If there were any constraints, they were self-made. We, the forces, decided what will be our rules of engagement. We, the forces, decided what will be the escalation ladder that we want to ride on. We decided how we want to control the escalation. So I want to make it very clear. There were no, I repeat, no restrictions on us. Full.
So, you know what might have happened, Ali Pari? I'm speculating. Okay,
Yeah.
when the Navy officer made that claim that the Air Force was restrained from, this thing. First of all, even that I don't buy. I think it's a bit of an excuse by the forces, uh, and the political establishment was well within their right to say destroy these targets, but don't end up engaging in the military. But that doesn't mean that if you are fired upon, you will not fire back. Okay, anyways, and now I think what had happened, Ali Pari, is that he was given a dressing down by the Babus. ਬਾਬੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ ਹੋਣਾ ਤੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਲੈ ਪੋਲਿਟਿਕਸ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੱਥ ਬੰਨੇ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ ਦੱਸੋ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨੇ ਕਹਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਲਾਈਕ ਵੀ ਵਾਸ didn't we tell you you have free hand yes sir you told us free hand didn't we tell you you can do anything so why the statement that junior officer might have said so you have to dispel the thing now go in front of the whole world and tell them that that ਸਾਡੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਹੱਥ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੰਨੇ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ we never told you ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ. So this is exactly what has happened, and this idiot has, come on like he ਕਹੀਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਪੱਗ ਬੰਨੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਭਾਈ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ, but apparently that is what happened. What's your take?
So I absolutely agree because, we talked before also, that I thought that he's a professional officer, and I respected him for everything he said in the initial days. But I think now his software has been updated, like you said, by the Babus and the political government, because the Army, Navy, Air Force, they are not on the same page. They don't know what to say, what not to say. Again, I should not underestimate my enemy. Indian Air Force is larger Air Force, right? Pride hath fall. So I'll try to stay humble. What Pakistan did was in the domain of this network-centric warfare. The Indian Air Force was focused on platform-centric. So they were surprised by Pakistan Air Force, and they lost many aircraft, and they were not successful in this. Like, he's claiming victory, so good for him, but they were not victorious in this skirmish, right? Now, any professional Air Force, what they should have done was they should have a complete debrief, right? Sat down. Okay, why were we thrashed by a
Right.
smaller Air Force, right? Only then you can, in the future, right, correct those mistakes. But I am so happy to see this as a Pakistani. They have not learned. They are still trying to hide. They are still trying to say that yes, we are victorious. So if you will not accept right, as a professional Air Force, that what was our mistakes. They will never correct it, even if there is something Sindhu 2.0 or so. So I am happy for it. I feel for him as as
ਤੁਸੀਂ
a
ਤੁਸੀਂ
fighter.
ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਨਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸੌਫਟ ਕਾਰਨਰ ਲੈ ਲਿਓ। ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਬੇਵਕੂਫ, ਬਹੁਤ ਥੂ ਥੂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਧਰ ਕੌਮ 'ਚ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੜੇ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਫੋਨ ਆ ਗਏ, ਪੀਪਲ ਕਾਲਿੰਗ ਪੰਥ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਥੱਲੇ ਕਰਤਾ, ਬਹੁਤ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਪੈਣੀਆਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ। ਬਟ ਐਨੀਵੇਜ਼ ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਇਨ ਦ ਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੀ ਇਜ਼, ਬਟ ਸਟਿਲ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਲੋੜ ਸੀ ਅਸਤੀਫਾ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਲਾਈਕ ਹੀ ਸ਼ੁਡ ਹੈਵ ਰਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਡ ਐਂਡ
I think he's. I think Paji, he's a gone case. If I'm not wrong, again, just speculating. He was given a choice that we will sack you. You have to go dishonorably, right? Or you can resign honorably after some time. That okay, due to my health issues or etc. and this. So give this statement, and then we will give you a chance to leave with some honor after few months or maybe a year. But I don't think he's going to complete his tenure as chief of the air staff. This is my personal opinion. And lastly, this question, I would love to hear the answer from him if he has the answer, because this is my question also. That Donald Trump has taken the credit about 33 times, that it was me who went for between the India and Pakistan, who did the
yeah,
ceasefire, etc.
yeah,
So he is saying that the DGMO of Pakistan was saying that this and that, and it is I cannot believe it. If
yeah.
you are winning and you have destroyed my aircraft and my infrastructure and my air force, and I am begging for ceasefire, right? Why to go for a ceasefire? You should have thrashed the enemy, right?
This,
But
this thing will come up, okay? He'll talk
yeah,
about,
okay,
and you will
maybe
see.
yeah,
We are coming to that portion, and he will talk about it. And you see how this is called faux pas, right? In when we talk, sometimes we let that cat out of the bag. When he'll talk about these decisions were taken much higher my level. Basically, he's not even calling that above me. He's saying much higher. That means what he's saying is, I have so many layers between me and the top hierarchy, while he's the chief of air staff.
yeah,
Okay, you will see like all those words will come out. That is not my decision. Then you say, no, it was still my decision, and all that crap will come out. But to your point, I think that's very right. इन्हें ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਕੇ ਨਾ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ 에ਅਰ ਫੋਰਸ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲਿਜ਼ਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਮਰੀ ਹੋਈ ਤਾਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਤਬੂਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਖਰੀ ਕਿਲ ਠੋਕ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। This is the last nail in the coffin of the Indian Air Force, because what he has made sure is there will be no learning, and the next skirmish, Indian Air Force. I know you guys don't want to underestimate India, but I am the neutral guy here. I can totally tell you the truth. Indian Air Force will face even way devastating defeat, because this statement by Air Marshal Amarpreet has now ensured that their lower ranks, their cadres are not going to celebrate. They will not, learn from what exactly happened, what went wrong. Exactly what happened with them in Balakot. Okay? This is at a bigger scale. This is now Balakot 2.0. Let's continue what he's saying.
Freedom was given to us to plan and execute. I must say that that our attacks have been calibrated because we wanted to be mature about it. A little bit on that I'll come to later. There was synchronization between forces, all four of us, CDS, the three chiefs. I must say here that the post of CDS has made a difference there. So he was there always to get us together, discuss things out, iron things out. Wherever required, we all used to go to the senior leadership and discuss things out. NSA played a very, very big role, in getting all the other agencies and forces together. So there were so many meetings conducted, and whenever there was any doubt as to what next step. And most of the things that we did was before this event started, of Sindhu started, because we wanted to threadbare discuss what are the eventualities, what are the possible outcomes, what should be our reaction, how we should react. So when the operations were going on, it was just on telephone, some calls telling them what we are doing. There were not much of discussion going on. Should we do this now? What do we do now? What do I do? No, I had the full freedom. And like I said, the way air headquarter team and the command headquarters, the way we work together, it was actually a dream come true. So when that these things were going on, the routine generally is very disturbed during that time because you don't know when the meeting will come up. So I used to come home once a day.
Now he'll also claim the same thing. Like I was also sleeping there. Okay, here out there. I think he got ticked off by that. Marshal Sidhu
Yeah,
was
yeah.
getting a lot of
Just quick change and go back and sit there. I'd made some arrangement to even sleep in my own office. So that evening, one day when I had that was we had gone for a night meeting, and I had gone in overall, and I continued to be in that overall for next 48 hours. I never had time to come back home because there was something or the other happening. So I didn't want to leave my office or the company for even 1 minute. And when I came back after those 48 hours, after having gone through that, where we had taken a call that okay, now we stop hostilities, there was so much of sense of satisfaction, and most of it was actually from the way my Air Force had stood up together. That is what gave me more satisfaction than what we had achieved. The way we achieved gave me satisfaction. Now, like Dr. Sunil has brought out, we keep talking about indigenization. Why do we talk about so much of having
Okay, let me react to this first, Ali Bhaji. He says, there's something, I was not disturbed in operations. All the meetings happened before that. Once operations started, I will just call my senior leadership. Here, he's not talking about his senior leadership. Like, so it's not just the prime minister. Probably bunch of people
Yeah.
who are his senior leaders. Okay, so then he mentions, it's very funny. I find it funny because I can relate to it. What might have happened. Then he says that then I went there, and then 48 hours I couldn't come back. I was in my overalls in the or wherever that is, and 48 hours I couldn't come back. So when would that have happened? So he himself mentioned that the battle was over for 2 days. It was just drones here and there. So it probably happened on the 9th of May, I would say, evening. Okay. So let's say it is 9th of May because 8th and all, he himself kind of gave a brief. Drones were coming here and there, but we decided to do something on 9th, basically big. And so if from 9th of 48 hours, but the 9th and 10th battle also stopped within 12 hours, 18 hours. It happened through the night. The US dropped it, they dropped it, maybe let's say 24 hours. So what was he doing there for 48 hours? He was obviously answering the Babus because the Babu would have been after him. What happened? Tell me this. Modi ji wants to know this. Modi ji wants to know that. And Doval Saab wants to know this. So if the battle was over within 24 hours and there were no more meetings, what was he trying to do there like 48 hours? The ceasefire was announced on 10th of May itself during the daytime. So all that happened was through the last 24 hours when I wouldn't even call it 24 hours. It probably happened within 20 hours or 18 hours. And so, yeah. So anyways, so it's a bit of a giveaway, but yeah. You want to react before we move on?
No,
What do you
I'll
think?
just say that the Indians, I don't know why they copy us because the briefing also of the tri services,
Yeah.
initially they brought the Colonel Sophia Qureshi and that I think Wing Commander Singh, and then they saw that okay, the Pakistanis are doing that, one air marshal and one general and one admiral, so we should follow this. So Air Marshal Bharti and the general and the admiral they came. Now he saw that Air Marshal Sidhu was sleeping on a mattress, so he also claimed. So maybe they
No, he
want
did
to
say
follow.
he claimed. He said, "I also made an arrangement to sleep.
Yes.
I also had an arrangement to sleep."
Yeah.
So luckily, ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਸਵੇਰ ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲ ਦਿੱਤਾ, but he did mention that I also made us. But then he mentioned 48 hours. So 48 hours, I presume then he basically slept there. And if he didn't come back for 48 hours. Yeah. Amazing.
indigenous sources, having things within India. the kind of support that we got from all DPSUs, and of course, HAL becomes a very big part of that because maximum support comes from them. I must compliment them. My people came and told me that at one call, things were moved. Wherever we needed anything, the teams were there, and they had pre-positioned some teams in anticipation. They had brought up some serviceability in anticipation. So this is how the nation has to come together if we have to fight a war. So these are the reasons that I thought were for our success. Now, what are the takeaways?
HL ਤੇ ਇਹਨੇ ਤਾੜੀ ਵੀ ਮਾਰੀ ਹੈ. They're all sarcastic. I think he was just being sarcastic, you know. Same HL, he just mentioned 2 months back that they don't do anything. We are made to sign things which are a failure. What kind of HL? Nothing like it. He even clapped. This is amazing. मैं तो will you react and I'll tell you a real story, my experience with HAL. But go ahead.
No, I just saying that he has actually taken a 180-degree turn on HAL. Like he is on record saying that it is not a good organization, etc. I'll not go in the details, but now he's like I don't think he's sarcastic. In his heart, he knows that what HAL is, but he has been coerced. That you will not say a single word, a bad word about the Babus or the government or HAL. Whatever we are giving you is the top notch, right? And the best equipment, and you will accept it that yes, it is the best in the world. So within months, like even before Operation Sindhu, before Pahalgam, people can go I know, we have seen that all these statements on HAL, but the people can go if the audience does not know. They will get the context of what Hajit Paji is saying. he used to thrash HAL that you are good for nothing and etc. And now he's all for them. So this is amazing.
Funny. It's just amazing, like the way. And I think actually somebody Ali Paji, now this is unconfirmed. Okay, this is rumor mill, but rumor coming from people who in the past have told me things which are not wrong, which turned out to be true. So this gentleman, who is a very senior Sikh leader in America, he told me, Harjeet, that he on the 6th or 7th May when that happened, he was actually questioned very badly in the meeting by Dole. Dole basically accused him of treason, and Dole asked him a question. They said was, "कि तुसी सच्ची दसो कि भी तुसी like did you do your best for or did you not do your best?" And then he also said, I did my best as per my religion. That's the answer they said he gave. And us to baad, there's some other rumors as well. I would not like to talk about what happened in his squadrons and all. Apparently, the pilots were not very happy. And and apparently he also got cornered because he's a Sikh. So ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਫਟਾਫਟ ਉਂਗਲ ਚੱਕਦੇ ਨੇ, ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈ, that is why, you know, they will get he'll have to doubly prove his loyalty. Okay, so I will not be surprised that he was threatened very badly, like in a way that you would generally not threaten an IAF chief. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੇ because ਬਾਕੀ ਤਾਂ ਚਲੋ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਥ੍ਰੈਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ, ਹੈਗਾ ਬੰਨੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਪੱਗ, he shouldn't have coupled like this, resign ਹੀ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ. Like ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ 'ਚ speculation ਆ, because he has shown the spine which no other air chief had shown in past. I am more of the view that this has to be some very drastic pressure. Like it would have been way worse than what we can think of. ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਹੁਣੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ. I don't think he's going to, you are right, I think he's going to resign in like maybe 6 months, you know, and all that stuff, provided things cool down, unless there's another skirmish. And but yeah,
actually this is sad, Paji. Like you see, he's a professional officer, like yeah, and because of his like religion and his faith, you can blackmail him. That okay, let's say, like again speculating, that he has lost the skirmish because of professional things. But if you point finger at him that you have done it intentionally to help Pakistan, right? Because you are a Sikh. So that's like questioning his loyalty and his professionalism, and it's actually very, very, I'll say, the Hindutva mentality is very, very cheap blackmail tactic. But anyways, let's see what happens to him in the future. True.
ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਦੇਖੋ ਸਾਰੀ ਘਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਮਾਰਸ਼ਲ ਅਮਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਜੇ ਲੈਣਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਬਦਲਾ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਲਓ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਜਨਰਲ ਸ਼ਾਹਵੇਗ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ। ਇੱਕ ਸੌਟੀ ਕਹਿ ਚੜ੍ਹ ਤੇ ਲੈਂਡ ਕਰਾ ਦੇ ਲਾਹੌਰ 'ਚ ਤੇ ਦੇਖੋ ਨਾਲ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਏਅਰ ਚੀਫ ਬਣਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਤੇ ਪੰਥ ਦਾ ਹੀਰੋ ਬਣ ਜਾਏਗਾ। ਐਨੀਵੇਜ਼ this is my call to all the Sikh officers. You will get treated like this guy is right now. You'll have to lie, you'll have to stand in front of the whole world, tell bullshit stories. ਤੇ ਰਹਿ ਕੀ ਗਿਆ, ਆਪਣੀ ਵੀ ਬੇਇੱਜ਼ਤੀ ਕਰਾਈ, ਆਪਣੀ ਪੱਗ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਬੇਇੱਜ਼ਤੀ ਕਰਾਈ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੇ ਹੱਸਣਾ ਇਸ ਤੇ। ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਹੱਸ ਰਿਹਾ, ਕੋਈ ਇਸ ਤੇ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਆਲ ਦੈਟ ਲਟਰਮ ਫਟਰਮ ਆਈਟੀ ਸੈੱਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ। Anyways, let's continue to listen to it.
I think the biggest takeaway of this this operation has been that primacy of air power has come to forefront once again. People have come to realize that air power is the first responder that any country has, and air power is one which can actually, react in a quick time, attack deep inside, and attack with precision to just achieve your objective without any collateral. And that is one thing which is good, that everybody has realized that. I can see the change when we meet, amongst the three services, the way we discuss things now. Because when you, obviously, if I'm in blue, I will always talk about air power and air power and air power. But when it comes from a person in green uniform or a white uniform, you feel so nice that there is understanding that, it is intrinsic to all three services actually. Everybody needs this capability to be the first one. And I don't know when will we have a war where we'll be requiring to, straight away go in for a land attack or a naval attack. I think there will always be requirement to first soften them with air power, and that is what has been realized. And there was a worry in our mind that air power means you are going way above in the escalation ladder. Actually, it is wrong. This time we use only air power, and we've been able to start to stop the conflict.
Okay, I think now he's in the generalities. I have not listened to the other part. Maybe we'll stop it here. But now we also have some, speakers here on the Twitter space. We'll start taking questions. People have any questions? Please feel free to raise your hands. I do see some comments here, Ali Paji. One from, I can't read his name. I think you probably know him. Can you read his name? He has a flag. That's the Indian Air Force.
Usman Tahir. Yeah, I know him.
Okay.
Yeah, Usman Tahir. Yeah, he's Usman Tahir, and I think you better answer this question.
नहीं छोड़ो एक ही आंसर करना I think the Indians are very clever. Okay, they saw it as a golden opportunity as well. ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਹੀ ਚੀਫ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੀ, ਕਿ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਾਓ ਤੇ ਦਿਖਾਓ ਜੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਜਦਕਿ the reality on the ground is very different. So I think it's a very political move, making him the chief and now kind of making him come and give this kind of a statement. Okay, we have to play smart. I don't want to overreact to this, but like मैं तो कहूँगा अमरप्रीत ਨੂੰ, I think what ISPR should do is ISPR should say, I'm nobody to advise them, but I think they should also treat it like a joke, because this is a joke. If DG ISPR should issue a statement that we feel bad for the Sikh chief of Indian Air Force, who has been forced by their political establishment to come out and make statements that he cannot back with any evidence. And they don't have to react more than that, just a simple line. And we have sympathy, because that's how they should leave it. But anyways, they know their job. I have a hand raised here. Magician, okay ji, magician ji, please go ahead and ask your question. ਬਾਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ, ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ।
ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਨੇਚਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਟਾਈਮ ਐਸਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਟਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਰਿਐਲਿਟੀ ਅਗਰ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਟਾਈਮਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਬੜਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਗੱਲ ਕਿਸ ਮੌਕੇ ਤੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਆਇਆ ਇਹ ਵਾਕਿਆ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ, ਯਾਰ ਸੱਚ ਬੋਲਣ ਦੇ ਆ ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲਣ ਦੇ ਆ। ਅਚਾਨਕ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦਾ ਸੁੱਤਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ 3 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਜਾਂ 2.5 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਖਾਬ ਵੇਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ, ਉਹਦੀ ਅੱਖ ਖੁੱਲੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਜਨਾਬ ਉਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਖਾਬ ਬਿਆਨ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਇਹ ਲੱਗਾ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਖਾਬ ਵੇਖਣ ਡਿਆ, ਦੁਨੀਆ 2.5-3 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਰਿਐਲਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਕੀ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ 에ਅਰ ਫੋਰਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਦੇਖੋ ਨਾ, ਹੁਣ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਨਿਊਟਰਲ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਈਵਨ ਇਸ ਮਾਮਲੇ ਤੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਨਾ ਜੋ ਗੱਲ ਤੇ ਯਕੀਨ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਯਾਰ ਇਹ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸੁੱਤੇ ਸੁੱਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਲੋੜੀ ਇੱਕ ਮਿਸਾਲ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ, ਉਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਗੈਰ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਤੇ ਉਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਕਿ ਯਾਰ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਸ਼ੁਰਲੀ ਛੱਡੀ ਗਈ ਜਦੋਂ ਅੱਗ ਲਾਈ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਉੱਡੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉੱਥੇ ਠੁਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਪਈ। ਮਤਲਬ ਯਕੀਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ, ਕੀ ਬਕਵਾਸ, ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਨੌਨਸੈਂਸ ਹੈ ਗੱਲ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿਓ ਹਰਜੀਤ ਭਾਜੀ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫੀਲਿੰਗ ਹੈ ਠੀਕ
ਨਹੀਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜੀ, ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਰਿਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਮੈਂ ਇਹੀ ਦੱਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਅਲੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਨੂੰ, ਵੈਨ ਇਟ ਕੇਮ ਆਊਟ ਨਾ ਆਈ ਥਾਟ ਸਮਬਡੀ ਇਜ਼ ਜੋਕਿੰਗ ਔਨ ਦ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਟ। ਇਹ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਆਈਟੀ ਸੈੱਲ ਵਾਲੇ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਚੀਫ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਦੈਨ ਆਈ ਸੌ ਨੋ ਦੇਰ ਇਜ਼ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਅ ਵੀਡੀਓ। ਦੈਨ ਆਈ ਵੈਂਟ ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਵਾਜ਼ ਵੈਰੀ ਬਿਜ਼ੀ, ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਬੈਠ। ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ 40 ਮਿੰਟ ਦਾ 56 ਮਿੰਟ ਦਾ ਮੈਂ 40 ਮਿੰਟ ਹੀ ਦੇਖੇ ਵੈਨ ਹੀ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਟਾਕਿੰਗ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਦ ਆਪਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਕੇਮ ਆਊਟ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਬੁਲਸ਼ਿਟ, ਯੂ ਨੋ। ਹੀ ਇਜ਼, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਏਅਰ ਚੀਫ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ। ਹੀ ਹੈਜ਼ ਸ਼ੋਨ ਸਮ ਸਪਾਈਨ, they must have misinterpreted his statement, okay? But then I watched the whole video, ਮੈਂ 40 ਮਿੰਟ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਲੇਮ, ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਕਲੇਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਟ ਵਾਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਆਬਵੀਅਸ ਟੂ ਮੀ ਦੈਟ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਆਲ ਬੁਲਸ਼ਿਟ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰ ਹੀ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕਰਦਾ। 56 ਮਿੰਟ ਦੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਤਕਰੀਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਮੇਨ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ 5 ਫਾਈਟਰ ਡਿੱਗੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ 5 ਸੈਕਿੰਡਸ ਆਈ ਕਾਊਂਟਡ। ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਹੈਵ 5 ਕਨਫਰਮਡ ਫਾਈਟਰ ਕਿਲਸ, ਦੈਟਸ ਇਟ। ਆਹ ਇੱਕ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ, ਦੈਟਸ ਇਟ। ਤਾਂ ਇਟਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਆਬਵੀਅਸ ਕਿ ਬਾਬੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਫੜ ਕੇ ਜਿਸ ਵੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ਼ਰ ਪਾਇਆ। ਚਲੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਬਲੇਮ ਹੁਣ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਹੀ ਨਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜੇ ਸੌਫਟ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਚਲੋ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੀ ਬਲੇਮ ਕਰਨਾ। ਪਰ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਵੀ ਸਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਅਫਸਰ ਨੇ ਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਅਜੀਬ ਹੀ ਸ਼ਦੀਦ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ਼ਰ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਇਹ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਬਲ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੋਇਲਟੀ ਪ੍ਰੂਵ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਸਭ ਕੁਛ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਚੱਕਰ, ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਅੰਦਾਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ। ਤੇ ਬਟ ਹੁਣ ਇਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਸਤੀਫਾ ਦੇਵੇ ਭਾਈ, ਤੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੀ ਲੈਣਾ ਦੇਣਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੇਜੋ ਕੋਈ ਤਰਵੇਦੀ ਬਣਾਓ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫੌਜ ਦਾ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਚੀਫ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਲੜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਨਾਲ। ਹੁਣ ਇੱਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਚੀਫ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਟਰਾਈਂਗ ਟੂ ਜਸਟ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਅ ਵੈਰੀ ਅਗਲੀ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ। ਐਨੀਵੇਜ਼, ਹਾਂਜੀ ਅਲੀ ਭਾਜੀ, ਯੂ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਐਡ ਸਮਥਿੰਗ ਟੂ ਵਾਟ ਹੀ ਸੈਡ ਔਰ?
Yeah, I agree. Like what Magician Bhai said, there is a time for everything. Like on 6th and 7th, the night it happened, and the very next day, after confirming the kills, Pakistan Air Force claimed. ठीक है, तुसी उधर ही कर लो। लाइक 10 तारीख अगर 5 जहाज, ठीक है, 6 जहाज, whatever, ठीक है, ये उन 3 महीने बाद तुसी अचानक क्लेम करके थे, it doesn't make any sense. Secondly, like you said, the way he is claiming, right? Because he 15 to 20 minutes on the targets, they were again civilian targets in Murid K and Balpur mosques. Like mosques are holy places, gurdwaras and temples and churches, right? Anyways, I'll not go into that detail. For the sake of argument, let's say, okay, चलो जी ठीक है, और तुसी कह रहे हो जी टेररिस्ट, ठीक है। ਹੁਣ ਭਾਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਪੁੱਛ ਲਓ, ਇੱਕ ਟੈਰਰਿਸਟ ਕੈਂਪ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਮਾਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਉਹ ਟੈਰਰਿਸਟ ਜਾਏਗਾ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੈਂਪ ਖੋਲ ਲੇਗਾ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਆਪਣਾ ਭਾਵਲਪੁਰ ਚ ਚੱਕ ਕੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਬਣਾ ਲੇਗਾ। ਸੋ ਐਜ਼ an air chief, you should know that if you actually want to hurt Pakistan Air Force or the like Pakistani military, you have to strike down their strategic assets, like, right? And he has shown me for 15 to 20 minutes. This is the mosque in Murid Ke, this is the camp in Bahawalpur, and then like you said, 5 seconds, like yeah, I shot on 5 aircraft also. So the whole focus was on that Bahawalpur and Murid Ke target, which is not that much significant, even if it was, which it was not.
Correct.
If it was like terrorist camp, Like they are in TTP and BLA. Pakistan Air Force is doing, Pakistan Army is doing counter-terrorism operations. So we exactly know for the past 20 years, if you destroy one camp, right, it's just one simple step. They will make another camp across the border, or they will
ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਨ
bring in
ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਨ
mercenaries,
ਗੱਲ
or they
ਮੇਨ
will
ਗੱਲ
do
ਨਹੀਂ
anything.
ਐਡਮਿਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ, ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਨ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਐਡਮਿਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਦੱਸ ਕੇ ਹੀ ਆਏ ਸੀ। Jaishankar aap keh ke assi tak keh ke aaye si कि we will only hit civilian. So Ali, I am pretty convinced maybe at their with strategic level they had some kind of an understanding. We are coming, we'll just hit this, and I think it's obvious in the way they were saying. But what they didn't calculate was that Pakistan has something called air defense, and if you're going to come and you're going to throw bombs, that उन्होंने क्या होना, yes you come, साਡਾ normal air defense रहेगा, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ 에ਅਰ ਫੋਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਹੋਣਾ ਕਿ ਨਾ ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਤਾਂ ਵੱਢਣਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, ਤਾਂ 150 ਕਿਲੋਮੀਟਰ ਦੂਰ ਹੋਣਾ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਆ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ 150 ਕਿਲੋਮੀਟਰ ਤੋਂ ਬੰਬ ਗੇਰਾਂਗੇ, ਵਾਪਸ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ। ਤਾਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਦਾ ਵਟ ਐਵਰ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, ਤਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਨਵੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਲੌਂਗ ਸਟਿਕ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਪ ਆਫ ਥਿੰਗ ਹੀ ਵਾਸ ਯੂਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਵਰਡ। ਹਾਂ, ਐਨੀਵੇਜ਼
I
ਵੀ
think
ਹੈਵ
even they had some other plans also, because Indians, the Modi media and this Ajit Doval and the Amit Shah, Rajnath, they have this issue. They crossed LOC in 2019. So even after the lobbing the bombs from that much distance, they should have turned back. Like they were still there. I think there was a plan to cross international border also, right? So I think that they said that we'll only hit civilian targets if something, like, again speculating. So, but then they tried to enter the airspace also, just to show, right, to the world that we can cross LOC, we can cross international border whenever we want. Like the Indians say that we will make Pakistan our Gaza. So what Israel can do in Iran, Syria, Lebanon, and Gaza, we can do to Pakistan. So that cannot be allowed, that even they enter 1 inch inside the international border. And as I said, that there is evidence that they were trying to enter the Pakistani airspace, because if you are only lobbing bombs, you should have turned back immediately. They were just continuing there for 1 hour, 1 hour, trying to get inside, then turning back, then coming again towards the border. So they wanted to show to the world that we can cross. In 2019, they crossed LOC, and this time they wanted to cross international border. But Pakistan Air Force, they did not allow them to even come close to the international border.
Got it. I know we have a couple of hands raised, but I want to raise one question, because I don't know who this gentleman is, Musa Paji, but ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਬੜੇ ਟਕਾ ਕੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, just to give him credit. His hand is also raised, but he has one comment here, a very deep comment, and he's asking, Harjeet, we have seen Indian Army being saffronized. Is this statement by IAF chief the start of saffronization of the IAF? ਇਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਸਵਾਲ ਗਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਹੀ ਹੈ ਮੂਸਾ ਭਾਜੀ। ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਆਰਮੀ ਤਾਂ ਗੌਨ ਕੇਸ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਆ, ਠੀਕ ਆ, ਤੇ ਪਰ ਇਹ ਏਅਰ ਫੋਰਸ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਏਅਰ ਫੋਰਸ ਦੀ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀਕਲ ਐਜ ਤਾਂ ਡਾਊਨਗ੍ਰੇਡ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਸੀ ਵਿਦ ਤੇਜਸ ਐਂਡ ਆਲ ਦਿਸ ਡਰਾਮਾ, but you are right, I had never thought about what will it mean from the saffronization. Now Indian Air Force, the thing is, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਏਅਰ ਫੋਰਸ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਨਾਇਰ ਫੋਰਸ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾਤਰ ਲੋਕ ਸਾਊਥ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਏਅਰ ਫੋਰਸ 'ਚ, ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਥੋੜੀ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀਕਲੀ ਠੀਕ ਵੀ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਾਊ ਬੈਲਟ ਵਾਲੇ ਭਰਨੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦੋ ਨਾ, ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਗਊ ਮੂਤਰ ਨਾਲ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਚਲਾਉਣੇ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਬੜਾ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਊਥ ਵਾਲੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਹਾਰਡ ਵਰਕਿੰਗ, ਦੇ ਆਰ ਸਿੰਸੀਅਰ, ਓਨੈਸਟ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਤਾਂ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਲ ਕੰਮ 'ਚ ਚੰਗੇ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਾਊ ਬੈਲਟ ਤੋਂ ਇੰਜੀਨੀਅਰਿੰਗ ਅਫਸਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਨਾ, ਉਹਦੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖੋਗੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਨਾਲ ਪਾਨਾ ਵੀ ਫੜਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ, ਲੀਵ ਅਲੋਨ ਮੇਨਟੇਨਿੰਗ ਐਨ ਏਅਰਕ੍ਰਾਫਟ। ਇਹ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਰਸਨਲ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਇਹ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਉਹ ਕਲਰਕ ਕਲੁਰਕ ਚੰਗੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਤੋਂ, ਬਟ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ। ਤੇ ਐਨੀਵੇਜ਼ ਹਿਸ ਹੈਂਡ ਇਜ਼ ਆਲਸੋ ਰੇਜ਼ਡ। ਮੂਸਾ ਭਾਜੀ, ਗੋ ਹੈਡ।
Assalamu alaikum and Sat Shri Akal to everyone. My question was that when we look at comparable actions globally, we see that the one instance comes to mind is that the US Navy, they launch about 60 Tomahawks on the Houthi, and even then they have varying level of success. So I'm sure this knowledge would be there with the IAF chief also. So how can he claim that the entire airbase is destroyed just on the basis of 1 crater, 2 crater, or maximum 5 craters? So that was my question.
Yeah. Yeah, Ali Paji, you want to comment on a great question? I think.
Yeah, walaikum assalam. I agree. I agree with you. The Tomahawk cruise missiles, they are very good, very accurate. But the warhead in cruise missiles, it's not like it's a ballistic missile and huge, thousands and thousands of kg. Right? Scalp is again, it is a very good air launched cruise missile. It is terrain hugging, very difficult to pick up early warning. But they are not like some. Big bombs that can destroy all the bases. Even in Ukraine Russia war, if you see, you gave examples of OCs, we can take many more examples also,
Yeah,
right? So the damage you have to inflict to take out a whole base, the number would go up in thousands, literally thousands,
yeah,
right? And with 80% of interception rate, about 76 to 80% was the interception rate. The Israelis claim that our is the Iron Dome and the Thad and everything is up to 90%. But even with the 30-minute warning, when Iran launched missiles on Israel, there were still hits in Haifa refinery, in Tel Aviv, in Ben Gurion airport. So no air defense system can intercept 100% incoming missiles. But even if it is 80%, it is very good. So that means that if you launch, let's say 100 missiles, Houthis could not intercept those Tomahawk and everything, but we can intercept BrahMos and Scalp, let's say 80 out of 100. So 20 will hit. But again, I think again, Air Chief Marshal AP Singh is far more experienced than me or anybody else in this like our community. He knows exactly very well how to destroy a runway, because in his exercises, once he's simulating, if you get even a single hit with a normal bomb, right, which is not the penetration, which I gave examples. It is Pakistan Air Force used Durandals, it is French on Mirage. Indian Air Force had BAP hundreds. So in our threat perception, we had this, that the aircraft will come over the runway, and then they will lob these bombs over the runway, and then they will go and penetrate inside the concrete and then destroy. So if it just impacts over the runway without penetration, you cannot destroy even the runway. What to talk of the whole airbase? That is why Pakistan Air Force, when we claimed that we hit S400, we did not say that we have destroyed whole S400 battery, because a whole battery is a huge infrastructure, right? So I don't know why he's claiming this, but he knows exactly well as a fighter pilot that with few, three, four, five bombs, whether it's Pramos or whether it's Hammer or whether it's Scalp, you cannot take out the whole airbase. So I don't know why he's saying, but we all know the reality that this is not possible, simply not possible.
yeah. देखो कमाल दी गल पता की है मूसा भाई दा हत्थ खड़ा कि look, first of all he is sharing all this information, zero detail, 5 second one statement that we fighters were taken out by the SCGW. Okay, now so he's obviously lying. He has been put under pressure, we can understand all that, but really surprisingly is that it's a country of 1.5 billion people. Okay, not one of them, I'm telling you right now, not one single one of them will be allowed or will have the sense or will have the courage to ask one question: okay, Air Marshal, which type of aircraft? And in your view, what were the locations where they were shot? That question will never be asked. And he will never share that information. You are asking him to explain his lie. There's nothing secret about it. He could very easily put a map and say 3 here, 2 here, 1 here, whatever it is. And we think, okay, I understand it's electronic ID. You are probably 90% sure these are J10Cs or whatever it is. Give us that information, right? So then we can talk about something. And but that information will never come because it is obviously, this is to basically rile up the party base. So now the Indian media, the IT cell, all their misinformation, disinformation spreaders, they will go to the town claiming lekho ji dekho ਚੱਕ ਤੇ ਜੀ 5 6 ਉਹ 5 ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ IT ਸੈੱਲ ਵਾਲੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉਹ ਕੋਈ 16 ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ 16 F-16 ਉੱਡ ਗਏ ਨੇ 10 F-16 ਉੱਡ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਮਨ 'ਚ ਜੋ ਨੰਬਰ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਪਲੱਸ ਇੱਕ ਮਾਈਨਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਲਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਇਟਸ ਲਾਈਕ ਇਟਸ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇਟਸ ਡੀਪਲੀ ਸੋਸ਼ੀਓਲੋਜੀਕਲ ਵਾਲੀ ਭਾਜੀ if you even look at their so-called ਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਚਰ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੋ ਜੀ। ਹਨੂਮਾਨ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਚੱਕਿਆ ਸੀ ਪਹਾੜ, ਚੱਕਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਖ ਲੱਗ ਗਈ, ਉਹ ਭੁੱਖ 'ਚ ਕਿਤੇ ਥੁੱਕ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਉਹ ਥੁੱਕ ਕੇ ਮੱਛੀ ਦੇ ਢਿੱਡ 'ਚ ਵੜ ਗਿਆ, ਮੱਛੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਗਨੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਗਈ, ਮੱਛੀ ਨੇ ਸ਼ੇਰ ਜੰਮਿਆ, ਸ਼ੇਰ ਨੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ। ਤੇ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਮਨ 'ਚ ਬੋਲੀ ਜਾਓ। ਤੇ ਐਨੀਵੇਜ਼ ਲਾਈਕ ਦੇयर इज नो नीड टू प्रूव एनी एविडेंस। Musa ji, please, and then Vanta ji.
My question is to Harjeet Paji. As we have seen, there is significant amount of pressure from the Indian leader of opposition regarding electoral fraud. And that pressure, as soon as it is reaching a boiling point, the IAF chief comes in, he makes the statements as he has made, and we have seen the pressure shifting almost in a second. So, sir, is this statement by the IF chief not, doesn't it seem like too convenient for you? And it just, fits into the narrative of the political elite in India.
Yeah, no, absolutely, totally agree. I think this is something that the immediate reaction of the Sikhs in diaspora, okay, and the people who don't like India, okay, Sikhs in diaspora, they hate the idea of India. They're not interested in Indian politics. But even there, the first reaction was that this statement has been forced out of the air chief to negate the recent yesterday what Rahul kind of gave the revelations that how the elections are totally rigged in India, that how BJP has actually rigged the election, and not that Congress is any better. Okay, they do the same stuff when they were the single national party for 50 years. BJP is just copying that, and there are two sides of the same coin. But I think there's a lot of water to what you are saying. I think this is just a detractory. But even Musavir, the whole Pahalgam incident, I think, was meant to distract the international audience and take the internal and domestic external pressure away from India. So it was all, for TV audience, for distraction. ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੁਣ ਪੁੱਠੇ ਪੰਗੇ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ, it has given a different turn of events to the subcontinent. So let me just, while we are talking, before I take more speakers, Ali Paji, I'm going to put my charger, and sometimes my screen yard signal drop. Okay, if something happens there, we'll have to figure out. Okay, but we'll रब दा नाम लेके कोशिश करते हैं, कुछ नहीं होगा.
I wanted to add another point to this Musa Bhai's question. Before this parliament session, we were talking in Pakistan that Rahul Gandhi will not leave the parliament without asking Modi that prove me that the Indian aircraft were not lost, or if they were lost, which aircraft, how many pilots, from which squadron, etc., etc. And then before this parliament session, what happened that they somehow found those terrorists, so-called terrorists from Pakistan with Pakistani IDs and everything. So they cornered those terrorists and they killed them. And then I said, okay, here we go. Now Rahul Gandhi, if he sits in the parliament for next 10,000 years, he will not be able to get those details from Modi or Rajnath Singh or anybody. So this is their modus operandi. Whenever something is happening like this, right? And now Rahul Gandhi said this before in the parliament. He was talking about the aircraft losses. Many other were talking about aircraft losses. But because that day, exactly that day, they found those Pahalgam terrorists. So that is why the narrative shifted. So this is like something not something new. It has happened in the past that you have to misdirect public from one point, so you give them something new and a total bunch of lies. But at least in India, the public, they start following that narrative instead of the real questions.
Yeah, no, bilkul. And can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah. So no, absolutely. I think the killing of the claiming that we've killed those terrorists. Ali Hamdaji, it reminds me exactly of what they did in Chitti Singhpura. People should go and read what happened in Chitti Singhpura when they murdered 36 Sikhs. The Indian Army did it. We know because the United Nations report came out on it, an investigation done by a retired Lieutenant General of Indian Army. He was a Sikh, and they've then investigated the whole thing. This is same, poor people murdered by the Indian state. to just create an excuse to go to war, or like not war. They don't want a war, full hot war with Pakistan. They always want to create this tension and skirmish to strengthen their own nationhood and take international pressure off and show Pakistan in a poor light. But this one might actually
I
now, I
think it
think,
was Bill Clinton was visiting, and they wanted to show Bill Clinton that Pakistan has done this. Lieutenant General S.K. Gill, I have heard his interview.
yeah,
Lieutenant General retired Gill, he's a Sikh, and he said that it was clear that the whole operation that they used to go there and call the Sikhs out, that check, okay, show us your IDs and everything. And then one night, when they thought, okay, it's normal, they just call us out, they check our IDs, and they send us back. And they killed
yeah,
about 35 Sikh villagers,
yeah.
and then they said it is Pakistan. And so like unfortunate incident, and huge issues with Indians regarding this.
And actually now there is a Major Rathod who was involved in that incident. He is in US. He actually gave an interview to Gurpatwant Singh Pannu of Sikhs for Justice, and he mentioned that all the soldiers who were involved in that incident all have been murdered by the Indian state to kind of tie up the loose ends. And he first ran away to Europe, and from Europe he then they figured out that he's there. He then escaped to US, and he's right now living under a fake identity within US. ਦੇਖੋ ਇਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੰਟਰੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤਾਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਹੈ, US ਤੇ ਯੂਰਪ ਦੀਆਂ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ, ਲਾਈਕ people who are asylum seekers, they treat them well. And ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਾਂਗਾ ਵੀ ਇੰਡੀਆ 'ਚ there's lot many such people who are there, probably some, I'm pretty sure many Indian army officers were involved in Pahalgam as well. So ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਾਂਗਾ, if you are watching my show, the world is not as fucked up as India is. Sorry, pardon my language. So if they have a chance to visit US or any Western country, just go to the embassy. Or even if you are in India, if you go to and enter their embassy, you can let them know, "Okay, this is what the Indian state is forcing me to do," and they will take care of the rest. Okay, they'll take care of your family, they'll take care of you. It's just their culture to do that, and I know many such cases. So you don't have to suffer there, keep doing these criminal acts just because the state wants you to do that. Anyway, we have many hands raised. Vantaji, please, and then we'll Zara, and then Magician.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम ते सत श्री अकाल। खैर मेरा सर यही सी कि I don't know why we are discussing the technicalities of them hitting Pakistan. The message is clearly political. It's not a soldier talking. It's actually a pawn of the government. And once again, the Indian government, a Hindu Banya, how well Hindu Banya has used another Sardar, to meet his ends, basically. And why I say this? Because, oh, Chara bol raha hai कि India ਦੀ एक infatuation है F-16 ਨੂੰ ਗਿਰਾਉਣ ਲਈ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤਬਾਹ ਕਰਨ। The message is for Trump, actually. It's not for Pakistan, particularly. It's telling American government that we have destroyed an asset that was made in America, given to Pakistan. The S400, we have used S400, which is a Russian-made equipment. Well, how come he never mentioned JF-17s or 8NCs? Why he is particularly mentioned F-16? Because he is now going to meet President Xi with the SU meeting, and he doesn't want to, बुरा नहीं महसूस कराना चाह रहे Chinese government ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ China ਨੂੰ। ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਉਹ F-16 ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਰਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਮਿਸਾਈਲ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ। ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਵੱਡੇ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ, ਉਹ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ, I know he's a man of honor, मैं वो क्वेश्चन नहीं करता, लेकिन he has been used, he got used। ये दूसरा वो बेचारा कहते रहे कि ਅਸੀਂ डिस्ट्रॉय ਕੀਤੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ तबाह कर दिया, लेकिन he has no evidence to show कि कोई पिक्चर नहीं हैगी, कोई रैकेट ਦੀ पिक्चर नहीं हैगी, कोई ਉਹ नहीं हैगा कि यार ਇਹ इंजन क्या है, इसका पाकिस्तानी और उस तरफ कोई चीज नहीं आई। तो मेरे ख्याल जो बेचारा आखिरी अपनी बिल्कुल एट हाइट ऑफ हिज his career IAF chief has destroyed not only his reputation but also the reputation of Indian Air Force. That's all I got.
No, you bring in a very interesting point, and I want to take Ali's. Vantari, now you have got me thinking. Like, absolutely right. It's a political message, but is it a political message also to China? Because he didn't name Chinese aircraft, but he named the American aircraft. Okay, yes, it's a political message to America, but are they also trying to, message to China? Look, we need a new master. That America has abandoned us, and we have abandoned America. ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫੜੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਕਰੋ ਦਇਆ ਸਲਾਮ ਤੇ ਏਦਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕੁਛ ਅਲੀ what's yours? I think it's a good
Aji,
point.
if you remember in the last podcast, you said something regarding China and India, that we may see that China and India are becoming friends. And at that time, I was very skeptical that I said, no, I don't think so. But now, believe me, like I am thinking that maybe India is paving way, because the strategic autonomy of India is gone. Right now, they have to choose either, because they have been called out regarding their participation in
Right.
SEO, their participation in BRICS, and their participation in Quad. So the Trump administration is not happy. Scott Bessent said, secretary, that India has not been a good global actor, buying some Russian oil, sanctioned Russian oil, and then selling it as their own product. So now India has a choice. Either they can go completely in US camp, right? They will have to throw away all their S400 and Russian equipment, and then maybe America can make their base F-35 base like Japan, South Korea, and Philippines. Or they can cut ties with America, not completely, but they can tilt towards China Russia bloc, right? And instead of Quad, because Quad is dead, Quad is, for all practical purposes, Quad is dead. They can start becoming a more practical member of BRICS, which has both China and Russia, and SEO again with the Chinese leadership. So amazing thinking by Vanta, because the Americans, they know exactly when the F-16s are shot. Like in 2019, there was no F-16 shot because they have many programs. I think Blue Lantern, and there is another name, end user agreements, that once we will give you foreign military sales, any equipment, right? They monitor it, and user monitor programs. So they know exactly that no F-16 was lost in 2019. They know exactly that no aircraft was F-16 was lost in 2025. But as Wanda said,
He's adding something. Yeah, Vanta, go ahead.
yeah, sure.
I just wanted to say, just imagine tomorrow Lockheed Martin, or in a week's time, Lockheed Martin comes and gives an official statement that we have checked and confirmed that the inventory and the numbers are the same as they were before May 6th. He is a threat in the IAF chief, the Indian Air Force, the Indian government, the India on a global level. कि लॉकेड मार्टिन आके डिनाई कर देता है कि कोई जेट कोई F-16 लूज नहीं होया की इज्जत रह जाएगी तो कल पाकिस्तान क्वेश्चन करता है कि you should also bring up this all
Why they don't care. In 2019 it happened actually. Yes. American Lockheed Martin, they said that we have counted the numbers of Pakistan Air Force and no F-16 was lost. They didn't care. Frankly speaking, you just go back to 2019. They made this statement, and the Indians said, no, Americans are lying, because it is an insult to them if they accept that a MiG-21 flown by Abhinandan has shot down F-16.
Correct.
So they say Americans are lying.
They can also do that. How come they couldn't deny in Ukraine and Russia? Because some F-16 were lost.
मैं ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਬੜੀ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਿਖਾਉਣ ਲੱਗਾ. I know there are more hands raised. Ali, to your point, okay, why I made that statement ki where is India going to land? I have this conspiracy theory. I propounded it very early that India is, and this is 7-8 years back, not conspiracy theory, it was based upon certain hunch that if the geopolitical struggle is happening between China and India, and China and Russia are together, if, and there's a big if, I still put an if, how together they are, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹੈਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਠੱਗ ਹੀ ਨੇ, ਸਾਰੇ ਅਥੋਰੀਟੇਰੀਅਨ ਰਜੀਮ ਨੇ ਇਹ, ਤੇ ਇਸ ਪਾਸੇ ਅਥੋਰੀਟੇਰੀਅਨ ਰਜੀਮ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਊ? ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ, some of these veterans, they were like, India is going to be with us, and you are living in a fool's dream. ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਚ ਕਰਦੀ। ਵੈਨ ਸ਼ਿਟ ਵਿਲ ਹਿਟ ਦਾ ਫੈਨ, ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਮੈਚ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਇਕੱਠੇ, ਦੀ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਸਮਟਾਈਮਸ ਦੇ ਐਕਟ ਲਾਈਕ ਹਿਊਮਨਸ ਵੈਨ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਕਮ ਟੂ ਦਾ ਕ੍ਰਕਸ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵੀ ਮਿੱਤਰ ਬੇਲੀ ਉਹ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਖੜੇ ਹੋ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੋਜ਼ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫ੍ਰੀਕੁਐਂਸੀ ਮੈਚ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਮੈਚ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਖੜਦੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰੋਜ਼ ਨੌਕਰੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ। ਤਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਆ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਦੀ, ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਆ, ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਅਥੋਰੀਟੇਰੀਅਨ ਰਜੀਮ ਫਰਮ ਡੇ 1, ਇੰਡੀਆ is always trying to be China. India is never trying to be America. ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਮੋਲਡ ਕੀਤਾ ਰਸ਼ੀਆ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਇਟਸ ਅ ਟੋਟਲੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਸਟ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਅ ਰਜੀਮ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਐਸਪੀਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਸ਼ੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਦੀ ਸੰਵਿਧਾਨ ਕਾਪੀ ਕੀਤਾ, ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਬਣ ਜਾਈਏ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ। That is their aspiration. Okay, so if the world is going to get divided between China, Russia one side, I still have doubts whether they are together, and America on the other side, then India is always, and if somebody puts a bullet or like a gun to the head of Indian state will always be with China, never be with America. ਇਹ ਮੇਰੀ assessment ਸੀ, ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਸੁਣਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰਵੀਨ ਸਵਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਟਵੀਟ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ। ਓਕੇ, ਆਈ ਕੰਸੀਡਰ ਇਟ ਅ ਫੌਪ ਆ, ਐਂਡ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਨਾ ਲਿਖ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਚੀਜ਼ ਗੁੱਸੇ 'ਚ, ਉਹ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਨੂੰ ਤੰਗ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਉਹਨੇ ਕੁਛ ਲਿਖ ਛੱਡਿਆ। ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਇਹਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰਵੀਨ ਸਾਨੀ ਵਰਗੇ ਲੋਕ ਨੇ ਨਾ, ਦੀਜ਼ ਆਰ ਦਾ ਰੀਅਲ ਡੀਲ। ਬਾਕੀ ਤਾਂ ਭੋਲੇ ਭਾਲੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੀਜੇਪੀ ਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ, ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਜੀ ਐਂਡ ਆਲ, ਦੀਜ਼ ਗਾਇਜ਼ ਡੋਂਟ ਮੈਟਰ। ਐਂਡ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕੁਛ, ਕਦੇ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਲਰਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਦਿੱਲੀ 'ਚ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਟੀਵੀ ਚੈਨਲ ਲਈ ਰੱਖਿਆ। ਅੱਛਾ, ਰੀਡ ਦਿਸ is dated, let me try to figure out when it is dated, somewhere around July 2024. Okay, this is Praveen Sani's tweet. Okay, and I'm going to read verbatim for people here. I know there are a lot of people, Shakir Paji bhi aaye ne, Shakir Paji main auna thode kol, but let me just read his tweet. So Chinese commentators, unlike American analysts, have welcomed Prime Minister Modi's visit to China. Why? So he gives a couple of points. Number one, China does not see itself in competition with India. China does not assess India as an enemy. China knows that close ties between India and Russia will have no impact on strategic ties. Number four. Number 5 is very interesting. Number 5, and I'm quoting Praveen Sani, quote, China wants to normalize ties with India. Both sides, India and China, have contributed to PLA occupying territory in East Ladakh in April 2020. Okay, so if you actually go back to the events, okay, how China ended up occupying all that territory, this all started with Doklam. ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਹੋਵੇ 2017 ਚ ਡੋਕਲਾਮ ਚ one Chinese brigade ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, it was a bulldozer, started making a kacha road on the Burma side. And the Indians basically made a hue and cry, deployed a full brigade and then a div. ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਬਹਾਨਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਨੂੰ to move in troops there. ਚਾਈਨਾ ਨੇ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਵੈਸਟਰਨ ਆਰਮੀ ਥੀਏਟਰ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਸਟਾਫ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਐਗਰੀਮੈਂਟਸ ਵਿਦ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਿਲਟਰੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ। ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਡੋਕਲਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੀ ਡਿਪਲੋਇਮੈਂਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ, ਚਾਈਨਾ ਗੌਟ ਐਨ ਐਕਸਕਿਊਜ਼ ਟੂ ਸੈਂਡ ਇਨ ਆਰਮੀ ਦੇਅਰ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ the agreements which were signed in 93 between the Narasimha Rao government and the Indian government, because the Indians broke that government by sending in so much army on Doklam. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਆਰਮੀ ਆਈ ਡੋਕਲਾਮ ਦੇ ਰਿਐਕਸ਼ਨ 'ਚ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟਰੂਪਸ ਆਏ, ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਐਗਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਇਜ਼ ਆਊਟ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਵਿੰਡੋ ਜਿਹੜਾ 93 ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਈਨ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ। That is how the Chinese are able to now man all these areas in Ladakh, and they are right, safeguarding everything on their Karakoram pass ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟੇਜਿਕ ਡੈਪਥ। ਤੇ ਜੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਐਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੇ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ ਤਾਂ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ਼ਿਪ 'ਚ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ। ਤੇ ਜੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਨੂੰ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਨੇ। ਦੂਜੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਦੇਖੋ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਫੋਰਨ ਟ੍ਰੇਡ, ਚਾਈਨਾ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਟ੍ਰੇਡ, ਇੰਡੀਆ ਇਜ਼ ਦਾ ਫਾਸਟੈਸਟ ਗਰੋਇੰਗ ਟ੍ਰੇਡਿੰਗ ਪਾਰਟਨਰ ਵਿਦ ਚਾਈਨਾ। ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਹੁਣ ਦੇਖੋ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੋਦੀ 'ਚ ਆਈ ਡੋਂਟ ਨੋ, ਬਟ ਦੀਜ਼ ਆਰ ਦ ਥਿੰਗ ਦੈਟ ਆਈ ਵਾਜ਼ ਵਾਚਿੰਗ ਐਂਡ ਮਾਈ ਅਸੈਸਮੈਂਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਕਿ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਸੀਕ੍ਰੇਟ ਡੀਲ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਜਾਂ ਆਪਸ 'ਚ ਕੁਛ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਘਾਲ ਮਾਲ ਜਿਹਾ। ਅਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਜੇ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ, ਟਰੰਪ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਥੋੜਾ ਫੜਿਆ, ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਭਾਈ ਕਿੱਧਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ। I think he's going to he's trying to force India to come out clean, that where are they going to land? I think so. Yeah.
One last thing, Trump is also वो भी एक रामजती कर रहे हैं कि वो कह रहे हैं कि 5 से 6 jars. He's not saying which side, right? So he's leaving that ambiguity for India.
Yeah.
ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਕਹੋਗੇ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਓਗੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਅੱਖਾਂ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸ ਦਿਆਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਜੈਟਸ।
Yeah, correct.
Giving that ambiguity, and now it has been said in India they actually have said the F-16 देखे ने या F-16 मारे ने, there is no mention of agency when agency, and for Indians F-17 because these were the planes that were actually targeting Indian jets.
Yeah.
They gravity they jet and sea on Indians ਲਈ jet and sea they F-17 होना चाहिए, F-16 नहीं होना चाहिए, because they must be flanking those those other jets who were actually leading the mission.
Yeah.
How come they only mention F-16 and not jet and sea and jet 17? I don't know.
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟਰੰਪ ਵਾਲੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਹੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਸਪੈਸੀਫਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ। ਅੱਛਾ, ਹੋਰ 2-3 ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਇਹ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਦੇ ਜਸਟ ਲੇਡ ਟੈਕਸ ਔਨ ਰਿਮਿਟੈਂਸਿਸ ਫਰੋਮ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਟੂ USA ਟੂ ਇੰਡੀਆ। ਟੈਕਸ ਪਤਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਲਾਇਆ? 5%, ਜਦਕਿ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੇ 20% ਲਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਇਟਸ ਜਸਟ ਐਨ ਇੰਡੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਿ ਭਾਈ ਵੀ ਕਰੋ ਟਾਈਟਨ। ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਦੇਰ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ H-1B ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਨਵੀਂ ਹਲਕੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਰਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਸ਼ਨ ਲਾਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ all H-1B visa holders now they have to go back to their country of origin for interview। ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਡ੍ਰੌਪ ਬਾਕਸ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਿਨਿਊ ਕਰਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਅਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਥੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਚੱਲਣੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ H-1B ਬੰਦ ਹੀ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ। ਬੰਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਆ, ਬਟ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਆਲ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ਼ਰ ਟੈਕਟਿਕਸ ਔਨ ਇੰਡੀਆ। ਐਂਡ ਅਤੇ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਸਹੀ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਟਰੰਪ ਨੇ ਕਲੈਰੀਫਾਈ ਜਾਣ ਬੁੱਝ ਕੇ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਉਹ ਦੇ ਵਰ ਗੋਇੰਗ ਐਟ ਇਟ, ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਾਟ ਡਾਊਨ 5-6, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ 5 ਕਿਹਾ, ਨਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ 5-6 ਏਅਰਕ੍ਰਾਫਟ। ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਪਲੇਇੰਗ, ਯੂ ਆਰ ਵੈਰੀ ਰਾਈਟ, ਅਤੇ ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਕੀਪਿੰਗ ਹਿਜ਼ ਆਪਸ਼ਨਸ ਓਪਨ। ਐਨੀਵੇਜ਼, ਜ਼ਾਰਾ ਜੀ, ਗੋ ਹੈਡ। Zara, can you speak slightly close to the mic? Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, better than before, but yeah.
Let's say मैं कह रही थी कि एक तो मैं बाद में I will agree with them कि मुझे बात ये लग रही है pointed more towards Trump rather than Pakistan. Especially, why would he mention F-16? Specifically, जो कि पहले भी we mentioned कि F-16 मेरे तो शोर लगा रहे थे, they were saying Chinese aircraft चीज हो रही है, सारा हो रहा है। Like, why not mention them? Why are you mentioning F-16? Second question is, Marshall, right? Like, he can talk down, but I would say the loudest echoes जो है ना, they're coming from politicians, not independent. So it's more clearer than two times. And do you think dropping statements days before August 15th is a coincidence? It's like campaign season in this guy, especially when it's coming, like, wipe them out or Sakujoaraji in the IC. Doesn't it belong to a movie script rather than, military debrief? तो कुछ अजीब सी मुझे ये उनकी बात लग रही है। that does not befit an air chief marshal, वो इसका की बात कर रहे हैं। और वो साफ जो बोल रहे हैं कि things like this wasn't just a mission, it was a message, new India doesn't bow. Like, what exactly are you getting at? So, like, my question is, what is the real aim? To sell the new India brand or dominance humiliation abroad, या फिर just to fire up the BJP's political base. That's my question.
No, I think it's a fair point, Zara. I think it's a political speech, and not just a political just from an international relations standpoint. I think it is also geared towards the domestic audience and the domestic politics and keeping BJP in power. And that's where Musa's earlier question was. This will probably also step on IAF's ਆਰਮੀ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਹੀ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸੈਫਰਨ ਆਰਮੀ ਆ ਹੁਣ IAF ਵੀ ਸੈਫਰਨਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੱਲ ਵੱਧ ਰਹੀ ਆ ਤੇ it was not a professional military debrief at all. It's a bit of a joke, honestly. Like without lead alone professional military brief, even if it is a political brief, okay, like from any angle, like you are making a sensational claim. The crux of your whole claim was that I shot down 5 aircraft, and you spend only 5 seconds on it, and then you offer zero detail. Like what do you mean? You think the whole world is a fool? Yes, their whole India is definitely. Kamal di gall hai ki India is 1.5 billion people will believe all this because now their media and their propaganda machinery will pick it up and they will sell them this lie, and those 1.5 billion people will believe this lie like anything, and you will see that play out in front of you, and the whole world will watch it. And but anyways, apne magician Paji gir gaye si, but Shakir Paji hai ne. Shakir Paji, are you still here? Shakir Paji, are you still here? I think he just dropped. I should have taken him on. He's always very, he has great comments. But I'm trying to get apne Kukku Uppal Paji ne. Paji, you have a question? Please go ahead. Apne Kukku Uppal Paji ne. Paji, you have a question? Please go ahead if you want to ask something. And if in case some people have their hands raised, let me know. There's something going on with the space which is not right. So I might not be seeing some people who are raising their hands. Okay. I know the couple of people are trying to join, but I think there's something issue going on with the space. But I can take some questions here. Huck tells, after 2 months of coma, IAF realized they shot jets. Okay, yes. After 2 months of coma. Yeah, that's correct. Suddenly, I think, what made them wake up early, Paji, after 2 months?
I think this because Vanta Bhai and this Zara Ben, what point they have been given. First of all, it is political coercion. There is no question about it. It is not a military debrief. It's not even a debrief. We have covered it in detail. That this is not how you give details of your kills, right? In the modern era, I have quoted him, the Air Chief Marshal AP Singh. He has himself accepted in the start of his speech that nowadays the modern weapons, you know exactly when they are going, when they hit, where they are going, if they are killing, if they are missing, they are sending all of the feedback. He's even talking about blips, that there are blips and then they disappear, etc. Secondly, like he said himself again, talking about this software update, he has been talking about HAL and Babus, that they are not good for in the Indian Air Force, and now he's like praising them that they are very good. And so, and the last point regarding America and China, I think the what Praveen Sani also said in the tweet you showed, the last part was that the Americans, they want India as a counterbalance or military bulwark against China in the region. And Russia and China, they are a bit getting close, right? For the Eastern Bloc, I don't know, again, just speculating. So if the Indians visit Russia, the Chinese are happy, but the Americans are not, right? And now Donald Trump is practically, he's punishing India with tariffs and 50% tariffs and sanctions and everything. And because he's not happy with the Indian relation with Russia. He wants India as a counterbalance to China. But the Indians, like AP Singh clearly knows in his heart that not even in coming 50 to 100 years, India can be a counterbalance at the behest of USA against China. So the only thing, the trade, like you said, Baji, it has increased from, I think, $30 billion to close to $80 to $100 billion.
Correct.
So India has only one option. They they will not directly confront USA. They do not have yet that much strength, but they will try that. Okay, USA is also our friend, but China and Russia, they are also great regional powers, and we are in SEO and we are in BRICS. So India is a peace-loving country, and we should be happily live with these all these countries around us. The only problem will come when you make this triangle: China, Pakistan, and India. So now India wants good relations with China and Russia, but they have to have good relations with Pakistan also if they want to go in Chinese camp. So the actual interesting thing, which I'll not comment on it because it's like it will be again just shooting in the air. I will wait for it that if China breaks away from USA strategically, like as a strategic partner, and goes towards China and Russia, what will happen between Pakistan and India? So I am personally waiting for the what future holds for us, because if China and India become close, then China will coerce or ask India that I
To
want
join
peace in the
CPAC.
region.
Yeah, to join
So I
CPAC,
want
basically. BRI. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
I want peace in Pakistan. I want peace in Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
For the CPAC, for the BRI, for the energy corridor. So
Yeah.
please, so maybe in future we see
Yeah.
that the Indians will continue with this chest thumping, and yeah, we are the great, because they want to keep their nose high and their ego. But read between the lines.
Yeah.
If you read between the lines, you will see that the Indians are accepting this reality that they cannot fight with Pakistan or China, and they have to have some peaceful relations. But if they accept it openly, then the 1.5 million, a billion people, like you have pumped them up that we will akhand Bharat and destroy Pakistan, they will come and literally kill you. So
Yeah.
you have to show something to them. So this briefing is, I think this is part of it, that you are telling the people that yeah, we are the greatest in the region and we will destroy Pakistan and China, but
Yeah.
actually you are accepting that you cannot fight and you cannot win against Pakistan or China.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's true. Like, and Ali Bhaji, like, you will be surprised. This notion I picked up, ਇੱਕ ਬੜਾ ਹੀ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਭੁੱਲ ਗਿਆ, ਪਿੰਡਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਸੀ। ਉਹਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੈਪ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਨਾ, ਤੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟ੍ਰਕਚਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਦਾ। ਤੇ ਯੂ ਆਰ ਵੈਰੀ ਰਾਈਟ, ਚਾਈਨਾ ਹੈਜ਼ ਬੀਨ ਫੋਰਸਿੰਗ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਟੂ ਮੈਂਡ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ਼ਿਪ ਵਿਦ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਐਂਡ ਜੁਆਇਨ BRI, ਬਟ ਤੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟ੍ਰਕਚਰ 'ਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਪੈਂਡ ਵੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਪਿਛਲੇ 10-12 ਸਾਲਾਂ 'ਚ। ਬਾਕੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਮਿਡਲ ਕਲਾਸ ਤੋਂ ਪੈਸਾ ਖਿੱਚਿਆ, ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟ੍ਰਕਚਰ ਚਲਾਇਆ, ਬਟ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਨਠਾਤੀ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੀ। ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਿਸ ਦੌੜ ਗਏ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟ੍ਰਕਚਰ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸੜਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਨਾ, ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਬੰਗਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ, ਗੁਜਰਾਤ ਤੋਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਇਹ ਜਾਣੀਆਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਨੇ? ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਤਦ ਬਣਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਉਹ ਕਨੈਕਟ ਹੋਣ।
Yes.
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਇੱਕ ਪਿੰਡ ਦੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਗੱਲ ਸੀ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹਰਜੀਤ ਭਾਜੀ ਇਹ ਜਾ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਡਰਾਈ ਪੋਰਟ ਇਹ ਬਣ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਖਾਲੀ ਪਏ ਨੇ। ਯਾਰ ਗੱਲ ਤੇਰੀ ਸਹੀ ਹੈ, ਦੈਟ ਮੀਨਸ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਮਾਈਟ ਬੀ ਲੌਂਗ ਟਰਮ ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗ ਟੂ ਜੁਆਇਨ BRI। ਅੱਛਾ, ਉਸੀ ਕੌਨਟੈਕਸਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਜੋ ਇਹ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਡੈਮੋਗ੍ਰਾਫਿਕ ਚੇਂਜ, ਉੱਥੇ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਠਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਉੱਥੇ ਤੋਂ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਯੂਪੀ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਭਈਏ ਵਸਾਏ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਥੋਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਲੱਗਦਾ, ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਸਾਰੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਰਾਜਸਥਾਨ ਦਾ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਸਾਰਾ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਪਿਆ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਕਿੱਥੇ? ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਬਾਰਡਰ 'ਤੇ। ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਹੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੇ, ਜੇ ਇਹ ਫਰੈਂਡਲੀ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ, ਤਾਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ 'ਤੇ ਚੜ੍ਹਨਾ। ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਦੀ ਹੱਦਾਂ ਤੱਕ। ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਖਤਰਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਆ। ਤੇ ਮੇ ਬੀ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਇਨ ਦੇਅਰ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟੇਜਿਕ ਪਲਾਨ, ਵੀ ਵਿਲ ਸੀ ਵਟ ਟਾਈਮ ਟੈਲਸ। ਬਟ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੁੱਕਾ ਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਸ 'ਤੇ ਖੜਾ ਆ। ਮੇਰੇ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ, ਮੈਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਆਈ ਡੋਂਟ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨ, ਨਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਤਰਬੀਅਤ, ਮੈਂ ਕਾਮਨ ਸੈਂਸ 'ਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਐਂ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਵਰਲਡ ਵਾਰ ਜੋ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਚਾਹੇ ਪਰਦੇ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਉਹ ਜਿੱਤੇਗਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਖੜਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ।
ਹਰਜੀਤ ਭਾਈ, ਮੈਂ ਸਭ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਲਾਮ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਵਾ। ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਜੁਮਲਾ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਨਾ, ਮੈਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਿੱਕੇ ਨਿੱਕੇ ਬਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਵੇਖੋ ਅੱਗੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਘੁੰਮਦੇ ਪਏ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਦਾਦਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਕਦੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲਿਜਾਏਗਾ।
ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਜੁਮਲਾ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਚਾਹ ਰਿਹਾ ਸਾਂ ਕਿ ਭਾਈਜਾਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੋਈ ਜੰਗ ਸੀ ਲਾਹੌਰ ਦੀ ਬੰਦਰਗਾਹ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਜਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਜਨਾਬ, ਇਹਦੇ ਚ ਕੁਝ ਰਕਮ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਇਲਾਕੇ ਦਾ ਆ ਗਿਆ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਲਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੁਬਾਰਕ ਹੋਵੇ। ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੁਬਾਰਕ ਦੇ ਜਾਵਾਂ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਝੰਡੇ ਦੀ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸਲਤਨਤ ਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ।
ਵੈਸੇ ਬੰਦਰਗਾਹ 'ਚ ਆਵਾਜਾਈ ਚੱਲੀ ਹੈ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ, ਕੀ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਨੇ ਬੰਦਰਗਾਹ ਦੇ?
ਉਹ ਯਾਰ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਬੰਦਰਗਾਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਓਗੇ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਯਕੀਨ ਕਰੋ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਸਮਾਨ ਨਮਕ ਵਾਲਾ ਗੋਸ਼ਤ ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਸ਼ੋਰਬਾ ਬੜਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਸ ਬੰਦਰਗਾਹ ਤੋਂ ਨੇੜੇ ਹੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਸਮਾਨ ਹੋਟਲ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਜਨਾਬ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਨਮਕੀਨ ਗੋਸ਼ਤ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਾ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਪੱਤੂ ਜੀ ਤੋਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਵੇ,
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ,
ਤੇ ਉਹ ਅੱਲਾ ਖੈਰ ਰੱਖੇ। ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੜੀ ਮੁਬਾਰਕ ਹੋਵੇ। ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਵਾਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਮਿੱਠਾ ਕਰਾਓਗੇ ਜਿਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਕੁਝ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਨਾਉਂਸ ਵੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤੇ ਝੰਡਾ ਵੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਲਾਓ।
ਚਲੋ ਚਲੋ,
6 ਤਿਆਰੇ ਮਾਰਨ ਤੇ ਮੁਬਾਰਕ ਹੋਵੇ ਰਜੀਤ ਵੀਰ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ।
ਹਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ, ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ
ਕੰਮ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਇਆ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਅਸਲ ਹਕੀਕਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਇਆ। ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਬਣਿਆ ਤੇਰੇ ਭੁਪਿੰਦਰ ਦਾ ਹੈ ਸਾਰੇ
ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ
ਅੱਛਾ ਇੱਕ ਮਿੰਟ,
ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਕੇ ਆਇਆ।
ਅੱਛਾ ਇੱਕ ਮਿੰਟ,
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਬ੍ਰਾਹਮਣਾਂ
ਅੱਛਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਮਿੰਟ ਸਾਰੇ ਵੀਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਮਖੌਲ ਲਗੇ, ਕੁਝ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੱਥ ਖੜੇ ਨੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਵਾਲ ਲੈ ਲਵਾਂ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਖੌਲ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ, ਐਂਡ 'ਚ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਬਟ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਸਵਾਲ
ਮੈਂ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਚਾਹਾਂਗਾ, ਮੇਰਾ ਦਿਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਪਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਦੀ ਖਬਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਾਂ।
ਸ਼ੁਕਰੀਆ ਭਾਜੀ, ਸ਼ੁਕਰੀਆ। Acha, just to give a comment here, this guy given a funny comment. Huck had asked, after 2 months of coma, IAF realized they shot jets. So there's Hebi, he had answered, Indian Air Chief, I would have told this on 10th May if I knew this. So, ਇਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ ਵੀ ਸੈਂਸ ਆਫ ਹਿਊਮਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਤਗੜੇ ਨੇ। And Hebi also, India to America, punish me, daddy. Yeah. Okay, nice. I think that's what's going on. Yeah, it'll be interesting. And we'll take more questions. I know Shakir Paji is there, then Ahmed Paji is there. But Ali Paji will. I know we don't want to open things too much and put things in trouble. In case we are on right track, in case we are reading the strategy right, then we are really unfolding the पत्ते ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਖੋਲ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ but I feel like I always feel like that Pakistan now, India, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ India is not a power, a military power, ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਗ ਆ ਗਈ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਗ ਆਈ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਬਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਾਇਕ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ। they should fall like USSR। ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਚਾਈਨਾ, India is no counter to China। India ਨਾ ਇਕਨੋਮਿਕਲੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਮਿਲੀਟਰੀਲੀ ਹੈ। ਤਾਂ ਰਹਿ ਕੌਣ ਗਿਆ ਖਿੱਤੇ 'ਚ? ਰਹਿ ਗਿਆ
ਨਹੀਂ, ਲਾਈਕ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਨਾ ਬਰੀਫਲੀ, ਲੈਟਸ ਫੋਰਗੇਟ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਐਂਡ ਚਾਈਨਾ, India, Afghanistan. Think of China as a regional power because China is now a great power, whether the Americans like it or not. It is a multipolar world now. You have USA, it is still great power, but it is on a decline, right? I'll not go in further details, but USA is number 1, China is number 2, and then Russia is number 3 because of its own problems with Ukraine and everything. Right. Now, a great power in the region. Let's say we are both Chinese. We are sitting in Beijing, and we are looking at the map, right? Indian Ocean, and from Indian Ocean, we are looking at the countries Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, and then for the BRI, this Central Asia and Afghanistan, right? Now tell me, forget about international and everything. As a Chinese strategy maker, what do you want? You want peace in this region. Correct. You want BRI, right? Correct. Because your actual, if you are going to challenge the reigning superpower, which is USA, obviously, right, with NATO and the liberal democracies like in Western Europe, Australia, right, and Canada, right? So the rule-based international order is led by US. Right. Now you're thinking about future because the Chinese, they are very, very patient. They want to take their like Taiwan, in islands in South China Sea, East China Sea, Arunachal Pradesh, and Ladakh from India. But if they have to wait 200 years more, they will wait. they are in no hurry, right? So they will say, okay, forget about all these issues. Let's become a superpower or a regional power here. Let's have peace from these four countries. And from Indian Ocean region, use Calcutta and Chittagong and Gwadar and all these ports and help China grow further to the level of a superpower. So
Correct.
that if tomorrow there is something going on between USA and China, I have this whole region behind me.
Correct.
Because you see, in East Asia, right now, in East Asia, China has many issues. Japan is in US camp, South Korea is in US camp, Philippines is in US camp, and India, so called, like in US camp. So basically, China wants peace and harmony between all these countries. Now the
Correct.
problem is Indians want Akhand Bharat, right? And they have these issues, and they will not free Punjab. They will not give Kashmiris their right, right? They will not allow Khalistanis to have their freedom.
Right.
So I think again, I'll wait for some future cues also. But I think China is sitting down on the table right now, right, with the Indians, and they are saying that I want 100 peace in the region because their CPAC $60 billion investment in Pakistan, it is being undermined by India. In Balochistan, BLA proxies, the terrorism, and in KPK, the TTP, the religious proxies, the terrorism, and everything, they are funded by India.
Yeah.
So if they undermine Chinese investment in Pakistan,
Yeah.
right, in the longer term, China will have issues in the region, and they will not be able to counter USA at a global level.
Correct.
So I think they are trying to get India in their camp, and they are trying to get this. Pakistan is at the center of all this, right?
Yeah.
For all the great powers, even
Yeah.
if USA wants some mediation with China, they have to go through Pakistan. If Russia and China wants peace in the region between India, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all these countries at the edge of the Indian Ocean,
Yeah.
this again goes through Pakistan. So I think Rahul Gandhi is right that you had one job, Jay Shankar and Modi, in your foreign policy to
Yeah.
divide Pakistan and China, but you
Yeah.
have fused them together, and now India has no choice.
Yeah.
India has no other choice. So that's why I'll wait for some more details in the future. But I think China is working on a unified South Asia with
Yeah.
peace in the region,
Correct.
stability in the region. So in the longer term, they can challenge hegemony of USA and the Western liberal democracy.
So that is my question. I know Shakir Bhai that khada hai, but like this is very interesting. And thank you for sharing because you are now a student of IR and I have no kind of knowledge on this and I'm really interested in what might happen. But that's what I'm thinking. If I am now America watching all this, okay, till now, Russians had a lot of say in this area. Americans had a lot of say. Middle East, America, the kutti baj jandi si through Russia also used to have. Then another player, Russia. How am I going to watch this? Will I let Asia fall under China's influence? Because je Asia janda ya, Africa bhi जाऊगा.
No, never. Again, quoting John Mearsheimer, the hegemonic powers, their first goal is to undermine and destroy all other powers. And he gives examples that the United States Monroe Doctrine, President Monroe in 1823, he said in Western Hemisphere there should be no more regional power, right? Since 1823, and in 20th century they have destroyed four powers: Imperial Germany in First World War, Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan in Second World War, and then Soviet Union in this Cold War.
Cold War.
Now they are going to undermine China. They have no other choice, right? And they have two options. First has failed. First was make India a counterbalance to China. That
Yeah.
has failed miserably.
Miserably, yeah.
The
ਇੰਡੋ
other is,
ਪੈਸਿਫਿਕ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟਜੀ
yeah,
ਮੈਂ ਹੱਸਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿ ਇੰਡੋ ਪੈਸਿਫਿਕ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸ਼ਕਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਰਾਜੀ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੰਡੀਅਨਸ ਹੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲਿਸਟ ਨੇ ਦੇ ਹੇਟ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਮੋਰ ਦੈਨ ਅ ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ anyways sorry Ali Bhaji.
Yeah. No, so the other option is what they are trying to do is Field Marshal Asim Munir is on the he visited USA second time, right, in the last month. Air Chief Marshal Babar Sidhu went, right? So the Americans are trying to win Pakistan over again. And now they want that, okay, Pakistan knows very well they are offering us the F-16 upgrades and many other things and etc. So Americans will try to undermine this China's rise.
Right.
Now they are failing in South Asia. They have they put their bets on India. It failed. Now they are trying to win Pakistan over. Again, Pakistan will never go against China. The only option that remains with USA is the Pacific Ocean strategy. They have very strong bases in the Pacific Ocean and the East Asia, like I told you, Japan, South Korea, Philippines, and South China Sea, and etc. So if they cannot win over South Asia, that will be a big blunder to US policy and a big win for China, right?
Right.
And
Right.
then the only thing they have two options. Number one, I've already covered from Pacific Ocean and East Asia. And the other very interesting thing you will see,
Mm.
the bullying of Zelensky done by Trump in White House, right?
Mm.
And the cracks between NATO and USA,
Correct.
right? So I am predicting, I may be wrong, the USA will coerce NATO, the Keir Starmer and the Macrons of the Europe and Germany, that make peace with Russia and then try to break Russia away from China and make a two-front war instead of South Asia, come from East Pacific Ocean, Japan, South Korea, and come from West, right? NATO, Ukraine, and Russia in one camp of USA and Canada and all that. So South Asia is not a good playground for USA now. China is winning here in India, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in Afghanistan. But I think they are working on Russia and they are working on East Asia to counter Chinese threat from these two fronts.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. ਹਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਹੋਣਗੇ
No, it's a strategy. They will fail, but they are trying very hard to like surround China from all these places. They tried from east, from west, and south. They have failed in south. They have succeeded in east, and they are trying in west. So let's see.
Yeah, we are getting so deep into the conversation. We had so many hands raised. Sorry, Shakir Paji, for keeping you waiting. Shakir Paji, go ahead and then we'll go to Dr. Saab. Shakir Paji.
जी बहुत शुक्रिया हरजीत भाजी और तमाम खालिस्तान के और पाकिस्तान के जवानों को अस्सलाम वालेकुम। बहुत शुक्रिया आपके इस प्रोग्राम का भी और हमें इनवाइट करने का भी। अच्छा, आपके टॉपिक पे आप दोनों से, अली हमजा भाई को भी और हरजीत भाई जी आपको भी, अभी जो पाकिस्तान की तरफ से जो हमारे वज़ीर दिफा का जो आया है रिएक्शन, और उन्होंने जो क्वेश्चन रेज किया है कि आप फिर इंस्पेक्शन कर लेते हैं, हमारे भी जो अवेलेबल तैयारे हैं उनकी और आपकी भी काउंटिंग कर लेते हैं। इसको अगर आप ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं तो मैं माजरत खां हूं, लेकिन मैं लेट आया हूँ, तो इसको आप कैसे देख रहे हैं? और दूसरा, काइंडली आप दोनों ने वो गार्डियन में और न्यूयॉर्क टाइम में जो इसके एयरफोर्स के चीफ को लेके, उसके बयान को लेके जो शाया हुआ, मजमून शाया हुआ है, उसके बारे में क्या आपका ख्याल है? दोनों ने मेरा कुल मिला के यही कहा है कि इतने महीनों के बाद कैसे तुम्हें याद आ गया और वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू बिलीव यू। काइंडली इसके बारे में बताइए, फिर फर्दर क्वेश्चन करूंगा इंशाल्लाह आपसे। जज़ाकल्लाह।
हाँ जी शाकिर साहब, ਅਸੀਂ इसी ਨੂੰ डिस्कस कर चुके हैं काफ़ी बार। मतलब we actually went through the entire briefing given by the Air Marshal, briefing if you can call it so. Totally non-credible. The timing, even the way it is delivered, lack of details. We've discussed it. We'll touch upon those topics again. It's a joke. Nothing less than a joke. I think not even a 10-year-old child should, who is of sound mind with basic intelligence, should believe anything, any claim made there. So I think we were discussing what is the political element here. We were kind of transitioning there. Nobody believes what came out. I don't think there's a need to prove for Pakistan to prove anything because there's hardly any detail. It's not a credit-worthy claim. But the question is why this, right? So the question we were discussing now were, what is actually India? Why is the Air Marshal making these statements? And are they signaling something towards America and China? And that is where we were kind of going to. But we'll come to the detail again. But coming back, Ali Paji, to the signaling of this thing, and I'm kind of, we've kind of, it's very interesting. The Russia angle and this, and the Russians are watching this. Now, I know I kind of propagate the idea India will go to China, but I don't see that ever happening. I don't see ever peace between India and Pakistan as long as India's current political structure is intact. Okay, so there has to be peace in subcontinent, but the path to peace. And I don't know if Chinese understand this Indian state that much. The path to peace, if you guys are advising them to Chinese, I think you should advise them. It goes through Khalistan
Yep.
and freedom of Kashmir and Khalistan and weakening of the Delhi state. Then you can have a peaceful, progressive South Asia. Otherwise, I don't see any which way. Even if India today conducts a full ethnic cleansing of all the Sikhs in Punjab, they are incapable of living like good neighbors with you. I don't know what's your take on that.
No, I absolutely agree. India, again, if Indians are listening and they will be offended, but anyhow, I'm just going to say it. India, as this monolith, it will not survive. You mark my words, right? And not only Khalistan and Kashmir. You will see unification of Bengal, right? Bangladesh and Bengal. There was like in 1947, Jinnah and Hussain Shaheed Sorwardi, and so there should have been actually three states, but there
Yeah.
was issues between Nehru and Mountbatten, and they were like colluding and anything. Punjab should not have been divided. Hussain Shaheed Sorwardi said that give us Great Bengal, unified Bengal in the east, these seven sisters, and West Bengal and whole Bangladesh and etc. Then India in the center, and then Kashmir and this Punjab, and there should have been like a whole Khalistan province or the unified Punjab, etc. It was all like I'll not go in the details of 1947, what Nehru and Mountbatten did, and the British they left those mines here, right?
Mm.
So that we are continuously fighting today, even. So what I foresee is right
Yeah.
now China, as I said, they are very patient, right? They are doing trade with India, they are doing trade with USA. In few years, there will come a time when China will become such a great military and economic power that it does not need trade from India. But
Mm.
India will economically die if China stops their trade with them, right? So just again, let's again go to imagine you are Xi Jinping, Paji, or any Chinese strategist from. So you are sitting in Beijing, and I have already covered that how important it is for China's rise that there should be peace in South Asia. And
Yeah.
the only way forward is like you tell India one day, 5-10 years down the line, that okay, you give rights to people in East, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bangladesh and anything, you give right of freedom to people in Indian occupied Kashmir, and you
Yeah.
make Khalistan a buffer state on the border of India and Pakistan, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we can have a whole progress in this region of all this South Asia and Indian Ocean region and etc.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to stop my trade with you and you will die in a matter of months. And by
Yeah.
that time, because they have broken away from the West also,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They are with China, so they have no other option. So
Yeah.
it's not like they are blackmailing them. It's as simple as that. That okay, I want peace in the region, and the
Yeah.
peace will only be guaranteed when you give rights to all the people you are oppressing inside this huge monolith fascist state, right?
Yeah.
So give Khalistanis their freedom, you give Kashmiris their freedom, you give Eastern people their freedom, and then there is like this cow belt and South India. Even if the Southern people they want away, like
Yeah.
they can have their own. But anyways,
And as long as as long as the moment Delhi is weakened, na, Ali Paji, we saw that in 90s. Delhi is weak, there is peace in the region, there is trade in the region, and there is prosperity. Okay, so but I slightly differ from you here. I think what they should do here is not wait to get, if they think that they can economically coerce India. The Indian casteist elite, Ali Paji, doesn't give a damn about the Indians. Okay, the Indian casteist elite would rather have 90% of Indians live as subhumans because then they become easier to control. Watch what happened from 1947 to 1991. They don't worry about economic isolation. When they were in the USSR camp, there were sanctions against India. In every UN General Assembly meeting, there were the India was the worst human rights record offender. US used to pass all these resolutions. Russia used to veto. Indians never gave a shit. They used to grow at this Hindu rate of growth, 3%, because their caste is lead. They are still reaping all the benefit. Okay, so the only thing that can teach them a lesson is, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਇੱਕ 에ਅਰ ਮਾਰਸ਼ਲ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਨਾ, ਢਿੱਲੋਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ they understand the language of ਡੰਡਾ.
Yeah.
Okay, the day the Pakistan army will enter East Punjab and the Sikhs will welcome, ਜੋ ਉੱਥੇ ਛਬੀਲਾਂ ਲੱਗਣਗੀਆਂ ਨਾ, ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਲਾਈਕ ਪੈਕ ਆਫ ਕਾਰਡਸ ਦੇ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਹੁੰਦਾ. ਇਕਨੋਮਿਕ ਕੋਰਸ਼ਨ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਨੀ. Anyways, that's for some other matter.
Yeah.
ਤੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਰਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਐਨੀਵੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੱਦ ਸ਼ਾਕਿਰ ਭਾਜੀ ਪਲੀਜ਼.
अच्छा, कंटिन्यूटी वास्ते मैं एक और क्वेश्चन करना चाह रहा। डॉक्टर अमर साहब से गुजारिश है कि मुझे इजाजत दे दें, अदीम साहब से भी। उसके बाद अजीत भाई, आपके प्रोग्राम में हमने पहले भी तो डिस्कस किया था कि इस जंग में जो इंडिया पाकिस्तान की हुई, हमने जमीन के अंदर भी, जमीनी फौज ने भी, हमारी आर्मी ने पेनिट्रेट किया और काफी हद तक कुछ इलाके हमने कब्जे में ले लिए। उसकी बाकायदा तौर पे अनाउंसमेंट नहीं हुई थी, लेकिन उम्मीद है कि अगर देयर विल बी नो चेंज इन द प्लान, अभी ये 14 अगस्त को, 14 अगस्त को पाकिस्तान की तरफ से ऑफिशियली उसकी शायद कुछ अनाउंसमेंट होने जा रही है, होगी किस हद तक हमने पेनिट्रेट किए, कौन कौन से इलाकों में हम गए और कौन कौन से उनके जो थे आर्मी के जो पॉइंट्स थे वो हमने टेक ओवर कर लिए, और कितने किलोमीटर इस वक्त हमारी ऑक्यूपेशन में है। इसके बारे में कुछ अपने ख्याल का इज़हार कीजिएगा। मेरा ख्याल है कि अभी ऑफिशियली इसके बारे में अनाउंसमेंट होने जा रही है, अगर कुछ तब्दीली ना आए प्लान में। और दूसरा, काइंडली थोड़ा सा आप जरा ये बताइए कि इसमें जो 12 और 13 अगस्त की जो एयर स्पेस सिक्योरिटी की जो अनाउंसमेंट की है इंडिया ने, उसको आप किस नज़र से देख रहे हैं? ऐसी सिक्योरिटी की जो अनाउंसमेंट है तभी की जाती है जब वो कुछ ऐसा जंगी माहौल पैदा करने जा रहे होते हैं। तो हमारे यहाँ से इधर से कुछ तजिया नकार ये कह रहे हैं कि 12-13 को इंडिया जो है फिर दोबारा हरकत करने की कोशिश करेगा, क्योंकि मोदी की बहुत ज्यादा सुबकी इस वक्त हो रही है। इन दो चीजों के बारे में काइंडली आप जरा कुछ थोड़े से अपने ख्यालात का इज़हार कीजिए सुनने वालों के लिए। उसके बाद मैं इंशाल्लाह दोबारा एक और अहम क्वेश्चन आपसे करूंगा डॉक्टर अमर और नदीम साहब के बाद।
हाँ जी शाकिर साहब, पहले तो डॉक्टर साहब का भी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, बड़े पेशेंटली वेट कर रहे हैं। आई नो हिज हैंड एक्चुअली वाज रेज्ड फॉर क्वाइट सम टाइम। डॉक्टर साहब, आई एप्रीशिएट यू बीइंग पेशेंट। बट शाकिर साहब, ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੈ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਹਿੰਟ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਸੀ, ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੀ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਅਨਾਉਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਾਹ ਰੋਕੀ ਬੈਠਾ ਦਾਦਾ। 14 ਅਗਸਤ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਕੈਲੰਡਰ 2-3 ਵਾਰ ਦੇਖਿਆ, ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਾਹਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ 14 ਅਗਸਤ। ਹੋਪਫੁਲੀ no change in plans as you mentioned. Obviously I don't know what happened, but you guys have given some hints. मैं सोशल मीडिया ਤੇ ਐਕਟੀਵਿਟੀ ਵੀ ਦੇਖੀ ਥੋੜੀ, ਕਾਫੀ ਸਮ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਹੈਂਡਲਸ ਆਰ ਆਲਸੋ ਕਲੇਮਿੰਗ। ਇੱਕ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਰਨਲਿਸਟ ਦਾ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਜਾ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਸਟੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਔਨ ਸਮ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਰਾਜਸਥਾਨ ਚ ਕਿਤੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਾਰਕਰ ਜਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਬਾਉਂਡਰੀ ਦਾ, ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਹੀ ਸਟੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਦੇਅਰ। So I think the ball is in your court. Ali Padi, you want to comment? Are you privy to what could be announced, or are you in a position to comment?
So exactly in a previous space, Baji, it was asked also, and I said that I am also waiting because it was hinted that on 14th August some details will be shared. So I am actually waiting very. I am curious about the details, anxiously waiting at 14th August because I personally know that a lot of posts were destroyed right across the border on LOC, and Indians were thrashed. But have we gone actually inside and have we captured some area? I'm not privy to those details, and I have asked this question myself many times, and I have been answered that okay, wait for this sometime 14th August and you will come to know. So I am waiting. Let's see. But the thrashing they got on LOC, that was huge. I have absolutely no doubt about it. And the destruction, and they showed the white flags for truce and etc. Secondly, he asked about this 12th, 13th August. इंशाल्लाह शाकिर साहब कुछ भी नहीं होगा, आप देख लेंगे। हमारा असल में बहुत ज़्यादा फ्लाइंग एक्टिविटी चल रही है फ्लाई पास्ट की तैयारी के लिए। तो ये होता ये है कि आप जो है ना थोड़ा सा इस तरह यू थिंक दैट मे बी इन द लाइक वेल ऑफ फ्लाई पास्ट we may come and do something, so you just say that okay, we are also ready. So we are doing it for our fly past training, right? On 14th August, huge like flying activity going on in Pindi, Islamabad, and the people here they know close to Kashmir also, because the aircraft go and they turn back, so Azad Kashmir तक भी वो जाते हैं। उसमें कुछ लोगों ने कहा कि शायद ये उसमें हो रहा है, बट नथिंग लाइक इट इंशाल्लाह। टिल द टाइम इंडियंस गेट सम न्यू कैपेबिलिटी लाइक दे गॉट राफेल आफ्टर 2019, अगर वो आएंगे तो मुझे बताएं कि अभी छोड़ दें एपी सिंह ने क्या कहा है। आई नो द वर्ल्ड नोज कि आई हैव अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आउट मैनूवर्ड, आउट गन, आउट रेंज ऑल देयर वेपन्स, राइट? So what are they going to do? Are they like stupid enough to again bring their Su-30s and Rafales and like S400 if they shine again? अगर उसको ऑन करेंगे, जो 2 बैटरियां बच गई थी, ठीक है, मैं उनको भी तबाह कर दूंगा।
No, don't underestimate the stupidness, okay? Don't underestimate. So because क्योंकि जे ਉਹ ਫੌਜ ਦਾ ਡਿਸੀਜਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ। It's not going to be Air Marshal AP Singh or just some general's decision. It is going to be, you know, the Babus. If you saw Air Marshal's speech, if you notice, there were 3 Babus sitting on those chairs. They had written the script. They were there personally to make sure that the Air Marshal doesn't dare to go one word here and there. Okay, so there were 3 high-ranking Indian Foreign Service officials sitting right there, and they were like the tutors for Air Marshal Amarpreet. So it was very obvious. I know they got a thrashing, and rationality says that, logic says that they won't do something stupid, but like rationality also demanded that they shouldn't have done Pahalgam. And after Balakot, like we analyzed, they shouldn't have been flying 72 aircraft, half of them high, trying to, you know, lob bombs and thinking that they can get away. And so I don't know, like whether it's a rational power you are dealing with in the current scheme of things. So I would say that mere hisab naal ta both the sides have learned a lot about each other. And now military level, they will start trying to fill the gaps whichever they have seen the strength and the gap. Like mini race ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗ ਗਈ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਦੋਨੋਂ 에ਅਰ ਫੋਰਸ ਵਿੱਚ। ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਮਿਨੀ ਰੇਸ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਉੱਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਐਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ, ਦੇ ਹੈਵ देयर ओन ਕੰਪਲਸ਼ਨਸ। ਆ ਸਤੰਬਰ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਮੋਦੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਰਨਾ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉਧਰ ਰਾਹੁਲ ਗਾਂਧੀ ਵੀ ਰੌਲਾ ਪਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਇੱਧਰ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਵੀ ਰੌਲਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਚੱਕੀ ਘੁੰਮ ਰਿਹਾ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੋਦੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਗੇ? ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ 에ਅਰ ਮਾਰਸ਼ਲ ਅਮਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਐਡਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਝੂਠ ਬੁਲਵਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹ 에ਅਰ ਮਾਰਸ਼ਲ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਕਿ 4 ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਭੇਜ ਦੇ। God knows. So I will not be surprised, you know, if anyways. Dr. Amarji, you've been waiting so patiently. Please go ahead.
Hamza bhai, I cannot see you on the space. I think some glitch is here. And good to see you back. ਤੇ ਬੜਾ ਮਾਜ਼ਰਤ ਅਗਰ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਆਏ, ਤੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸੰਡੇ, ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਮਲਕਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਖਿਦਮਤ ਪਈ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਸ਼ਰਾਬਾ ਮਚੂਰ। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਜੀਤ ਭਾਜੀ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫੈਕਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਤਰੋੜਿਆ ਮਰੋੜਿਆ, ਇਸ ਮਈ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਹੋਇਆ 에ਅਰ ਸਕ੍ਰਿਮਿਸ਼, ਉਸਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤਰੋੜਿਆ ਮਰੋੜਿਆ, ਉਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਲਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਾਸਟ 65, 47 ਤੇ 71 ਤੇ 99 ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੰਮ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਨਾ, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਅੰਦਾਜ਼ਾ ਲਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਾ ਫੈਕਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਤਰੋੜਿਆ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੁੱਟ ਖਾਧੀ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਗੱਲ ਐਡ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ 2 ਸੈਕਿੰਡ ਦੀ ਜਾਂ 2 ਮਿੰਟ ਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਰਟੀ ਚਲਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਨਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਬਰੀਫਿੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ PAF ਵਾਲੇ, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਸਿਆਣੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੀਲਡ, ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਫਿਰ ਪੂਰੀ ਆਰਟੀ ਵੀ ਪਈ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਖਾਲੀ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਵਿਲ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਗਰ ਉਹ ਖੋਲਣਾ ਚਾਹਣ ਰਡਾਰ ਤੇ ਇਲੈਕਟ੍ਰੋਨਿਕ ਸਿਗਨਲ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀਕਲ ਟਰਮਸ ਉਹ ਖੋਲ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ PAF। पर अगर साडी पॉलिटिकल विल हो जाए वो अगर बेटर सेंस विल प्रिवेल आई होप सो ते इन्हां दा ये जिहड़ा काम होया ना अज कल इच जिहड़ा इन्हां ने बयानबाजी की वो सारा कुछ अपने आप ही फेल हो जाऊगा शुक्रिया
नहीं वो बड़े समझदार ने ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਨਾ ਸੋਚੋ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੜਾ ਸੋਚ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਖੋਲ ਰਹੇ क्योंकि देखो पाकिस्तानी एयरफोर्स आर्मी फोर्सेस आर डिफेंडिंग एंड दे आर फाइटिंग अ वॉर दे आर नॉट ट्राइंग टू क्रिएट अ सोशल मीडिया हाइप टू विन इलेक्शंस ठीक है ਤੇ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਮੋਦੀ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੋ ਦੇ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਗਿਵ ਮੋਦੀ ਇਨਫ ਕਿ ਮੋਦੀ ਚੁੱਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹਿ ਜਾਵੇ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਇਨ देयर ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਤੇ ਇਨ ਦਾ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਇਹ ਕੈਲਕੂਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਮੋਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਐਮਬੈਰਸ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਮੋਦੀ ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਫੋਰਸਡ ਟੂ ਟਰਾਈ ਸਮ ਅਨਦਰ ਮਿਸਐਡਵੈਂਚਰ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਇੰਨੇ ਐਮਬੈਰਸ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਦੈਟ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਪੀਪਲ ਆਰ ਅਸ਼ੋਰਡ ਐਂਡ ਕਿ ਬਈ ਯੂ ਨੋ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਆਰ ਅੰਡਰ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਤੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿ ਇੰਨੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਿਉਂ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ 에ਅਰਫੋਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਓਕੇ ਵਾਟ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਕੈਪੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਦੈਟ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਹੈਜ਼ ਤਾਂ ਉਨਾ ਹੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਬੜਾ ਸਮਝਦਾਰ ਵਾਲੀ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਲੌਂਗ ਰਨ 'ਚ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਦਾਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਨਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਆਰਮਡ ਫੋਰਸਿਸ ਐਂਡ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਰੀਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕਿ ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਸੋਲਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਨਾ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਜੇ ਜਨਰਲ ਮਨੀਰ ਚਾਹੇ ਨਾ ਅਲੋਨ ਹੀ ਕੈਨੋਟ ਡੂ ਇਟ ਯੂ ਨੋ ਯੂ ਗਾਇਸ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਓ ਯੂ ਕਾਂਟ ਡੂ ਇਟ ਯੂ ਨੀਡ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਯੂ ਨੀਡ ਐਂਡ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਰੇ ਖੜੇ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਿੱਖ ਵੀ ਖੜੇ ਨੇ ਬੰਗਾਲੀ ਵੀ ਖੜੇ ਨੇ ਤਮਿਲੀਅਨਸ ਵੀ ਖੜੇ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਮੌਕੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਪਗਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਪਗਾਉਣਾ ਵੀਲ ਫਿਗਰ ਦੈਟ ਆਊਟ ਐਂਡ ਐਨੀਵੇਜ਼ ਆਪਣਾ ਨਦੀਮ ਭਾਜੀ ਦਾ ਹੱਥ ਖੜਾ ਹੈ ਸ਼ਕਰ ਭਾਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਿਓ ਨਦੀਮ ਜੀ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਗੋ ਅਹੈਡ
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम and sat sri akal. First of all, I would like to request. Actually, I tried to type. Actually, I prefer to write the question rather than asking. So, but I tried multiple times. I cannot able to write questions. I am not sure whether there is some issue why I was not able to write.
Okay.
So, yeah. The second thing, the kind of culture the Indians are encouraging. See, in any organizations or any setup, we set objectives, and then all of us, all of the organization, they take some steps to achieve that objectives. And then then comes the accountability. So if there are some issues, so we try to the mitigation actions comes into the picture. But kind of the culture they are developing, they are not being honest with their failures. So the first thing what we had seen in Balakot, they rewarded Abhinandan. Maybe some of them will be aware of the fact he was a loser, but all of everybody could not be. So the kind of culture they are promoting, it could be the very dangerous for them in terms of accountability. In any organization, if you don't apply the accountability, it's somehow it's a recipe of failure. So I would like to hear about this the kind of culture they are developing.
Yeah, Ali Paji, if you can comment on what does this mean for Indian Air Force? What Air Marshal did today?
Yeah, firstly, I like you said, Abhinandan is a loser. If by loser you mean he lost the battle, then I agree. But I actually respect him as a professional pilot. So basically, just saying that Indian Air Force always comes and they lose, right? But instead of learning from their mistakes, right, instead of accountability, like you said, they try to hide it and they put on this show like this AP Singh's yesterday's speech that we won. I can see many comments from the Indians right now, especially on this YouTube channel. I think, Paji, this is like there is Flanker and there is Aryan Raj, and they are so happy and they are dancing that we have destroyed AVAX and F-16 and HQ-9 and everything. So I am happy, frankly speaking, like as a Pakistani, like Amar Bhai also said, I have सारियां रसीदां पईयां ने पाजी, सारियां रसीदां, ठीक है, I have every receipt. But frankly speaking, two things. Number one, if I release them all, first thing, I will give them my capability and I will make Modi more embarrassed, right? And he's already irrational and stupid and he can do anything. Secondly, maybe there are some professional officers who say, yeah, okay, fine, we have lost this because now Pakistanis have shown us the proof, like the satellite imagery and everything. And so they go, they rethink, right? They reflect on their mistakes. Why would I want my enemy, frankly speaking? Why would I want them to reflect on that? So actually, it's a good thing for me. Like I said before, also that when AP Singh took over and I saw him standing up to the Babus and Hall and everything, like I respected him as a pilot, but as a Pakistani, I was worried. Oh my God, like they are becoming professional and now they are already larger than us in numbers. What if they become better than us in training and professionalism, right? So it will be very, very difficult for Pakistan Air Force because my edge is in this professionalism, training, leadership, doctrine, right? Indians have only edge on this. Like I have Rafale, I have S400, I have 258 Su-30s, I have 36 Rafale, whatever, right? So if they start working on these things, which are intangibles, because I'll not go in details, but in IR we say this tangibles versus intangibles. So economy, population, military power, that is tangible, morale, right? Doctrine, right? Training, professionalism, that is intangible. So I outdo them in the intangibles. And I am happy with it that they don't do their accountability and they stay in that delusional echo chamber. It works for me. Actually, I will be worried the day AP Singh comes and he says that I have lost this against Pakistan Air Force. Frankly speaking, I will be worried because now that means that my enemy, which is already superior in numbers, it is also learning from their mistakes. So the accountability, there is no accountability, and it works for me. Pakistan Air Force has the edge over Indian Air Force because of this thing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think what Air Marshal Amarpreet today has done is, while he's leaving, he has buried his organization forever. And there'll be like the amount of damage now this statement of his will do to the level of debrief that the Air Force will do and the learnings they will do will be zero. Now they'll have the reverse learnings. Now, so they'll come out in the next one. They are going to come out worse than what they came out this time. And to some of the Indian IT cell people, Ali Paji ne mind na karya karo because they are generally paid. IT cell people, like they have no other choice. I can tell you now, सारे VPN ला के menu सुनते हैं because they know ਉਹ ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲ ਕੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਝੂਠ ਹੈ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਵੀ ਆ, ਨਫ਼ਰਤ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਬਟ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇ। There is no truth in Indian media. From top to bottom, Barkha Dutt was trying to find wing commander Chahat Fateh Ali Khan in Indian prison.
Yeah.
And so that tells you, like what is the level of Indian media? Okay, that the higher the name and brand, the worse they are. Actually, at a lower level, na ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਤਵੀਜੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲ ਨੇ, ਜਨਰਲ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਵਰਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਨੇ, ਦੇ ਆਰ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਥੋੜਾ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਸੱਚ ਬੋਲ ਲੈਣਗੇ, ਬਟ ਦੇਅਰ ਰੀਅਲ ਸੋਫਿਸਟੀਕੇਟਡ ਵੈਪਨ ਅਲੀ ਇਜ਼ ਪੀਪਲ ਲਾਈਕ ਬਰਖਾ ਦੱਤ, ਰਵੀਸ਼ ਕੁਮਾਰ, Rahul Gandhi, and all these people. Okay, they are the real, like the snakes, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ, seven-headed snake ਦਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ main poison ਪਈ ਹੈ, because they'll give you an impression that they are benign and truthful and liberal and whatever, but they are the real Sanatani terror state, they ਕਹਿ ਲਓ brain. Anyways, Shakir Paji, please.
जी बहुत शुक्रिया हरजीत भाई जी। अच्छा, सबसे पहले तो ये जो बात अभी आपने की, ये जो सारे इंडियंस छुप के आपको सुनते हैं, अभी तो मुझे ये लग रहा है कि राहुल गांधी अपनी अगली किसी तकरीर में आपका हवाला दे के बातचीत करेगा। ये मुझे श्योर लग रहा है। पाकिस्तान के अंदर तो आप ऑलरेडी सेलिब्रिटी बन चुके हैं। थोड़े दिन पहले PTV ने भी आपके क्लिप्स जारी किए और दे आर अप्रिशिएटिंग वेरी मच। और ये आप देखिएगा कि राहुल गांधी को आपकी जो सजेशंस हैं, आपके जो बयानात हैं, आपकी जो तरह जो आपने ब्रेकअप की है, उनके बयानात को वो उसका हवाला देंगे, देखना आप, अदरवाइज किसी और तरीके से भी इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा। ये बड़ा अप्रिशिएबल है। मुझे उम्मीद है कि मैंने आपसे जब लास्ट टाइम आपकी महफिल में दरख्वास्त की थी, रिक्वेस्ट की थी कि आज इस वक्त खालिस्तान का जो आपने नक्शा जारी किया है, उस नक्शे के साथ खालिस्तान का एक मुझे उम्मीद है कि झंडा भी आपने डिजाइन कर लिया होगा। यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल के ऑफिस को आपको आपके बड़ों को, सिख खालिस्तान के बड़ों को वहाँ एक भिजवाना चाहिए इन राइटिंग, सारी डिटेल भी भिजवानी चाहिए, एक डिमांड भिजवानी चाहिए कि हम आज़ादी चाहते हैं इंडिया से, ताकि वहाँ आज इस वक्त पाकिस्तान क्योंकि सदारत कर रहा है, तो मुझे बड़ी उम्मीद है कि नो डाउट वहाँ सारा कुछ सोच समझ के किया जाता है, वोटिंग वहाँ हो सकती है खालिस्तान के लिए, रेजोल्यूशन एक वोटिंग जो है खालिस्तान के लिए फिर यूनाइटेड नेशन के अंदर एक हिस्ट्री बन जाएगी, और ये हिस्ट्री जो है खालिस्तान के लिए बहुत फायदेमंद है। टाइम इज लिमिटेड। मेरे ख्याल में आपको अपने खालिस्तान के बड़ों के साथ एज क्विकली एज पॉसिबल बात कर लेनी चाहिए कि आप इसको ना जल्दी कर लें। और इसके साथ साथ मैं ये बेनिफिट देना चाहता हूँ इंडिया की बाकी आज़ादी की तहरीकों को भी, कि सरदार पाजी हमारे भाई जी जो बड़े हैं खालिस्तान के, वो बाकी तहरीकों को भी ये पैगाम दें, उनको समझाएं कि आज इस वक्त यूनाइटेड नेशन की सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल में अपनी अपनी तहरीक के बारे में इन राइटिंग कुछ लिख के बाद जरूर भिजवाएं एविडेंस के साथ, जो कि बड़े सॉलिड एविडेंस आपके पास भी हैं, उनके पास भी हैं। अच्छा, इसके साथ मैं आपसे ये भी पूछना चाहता हूँ कि कनाडा में एक ऑफिस आपको खोलने की इजाजत मिल गई, खालिस्तान के एक ऑफिशियल एक ऑफिस को, उसको हम सफारत खाना कह सकते हैं, सफारत खाने कहने की इजाजत उसको मिल चुकी है, और उसके लिए भी बड़े ही खूबसूरत किस्म के जज्बात खालिस्तान के लिए देखे सुने जा रहे हैं, और उम्मीद की जा रही है कि ऐसा ही एक सफारत खाना खालिस्तान का अनकरीब अमेरिका में खुलने जा रहा है। और जब मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ कि खालिस्तान के बड़े जो हैं वो यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल को अपना एक लिख के भिजवाएं, वही सारा लिखा हुआ वो ट्रम्प को भी लिख के भिजवाएं। ट्रम्प का इस वक्त जो ना वो एंड पका हुआ है, वो जरूर खालिस्तान का नाम लेके, खालिस्तान का नाम लेके वो आपकी हिस्ट्री बना देगा। और आखिरी बात मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि अजय दोवल की इसकी मोदी की जो बेशुमार ह्यूज इन्वेस्टमेंट थी अफगानिस्तान में, ईरान में, बांग्लादेश में, वो सारी की सारी जाया चली गई है, जाया जाती उसको दिखाई दे रही है, इस वक्त उनके हाथों से निकल गई है। और अभी आर्मेनिया का और अजरबैजान का व्हाइट हाउस में जो शेक हैंड हुआ है, उसके बाद उनकी जो इन्वेस्टमेंट थी आर्मेनिया के अंदर, वो भी उनको जाया होती दिखाई दे रही है। तो इस सिनेरियो के अंदर आपको अपनी खालिस्तान की मूवमेंट में कुछ थोड़ी सी तेजी लानी चाहिए। वो मुझे उम्मीद है कि आपके बड़े जरूर इसके बारे में सोच रहे होंगे। बहुत शुक्रिया।
नहीं शाकिर भाजी, बिल्कुल थोड़ी गल सही है, ते मेरे को हैगे ने कुछ आइडिया जिहदे मैं गलबात की भी है, जिन्होंने मैं जानता कि यू नो हाउ वी कैन एक्चुअली गेट अ नॉन वोटिंग सीट इन UN फॉर खालिस्तान। देयर इज अ पाथ, ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਪੈਣੀ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਪਾਥ ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਚਾਕ ਆਊਟ ਕਰਨਾ। ਆਪਾਂ ਬਿਜ਼ੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੰਮਾਂ 'ਚ, ਸਾਰੇ ਨੌਕਰੀਸ਼ੁਦਾ ਬੰਦੇ ਆ, ਮਾੜਾ ਮੋਟਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਧੰਦਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਢਿੱਲਾ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ, ਬਟ ਹੁਣ ਢਿੱਲਾ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਹੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਆਈ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਪੁੱਲ ਅਪ ਮਾਈ ਲੇਸਸ ਐਂਡ ਬੂਟਸ ਐਂਡ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਟ੍ਰਿਗਰ ਦੈਟ ਇਨ। ਤੇ ਜਿੱਦਣ ਸਾਡੀ ਨੌਨ ਵੋਟਿੰਗ ਸੀਟ ਬਣ ਗਈ ਨਾ, ਤੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸਾਰੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੀ ਸੋਲਵ ਹੋ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸੱਚੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਦੱਸਦਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਬ ਕੰਟੀਨੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ, ਪਰਸਨਲੀ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ, ਬਾਕੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਬ ਕੰਟੀਨੈਂਟ 'ਚ ਵਸਦੇ ਨੇ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਪਠਾਨ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਮਿਆਂਮਾਰ ਤੱਕ, ਸਾਡਾ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਟਾਈਡ ਹੈ। ਵੀ ਆਰ ਆਲ ਟਾਈਡ ਐਟ ਹਿਪਸ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਹਿਪ ਟਾਈਡ ਤੱਕ ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ, ਟਾਈਡ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉਹਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫਸੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁੰਡੀ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਦੀ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਕੁੰਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਖੋਲ ਲਿਆ ਨਾ, this area will be like nothing, and it's everybody in interest. As Ali and I were talking, it's in the interest of China, it is in the interest of US, it is ਸਾਡੇ ਦਾ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ 'ਚ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ 'ਚ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਇਹ। ਤੇ ਜੇ ਇਹ ਬਸ ਇਹ ਕਾਊ ਬੈਲਟ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਮਝ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ, ਪਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇੰਡੀਅਨਸ ਵੀ ਸਮਝਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਕੁਝ, ਉਹ ਉੱਪਰੋਂ ਐਡਮਿਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ। Anyways, we have couple of hands raised, but and it is Nadeem Paji again. Nadeem Paji, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
एक्चुअली अभी भी मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ कि वो ऑप्शन मिल जाए, बट अभी भी वो ऑप्शन आई नहीं है. Trying to put I just feel more comfortable writing the questions actually, to be honest. So question
इस बारे में अपना नदीम भाई इस बारे में यहाँ ना मेरा ख्याल लॉक है कमेंट सेक्शन का. आप अगर हरजीत भाई जी के वॉल पे जाएंगे ना तो वहाँ इस पेज का पोस्ट लगा हुआ है. उस पोस्ट के कमेंट पे जाके कमेंट करेंगे तो फिर कमेंट सेक्शन खुल जाएगा. वहाँ मैंने अभी किया है.
ओके, चलो मैं ट्राई करता हूँ. अच्छा, क्वेश्चन ये था मेरा अभी अली भाई से. उन्होंने ड्यूरिंग डिस्कशन ही मेंशन के इंडियन जो एयर चीफ है, ही यू नो समहाउ ही इज पिक्चरिंग हिमसेल्फ ए रॉकेट फोर्स ना. वो एक स्टेटमेंट उन्होंने दिया था रॉकेट फोर्स में. सो एक्चुअली वो मे बी वो सार्केस्टिकली ही मेंशन द कमेंट, बट जो रियलिटी है वो मैं जो इंडिया की जो उनका जो ओवरऑल स्ट्रक्चर अभी आप देखेंगे वो मिसाइल टेक्नोलॉजी की तरफ ज्यादा जा रहे हैं. दे want to become a more rocket force actually. Same approach somehow which Iran have adopted. और ये रशियन जो भी इन्फ्लुएंस रहता है जो all the countries, no, in my observations, वो one way another way वो they are just going to the missile technology or they want to become a rocket force. और जो एयर डोमिनेंस है, जो कंसेप्ट somehow it is missing from these countries, namely India, Iran, even Russia also, if you see that in larger picture. So what's your take on this?
Yeah, before Ali Paji answers, we'll start also now wrapping up. I know Ali Paji, you have been there for so long, this 3 hours, and I know you have family and they might be asking you, so feel free to drop off anytime. We'll try to put it to closure. We'll start taking last questions from speakers.
Maybe, Paji, absolutely no problem. I was yesterday I was like sick. I was upset stomach, and so basically like family was asking about that you want some medicine, etc., and things like that. But I'm fine, absolutely. It's a very interesting topic. So just coming back to Nadeem Bhai's question. Okay, basically Nadeem Bhai, it goes against air power ना, जो air power है उसका जो पहला होता है ना, द फर्स्ट एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टेनेट, ठीक है, दैट इज टू गेन एयर सुपीरियोरिटी, इफ नॉट एयर सुप्रेमेसी, एटलीस्ट एयर सुपीरियोरिटी, राइट. उसके अंदर जो है ना एयर डोमिनेंस एंड एयर सुपीरियोरिटी, ठीक है, दैट इज द फर्स्ट गोल ऑफ एनी एयरफोर्स. आई कैन गिव यू एग्जाम्पल. इट विल मतलब इट्स अ ह्यूज डिबेट. गल्फ वॉर के अंदर जो है ना 1991 में यूएस एयर फोर्स दे अटैक्ड व्हेन इराक एंड द फर्स्ट थिंग दे डिस्ट्रॉयड इराकी एयर फोर्स एंड एवरीथिंग. सो दिस डॉक्ट्रिन that you are going to have ballistic missiles or surface to air missiles like Egypt and Syria had in 1973. They had many SAM batteries, right, because they knew that their pilots and their aircraft are not at par with the Israeli Air Force. In 1967, Israelis thrashed them. So they went for those SAM batteries, and the first few days, like first and second day, it was successful, right. But once those SAM batteries, that SAM umbrella was gone, right, again Israelis just thrashed them. Similarly, Iranian Air Force very very weak in aircraft domain. They had those ballistic missiles, but the ballistic missiles cannot be used to shoot down aircraft. It is a deterrence that I will shoot on Ben Gurion Airport and I will do this and I will do that. लेकिन आपकी एयर स्पेस में आके, ठीक है, अमेरिकन तो चले सुपर पावर है ना, B2 आए थे, इजराइलीज दे केम एंड दे बॉम्ब यू एंड दे किल्ड सो मेनी ऑफ योर टॉप जनरल्स एंड everything. So basically, this is a big failure for Indian Air Force, for Air Chief Marshal AP Singh and everybody, because the rocket force is like another, it complements your Air Force. Like in Russia, in China, Pakistan is also, Pakistan Army is I think going towards this offensive rocket force and everything. Air Force का जो काम होता है ना, that is related with this aircraft, AWACS, electronic warfare, space, because now it is aerospace, not only Air Force. हमारा नाम अभी तक Air Force है. French is like the French Air and Space Force, Israel is Air and Space Force, Russian Air and Space Forces. अच्छा, चाइना और अमेरिका ने तो अपनी अलग बना ली है. They have their separate Space Force, like in USA for 10 to 15 years and in China for 2 to 3 years. So, concluding, this is, I'll say that this is a huge win for Pakistan Air Force कि आपने दुनिया की चौथी पांचवी बड़ी एयर फोर्स, ठीक है, you have reduced them. I mean, just tell me, you have spent billions of dollars on your aircraft, you have spent billions of dollars on your weapons of air defense and everything, and now you are saying कि मैं ब्राह्मोस मार दूंगा, मैं अग्नि 5 मार दूंगा, ठीक है. Su-30 Rafale, Tejas, ठीक है, what are you going to do मतलब with these aircraft? And if you are accepting, right,
Yeah.
कि हाँ भाई मेरे जहाज और मेरे पायलट्स जो हैं they are not at par with Pakistan Air Force, right? So I'll say that people are saying this is a threat. Next time they will send volleys of Brahmos and volleys of Scalp and etc. बट आप ये तो देखें कि वो उनकी औकात क्या रह गई है, मतलब जिसमें इंडियन एयरफोर्स के आपने जो एयरक्राफ्ट हैं आपने एक तरह से उनको नल एंड वॉइड कर दिया उस पूरे थ्रेट को.
Yeah.
तो ये बेसिकली एयर डोमिनेंस के ऊपर हम मतलब मैं इसको भी शॉर्ट रखता हूँ कि ये जो एयर पावर के जो बेसिक जो है ना जो मैंने आपको बताया है कि देर आर मैनी टेनेट्स एंड मैनी प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ एयर पावर, उसके बेसिक डॉक्ट्रिन के खिलाफ होता है. व्हेन यू शिफ्ट योर फोकस ऑन मिसाइल्स वेदर दे आर बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल्स और वेदर दे आर सैम्स इंस्टेड ऑफ aircraft and that network centric warfare and multi domain operations, okay, that is a failure for any professional air force.
Yeah, but you don't you underestimate you are always looking at India from your angle. Othe Babu Force is going to talk to the Air Chief Marshal and say, "Lo, Misailna were kamyab. Why do you need this aircraft?" The exact question they'll ask him. When the Air Chief Marshal will go, I need more AVACs. And I need, a data link, and we need to pay the French to give us the data link and the source code, because I think now they're saying that they don't have the source code because the French are asking them to pay for it, to put them on the data link. Okay, so when he's going to ask, the Babus and Dovals of the world, and Jaishankar will say, look, this Misailna marke, we have BrahMos, let's just manufacture 1,000 more BrahMos. Why should I spend these $15 billion on this? This is the exact thing they will do, and the air marshal will have no answer. Okay, and he'll say, yes sir. Oh yes sir, kehinde sari, he's going to become a governor of some state, and his name will be known forever. Bhagu ji aaye ne te fir Discipline ji kol jata. I don't know whose hand was raised first, but yeah, let's go with Bhagu ji and then Discipline.
हाँ जी रਣजीत भाजी ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਹੈ? ਠੀਕ ਮੈਂ ਸੌਰੀ ਲੇਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ. ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਵੇਰ ਦਾ ਨਾ ਸੋਚ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਮਹੀਨਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਚੀਫ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸੁੱਤੇ ਪਏ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ 6 ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਸੁੱਟੇ. ਯਾਰ ਕਰਨ ਕੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਭਾਜੀ, ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੈਰਾਨ ਆ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਪਤੰਦਰੋ. ਤੁਸੀਂ 1 ਮਹੀਨਾ ਡੇਢ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹਨਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਗੋਲਡ ਪੋਸਟ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਦੇ, ਕਦੀ ਕੁਛ ਕਰਤਾ, ਕਦੀ ਦੇ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਪਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿਤਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਹਾਜ਼ਾਂ ਵੱਲ ਧਿਆਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਣਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਰੌਕਟ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ. ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਸਿੱਧੀ ਜੀ ਜਟਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਵੀ ਜਿੱਦਣ ਅਗਲੇ ਹਮਲਾ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਬਾਹ ਫੜੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਲਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਉਦਣ ਹਨਾ. ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਇਹੋ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਬਸ.
ਵੈਰੀ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਭਾਗੂ ਜੀ, ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ. ਤੇ ਐਨੀਵੇਜ਼ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਜੀ ਕਰੋ ਗੱਲ. Yeah, Discipline, you have your hand raised. Please go ahead and ask your question.
जी थैंक यू वेरी मच सर. आज की जो डेवलपमेंट्स हैं वो दो बड़ी मेन है. फर्स्ट ये कि इंडिया इज गोइंग टू बाय द पाकिस्तानी ऑयल. इंडिया शुड बी द फर्स्ट कंट्री टू बाय द पाकिस्तानी ऑयल, and this was prediction was made by Donald Trump. And now it's going to be happened that India is going to buy the Pakistani oil from Pakistan. And other one is that the Putin has denied to meet the Indian delegation. I have 2 of these updates, and I want to have the discussion about these matters. Thank you very much.
Okay. No. So what do you say? Trump had said that India is going to buy Pakistani oil. He had made another statement today. Something on that. That is news to me. Like, if it's a new statement, plus you're saying Putin has declined to meet the Indian delegation. Can you share more details on that? I'm not aware of what happened.
Yeah, it's a latest update that Putin has denied to meet the Indian delegation. Clearly denied to meet Indian delegation.
Okay. That's very interesting if that has happened. And I don't know who is in the delegation. I am assuming these are Tikri Hundiya, Modi, Jaishankar, or Doval. He ne main the bande, and they are running the show. So, yeah, I'll not be surprised. Putin is not going to be very happy with India, with the way the Indians have been double crossing. So double triple crossing ਤੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਹੈਪੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ.
Policies of Narendra Modi, India is going to be isolated in the world.
Going to be ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਸੋਚ ਰਿਹਾ isolation. Going to be in the future tense. And if this is not isolation, what is it, you know? The fact that not a single country, okay? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ 10 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਾਓ ਕਿ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੀ ਇਮੇਜ ਕੀ ਸੀ. 10 ਸਾਲ ਕੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ 5 ਸਾਲ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਓ ਤੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਇੰਡੀਆ 'ਚ ਟੈਰਰਿਜ਼ਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ, ਜਦ ਕਿ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਟੈਰਰਿਜ਼ਮ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਵਿੱਚ. ਬਟ ਐਨੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਸਮਥਿੰਗ ਵਿਲ ਹੈਪਨ, ਐਵਰੀਬਡੀ ਵਿਲ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਇੰਡੀਆ, ਨੋਬਡੀ ਯੂਜ਼ ਟੂ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ. ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਜੇ ਵਿਕਟਮ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਲੇਬਲ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਤਵਾਦੀ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋ ਖਰਾਬ ਪਾਰਟੀ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਇੰਨੀ ਦੇਰ ਦਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਇੱਧਰ ਆਪਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਥਰੂ ਅਫਗਾਨਿਸਤਾਨ ਐਂਡ ਆਲ ਦੀਜ਼ ਏਰੀਆਜ਼. ਕਿੰਨੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਹੀ ਮਾਰੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੇ, ਅਸੈਸੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਸਕੁਆਡ ਭੇਜ ਕੇ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਪੈਸੇ ਦੇ ਕੇ. ਉਹ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਕੱਦਾ ਰੌਲਾ ਪਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ. ਯੋਰ DGISPR has been sharing that evidence with the recordings of Indians calling people here and, you know, planting bombs and doing all kind of terrorist stuff. But still the world was always believed India and never believed Pakistan. But look at what happened after Op Sindoor. The Indians sent their whole delegation of parliamentarians throughout the world, and not a single country basically said that Pakistan is in the wrong. Okay, and what Indians got is, look, foreign Jaishankar Gandhi, it is a big achievement. UNSC has given this statement. India has the full right, or UN or whatever the BRICS, India has the full right to, you know, to put the people of the perpetrators of Pahalgam to justice. ਭਾਈ ਇਹ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟ ਚ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹੂਗੀ ਇਹ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟ? ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤਦ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ has full right to, you know, put perpetrators to justice. But the question is, like, you are blaming Pakistan and nobody else is saying, yes, we agree with the stance of India कि Pakistan ने कराया and India has the right to now go and fight a war with Pakistan. Not a single country. ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਕੀ ਆਈਸੋਲੇਸ਼ਨ? ਅੱਛਾ, ਆਈਸੋਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ. ਆਈਸੋਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਦ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਲਈ ਅਸੈਸੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਸਕੁਆਡ ਭੇਜਣਾ, ਤੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨੇ ਦੇ ਕਿਕਡ ਆਊਟ ਆਲ ਦੇ ਡਿਪਲੋਮੈਟਸ. ਨਾਓ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਵੀ ਦੇ ਲਾਸਟ ਡਿਚ ਐਫਰਟਸ, ਦੇ ਆਰ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਟ੍ਰੇਡ ਡੀਲ ਕਰ ਦਾਂਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ, ਫ੍ਰੀ ਟ੍ਰੇਡ ਡੀਲ. ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗਦੀ ਗੇਟ 'ਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਟਰੱਕ ਦੀ ਬੱਤੀ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਲਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ. Any country worth their salt, Western country worth their salt, if they think that India is going to give them a free trade deal, if India is going to agree on a free trade deal with you, you are living in a pipe's dream, because India is never ever, India is incapable of having a fair trade with any country. You have to understand the way the structure of India is, the way the Babu Dome works there. All of India, they want all the business with Adanis and Ambanis. So how are they going to let you sell stuff in India? They'll ask you to first, do a partnership with Adani and Ambani, and Adani and Ambani is not going to let your business earn any money. Okay, so this is where they are getting fooled by the size of the Indian market. They look at the Indian market, they see the potential, and then they all these think tanks, they tell them all these lies, which will never pay out. Not a single American business ever made a single dollar of profit in India. They have only lost for last 3 decades trillions and trillions of dollars, and it is high time that they realize. I think the business world has realized. This is now the leftover portion was ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ think tank ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ academician ਜਿਹੜੇ analyst ਬਣ ਕੇ ਇੰਡੋ ਪੈਸੀਫਿਕ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟਜੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਇੰਡੀਆ ਵੱਡੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ, ਉਹ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਮਾੜੇ ਮੋਟੇ ਫੰਡਿੰਗ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਲਿਖ ਦੋ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਤੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਨਾਲ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਚੁੱਪ ਹੋ ਗਏ. ਅਨੀ ਭਾਜੀ, is there any talk in the strategic, what is happening to the Indo-Pacific strategy and Quad, and what's going to happen there?
Indo-Pacific strategy and Quad is dead for all practical purposes, right? And Japan and even Australia is far away. Japan and USA are only in the East Asia, like I said, Pacific Ocean. Indian Ocean region, the blue water navy of the great Indian Navy with 2 aircraft carriers and 2 Arihant and Arighat nuclear submarines, right? They cannot cover this whole Indian Ocean region against China at the behest of USA, right? I'm just saying the policy, like they now they will not want to do it, but before that they were saying that okay, from the Pacific side, Australia, in the South Pacific, Australia, in North Pacific, USA and Japan, and Indian Ocean region will be covered by USA naval aircraft carriers and Indian Navy. Now, Quad is, for all practical purposes, dead. You will not see anything in this Quad. Indo-Pacific, open Indo-Pacific strategy is dead, right? So, China and India, they are getting closer, and USA has no other option. If in South Asia they want again Pakistan on their side, Pakistan will not go against China, as I already said, and then only in Pacific Ocean, not Indo, because the South Asia and this Africa, it is becoming base of China more, a lot more than USA. The influence of China, I think there are 54 countries in Africa. I'm not exactly sure, 54 or 52, and 50 or 51 out of them. So it's about 95 to 96%. They are doing more trade with China, right? So South Asia and this Africa and Indian Ocean region, not Indo-Pacific, I'll say in Indian Ocean, it is going towards China, and USA is failing. US strategy is failing here because of the failure of India, because they trusted India with this, that
That is
Indian
right.
Ocean region and South Asia is the sphere of influence of India, and India has let them down, and the whole US influence in South Asia and Indian Ocean region and Africa is gone.
Right. Ali Paji, that is, you're hitting it in my books like that's India is the reason for the current global turmoil. Okay, I believe in more like the Western model of power balance. As long as there's power balance, things run. So you could have two poles. You could have China and America. Like we had this whole Cold War, but the Cold War, both the sides were equally balanced in power, and then you have peace. So that's why it was Cold War. But in today, like with India now not delivering to, if India had delivered economically, let us say, good portion of Chinese low-end manufacturing had moved to India. It would have helped China. It would have helped US. It would have kept the global peace. ਆ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁਣ ਵੈਸਟ 'ਚ ਵੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਆ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ 'ਚ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੈਸਟ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੀ ਕਾਸਟ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਡਿਲੀਵਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਪਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਇਕਨੋਮਿਕਲੀ ਦ ਫਸਟ ਜੌਬ ਆਫ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਵਾਸ ਟੂ ਡਿਲੀਵਰ ਇਕਨੋਮਿਕਲੀ ਐਂਡ ਦੇ ਹੈਵ ਫੇਲਡ next was to deliver militarily. They have failed. So, but I wanted to show something interesting to you, and if you can help for the sake of our किसी ने हुनी साझा कीता है. Is this a real picture, or is like is it in your view that more like AI one or something?
It is real picture. I have seen it with my own eyes. There were two aircraft, 606 and I think the other was 731. This aircraft was given the kill of Su-30 MKI in 2019, and the other one, it was single seater. Like 6 starts, it's the dual seater, and the 7 tail number, 7 star it's for the single seater F-16. So the Abhinandan was shot by a single seater, Sir Noman Ali Khan. That aircraft also has this flag. So this shows the kill mark of that 2019 on this F-16 Operation Swift Retort.
Okay. So can you explain the sign for the benefit of audience? Like there is this India the flag, and there is this rescue here. Like is it deliberately put there? Like what does all this mean?
No. This rescue and this 606 and Top Gun into 4, that is something like you will see on other F-16s also. So the flag is just, it is showing the kills. The rescue is for the pilot, like in all the F-16s, in the USAF, and also you will see this arrow and all that. But just to show the kill mark, you have two options. Number one, you paint the flag that it was Indian Air Force flag, or you paint the aircraft, the silhouette of like Su-30 MKI or MiG-21. So we preferred the Indian flag. So the same two tail numbers, which shot down in 2019, they were painted with these flags on these two aircraft, that they have kills against Indian Air Force.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I feel in the J-10C they have put a silhouette. Do you know anything what they did for? Okay, I think
they will show. Yeah, they will show also, because generally there are silhouettes. If you see US Air Force aircraft also, they have this. Even the bombers, when they lob bombs like JDAM and all those laser guided bombs, So they paint small bombs on them, right? So generally you put the silhouettes or the paintings of those small aircraft, but it is your choice. We prefer Indian flags, and now let's see on J10 you put silhouettes, or you can change them again with this. And I think on 14th August you will see a lot of such things, because the kills will be credited, in my opinion, and the pilots will be awarded medals. Each and every pilot and each and every tail number that was involved in the shooting down of Indian aircraft. So I am waiting very, as said, as I'm curious and I'm waiting anxiously for 14th August. I will. I hope that we will see many such things like this picture.
Oh, okay, got it. And then, man, this view of this cockpit of F-16, it always blows me off. Like this cockpit glass. Like I don't know how they make this canopy. Like it's kind of a bubble, right? I
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
any other
yeah.
aircraft. If I look at, I always feel like the pilot's visibility is not great, right? But like this one, it always blows me off. It's like you see how like it's a total glass. The seat is slightly inclined back. So I think the probably it's the most pleasurable thing to fly because you're constantly just looking at the sky.
The best bubble. Even this is a dual seater, so you see there is some partition between the two canopies
Right.
from the front pilot. If you see the single seater, it's one complete bubble,
Yeah.
beautiful canopy. And just one thing more: this Top Gun into four, this squadron, the particular squadron that was awarded these two kills, they have won Top Gun trophy four times. Top Gun trophies are Pakistan Air Force like internal competition of inter squadron armament competition. So four times this squadron has won that particular trophy, and they are also the current champions also. So they shot Indian aircraft in 2019, and since then they are the champions of Pakistan Air Force, the Top Guns of Pakistan Air Force.
Got it. Got it. And just for technical question from my side, what is the compromise when in the aircraft when they make it twin seater? Like, is it, does it carry less fuel, less armament? What's the compromise?
Generally, in like modern aircraft like F-16 and all these, generally there are not much compromises, because like Su-30 MKI is also a dual seater, so you get two brains and four eyes, right? So the workload between the pilots, it is shared. Before that, like F7 and MiG-21, and yes, in smaller aircraft, if you put another seat and another pilot and more avionics, yes, then the fuel was less, the complete combat load was less. But now these fourth generation aircraft like F-16, F-15, Su-30 MKI, now there is not much compromises. Rather, it is better. Like I said, two pilots, they share the workload. So dual seater, it gives you more advantages in this modern world of this radars and a lot of clutter coming in, and multi sensors giving you many informations out, many things. So sometimes it helps to have two pilots.
Right, right, right. Yeah, Su-30, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Su-30. It's just, I'm not a pilot, but I've seen like it's probably an aircraft which even Indra radar will pick up potentially. It was such a
ਬਣੇ ਹੀ
big...
ਉਹਦੇ ਪਿਕ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ
Hanji?
ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਣੇ ਹੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਪਿਕ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਪਿਕ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਨਾ ਮਾਰ ਲਈਏ ਕਿਤੇ
ਹਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਕਦੇ fratricide ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ, that I'm pretty sure.
ਹਾਂ
Like it probably will never have a fratricide. And
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਭਾਜੀ ਹੋਰ ਲੱਗਦੀ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ 6 ਕਿੱਲ ਕੀਤੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਇਹਨਾਂ 15 ਅਗਸਤ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਖੜੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਮੈਡਲ ਮੋਡਲ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੰਮ ਚੱਲਣ ਡਿਆ, ਉਹ ਨੈਰੇਟਿਵ ਖੜਾ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ।
ਅੱਛਾ ਅੱਛਾ, ਇੰਡੀਆ ਵਾਲੀ ਸਾਈਡ?
ਹਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਕੀ ਹੈ, 2 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਬਸ ਉੱਤੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿਤੀ।
ਨਹੀਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ, ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ 15 ਮੇਰੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ। I don't think they're going to, Indians are going to award. The Pakistan side will, because it make all the sense, because the Indians don't have to, because Bhagu Paji, the Air Chief Marshal just said one line, and that's enough now for their IT cell to make it like the whole 1.5 billion believe it. Now you will ask them, who are the pilot? They will say, oh, why should we tell you? Why should the pilot name be told? The pilot name should be kept secret. Otherwise,
actually, he didn't claim air-to-air kills. Like he is admitting that, he is admitting that my kills were with S400.
Oh yeah, this one correct.
So technically, the awards will go to controllers. Maybe if they are awarding, they will give the awards to fighter controllers, air defense controllers who were shooting the SAMs. He himself said that no Indian Air Force pilot has shot down a plane.
I think they might award some fighter controllers and all, because you said that their whatever that Barnala was hit, and
Yeah, yeah.
if Adampur also was hit with that whatever this S400, then I'm pretty sure a lot of people from that branch got killed.
There
So
are many deaths, like 4 to 5 times more deaths than pilots, and or like 5 deaths in Pakistan Air Force also. So the biggest brunt of this officers who died in Indian Air Force, they are from this branch in
yeah,
Barnala and like S400, and also so like
yeah,
they have to give them some medals, some posthumous maybe, the ones who have died, so
yeah,
they can say that before dying, like Abhinandan shot F-16 before he was shot down. So
yeah.
before that controller died, he shot down a Pakistani F-16 by using S-400. So let's see.
Yeah, you are right. Like the Barnala IACCS, whatever that central hub, I have been there once only, and that is correct. Barnala is the nerve center of the Indian Air Force network, wherein they fuse all the sensors there, and then the same picture, anybody can access. So it's nothing great now. It's kind of pretty common, but Barnala was huge, and it's a huge underground facility. I don't know whether it was reinforced kind of concrete, which cannot be. But how are you sure that it was? Because we just got a statement from Air Marshal Aurangzeb. So this is one of those things that we just have to take him on his word. We have not gotten any evidence. What kind of ammunition was used? How are we sure that it was taken out? What's your take?
So again, Bajib, I am not privy to the details. Like I was shown some targets which were like uh, again Indians will say no satellite pictures and no everything. So I am in the business of shooting down enemies and fighting wars. I am not in the business of optics that I have to show the media that ye dekh lo, ye dekh lo, ye dekh lo. So Barnala basically it had mainly that radar which was shot down by CM 400, and then it was again targeted with some drones also. So the radar structure infrastructure, it was destroyed by that anti-radiation missile which was used against S400, right? And then I think the rest of the damage, because the number of deaths, if I am not wrong, it was close to 16. So there were many people, but I'm not saying that dozens have died, because I'm 100% sure that most of it was underground, right, and reinforced. So I'll not claim irresponsibly that I have taken out whole
Right.
of this
Yeah.
facility. So the radar was destroyed, and then there were a lot of drones and those rocket attacks, and about 16 deaths. The infrastructure, the outside radar antenna,
Hmm.
and people I think who were sitting or like in the command and control mobile command and control posts, which is
Right.
like a trailer, and maybe in the offices above the ground, many
Right.
of the casualties from them. I don't think that without bunker busters you can destroy a reinforced underground facility. So whole facility was not destroyed, but around 16 deaths, and all the infrastructure of that radar, the antenna, and that its generators and everything, it was taken out with the anti-radiation missile.
Oh, what about that? Are you guys familiar? Do you India? I don't know whether they still carry them, but when I left, they had gotten some aerostat radars. One I think was put in Barnala. One was clear near to Bhuj at that point in time. If Pakistan, have you heard about aerostat radars, and have Pakistan also used them? Are you familiar with them?
Aerostat radar is like, if I'm not wrong, I read about them in like we were doing our threat perception and Indian Falcon AVAX and all that. So I think it's a like balloon
Balloon,
kind
yes.
of a,
Radar
yeah,
inside it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So radar with balloon and you host them. Pakistanis use these balloon barrages, but not for the radar purpose. Our radars are mostly like they are on aircraft or ground based.
Okay.
So AVAX or ground based, no balloon radars like aerostat. But I think that they are not that much effective, because it's like you can shoot them down easily. But Pakistan definitely uses that balloon barrage units, BBUs. They are filled with gases.
I think Ali Paji got a call. So we'll let him take a call, and while he joins back.
अच्छा अरजीत भाजी मैं एक गल करना चाहूंगा अगर
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਤਰਫੋਂ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਹੋਵੇ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਪਲੀਜ਼
ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੂੰਗਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਇਫ ਆਮ ਨਾਟ ਮਿਸਟੇਕਨ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਸੁਰੇਸ਼ ਇੰਬੈਸੀ ਓਪਨਿੰਗ ਕੀਤੀ ਜੇ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੀ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਧਰੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਵੀ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਏ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਹਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਹੋਇਆ
ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਹਲੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਹਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਹਲੇ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਆਲਸੋ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿਡ ਇਨ ਫਿਗਰਿੰਗ ਦੈਟ ਆਊਟ ਬਟ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਗੋ ਅਹੈਡ
ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਵੈਸੇ ਇੱਕ ਸੁਝਾਅ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਓਪੀਨੀਅਨ ਇੱਕ ਰਾਏ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਅਗਰ ਇੱਕ ਮਾੜਾ ਮੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਬੈਕਗਰਾਉਂਡ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਕੇ ਨਾ ਅਗਰ ਇਹ ਦੇਣਾ ਇੱਕ ਫੀ ਵੀ ਰੱਖ ਲੈਣ ਫॉर एग्जांपल $100 और $500 और $1,000 ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਫਿਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਮਾਊਂਟ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਫਰਦਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਚੰਗੇ ਕਮਾਈ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਲੱਗੇਗੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਲਈ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਬੈਕਗਰਾਉਂਡ ਚੈੱਕਅਪ ਹੋਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਉਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੜੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਆ ਕਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬਣਨ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਲੱਭਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਆ ਜਾਊਂ
ਨਹੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਹੀ ਹੈ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਨਾਟ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਇਫ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਲੀਗਲੀ ਹਲੇ ਅਲਾਉਡ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਦੇਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪਰ ਜੇ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ 100% ਹੀ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਫੀਸ ਫੂਸ ਵੀ ਰੱਖ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਵੇ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੁਝਾਅ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਆਮ ਪ੍ਰੀਟੀ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੈਗਾ ਇੱਕ ਪਲਾਨ ਪਾਥ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਨਾਨ ਵੋਟਿੰਗ ਸੀਟ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਯੂਐਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੋ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਵਰਕਿੰਗ ਔਨ ਦੈਟ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਢਿੱਲਾ ਪਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਬਟ ਆਈ ਵਿਲ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਪਿਕ ਅਪ ਦੈਟ that discussion now. Ali, seems your battery died or what?
Something happened with the internet connection. I just got disconnected and then I just have to refresh my router. So I'm back again.
Good. ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੌਕੀਨ ਹੋ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਹੀ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ and we had Vanta had his hand raised. Vanta, please go ahead.
ਜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਅਹਿਮਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਸਰ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਤਦ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ when other countries get to recognize you as a state. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਐਵੇਂ ਤੇ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਮਤਲਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਨਸ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ we don't recognize this state. We have not established any diplomatic relations with Palestine at the moment. ਉਹਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਲੌਜਿਕ ਹੈਗੀ ਬਗੈਰ ਲੌਜਿਕ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਪੈਲਸਟੀਨੀਅਨ ਨੂੰ ਸਟੇਟ ਰਿਕਗਨਾਈਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ they have some document travel document on which they travel ਤੇ ਬਗੈਰ ਉਹ recognition ਦੇ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਬਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ
you can get like you can claim you are a stateless person and you can get a travel document from UN ਤੇ ਕਈ ਲੋਕ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ they renounce ਜਿਹੜੇ persecuted minorities ਨੇ and then they get the travel document ਤੇ but ਹੋਏਗਾ issue ਪਰ I am saying like as I said ਹੈਗਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਹਾਊ ਵੀ ਕੈਨ ਗੈਟ ਅ ਨੋਨ ਵੋਟਿੰਗ ਸੀਟ ਇਨ UN ਐਂਡ ਰੈਕੋਗਨੀਸ਼ਨ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਬਟ ਆਈ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਫੋਲੋ ਅਪ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਪਲਾਨ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੀਰ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੈਲਪ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਜਾਬਰ ਚੌਧਰੀ ਜੀ ਇਸ ਹੇਅਰ ਜਾਬਰ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਨਾਮ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਪਸੰਦ ਆਇਆ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਭਚੰਗੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਨੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਸੀ ਜਾਬਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਬਟ ਉਹ ਰੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਨੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਹੋਰ ਪਸੰਦ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਨਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਪਸੰਦ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਨਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ
ਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਮੈਂ ਦੋ ਤਿੰਨ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਾਂਝੀਆਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਨਾ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਰਾ ਓਪੀਨੀਅਨ ਵੀ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਇੱਕ ਘੰਟਾ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਇੱਕ ਨਾ ਵੀਲੌਗ ਕਰਕੇ ਹਟਿਆ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੋ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੜੀਆਂ ਚੰਗੀਆਂ ਬੜੀਆਂ ਅੱਛੀਆਂ ਖਬਰਾਂ ਲੱਗੀਆਂ ਅੱਛੀਆਂ ਜਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਸਮਾਚਾਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਇੱਕ ਤੇ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ UK ਚੈਰਿਟੀ ਨੇ 6 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਇਨਵੈਸਟੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਲਿਖਣਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਜਾਇਜ਼ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਟੂਡੇ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਖਬਰ ਸੀ
ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਲਵੀਨਾ ਟੰਡਨ ਇੱਕ ਕੋਰਸਪੋਂਡੈਂਟ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਚਵਲਾ ਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਉਹ 6 ਸਾਲ ਇਨਵੈਸਟੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਰਹੀ ਤੇ 6 ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਨਤੀਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਫਤਹ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਇੱਕ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਵੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਲਿਖਣਾ ਉਹ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਕਰਾਰ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਯੂਕੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਇੱਕ ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ। ਦੂਜਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਰੌ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਕਸੀਆਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਿਸ਼ਨੋਈ ਗੈਂਗ ਮੰਦਭਾਗੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਪਾਇਆ ਜਾਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ। ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖੀਆਂ, ਇੱਕ ਆਪਣਾ ਅਲ ਜਜ਼ੀਰਾ ਦੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਛਪੀ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕ ਆਪਣਾ ਬਲਕਿ NDTV ਤੇ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਬਿਸ਼ਨੋਈ ਗੈਂਗ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਦਾਰੀਆਂ ਕਬੂਲ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਇਹ ਕਪਲ ਸ਼ਰਮਾ ਦੇ ਕੈਫੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਫਾਇਰਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀ। ਇਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਕਿ ਇਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਿਸ਼ਨੋਈ ਗੈਂਗ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫੁੱਟ ਹੋਲਡ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਾਊਂਟਰ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਉੱਤਰੀਆਂ ਜਾਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੀ ਪਲਾਨ ਹੈਗਾ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਰੌ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਪੂਰਾ ਪਲਾਨ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਕਸੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੰਦਭਾਗੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਾ ਕੇ ਉੱਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਏ ਆਪਣੇ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਬਦਨਾਮ ਇਹ ਹੋਣ ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਉਹ ਕਰਨ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਪਲਾਨ ਆ ਪਲਾਟ ਆ ਉਹ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਲੋਚਿਸਤਾਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਚਵਲਾ ਮਾਰਦੇ। ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਬਿਸ਼ਨੋਈ ਗੈਂਗ ਨੂੰ ਡੱਕਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੀ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਰਾ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਸਾਂਝੇ ਕਰੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੈਠੇ। ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਲਾਹੌਰ 'ਚ ਬੈਠਿਆ। ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਵੀ ਦੇ ਦੇਣਾ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਗੁਰਪੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਪੰਨੂ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਲਾਹੌਰ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਕਲੱਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਕਾਨਫਰੰਸ ਤੇ ਰਾਤ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ 8 ਵਜੇ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਦਿਖਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਲਾਈਵ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਇਸ ਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੋ ਚਾਰ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਾਂਝੀਆਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਲਓ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਲ। ਆਈ ਨੋ I don't know whether this is very relevant for Ali Paji, but Ali Paji might be interested in just learning about this idea. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਨਾ, ਦੇਖੋ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੀ ਨਾ ਟਰਾਂਸਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਿਪਰੈਸ਼ਨ ਸੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ, ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਨਵੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ। ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ 'ਚ ਦਖਲ ਦੇਣਾ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਲੈਕਮੇਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰਟੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਜ਼ਬਤ ਕਰ ਲਾਂਗੇ, ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਰਤਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ। ਠੀਕ ਆ, ਬੰਦੇ ਮਰਵਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਉਰੇ। ਇਹ ਸਭ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹ ਗਿਆ ਵਿਦ ਜਦ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਹਰਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਨਿੱਜਰ ਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਹਾਦਤ ਹੋਈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਿਆ। ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ 'ਚ ਖੜ ਕੇ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਅੱਛਾ, ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜਾ UK ਵੀ ਸੀ ਨਾ, UK ਵੀ ਵਾਜ਼, ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕੰਟਰੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਆਪਰੇਟ ਹੀ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਸੀ। ਤੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਜੀ ਫਲਾਣਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ, ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤੰਗ ਕਰਨਾ। UK ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਤਲਾਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਲਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਈ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਜਸਟ ਫॉर ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਰ ਟਾਕਿੰਗ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਬਟ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ। ਬਿਲਕੁਲ, ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਗ ਲੱਗ ਰਹੀ ਕਿ ਭਾਈ ਅਸਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟੈਰਰਿਸਟ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨੀ ਨੇ। that Indian state is the real terror state। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ UK ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੰਨ ਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਗੌਨ ਕੇਸ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਕਿ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ਰਸ ਨੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਕੋਲੋਨਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੇ ਆ ਕੇ UK ਕਰ ਲਿਆ। ਤੇ ਬਟ ਚੰਗੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਬਹੁਤੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਅਣਖ ਜਾਗੀ ਹੈ UK ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦੀ, ਤੇ ਮਾੜਾ ਮੋਟਾ ਉਹ ਦੇ ਹੈਵ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੂਡ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਐਨਾਲਿਸਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਇਜ਼ ਦਾ ਬਿਗੈਸਟ ਐਂਡ ਮੋਸਟ ਓਵਰਲੁਕਡ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਥ੍ਰੈਟ ਫॉर ਦ ਵੈਸਟਰਨ ਕੰਟਰੀਜ਼। ਇਹ ਈਰਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਤੱਕੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਹਾਂ ਈਰਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਤੱਕੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਚਾਈਨਾ ਤੋਂ ਡਰੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅਸਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ, ਤੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਡਰ ਐਸਟੀਮੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਤੇ
ਹੁਣ ਸਰ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ, ਦੇਖੋ ਨਾ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ G7 ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖੱਤ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਅਲੱਗਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨੋਟ ਆਇਆ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਰਿਪਰੈਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਲਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ।
ਯਾ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਬੜੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਹੀ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਹਾਊ ਫਾਰ ਇਟ ਗੋਜ਼। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਦੇਖੋ ਚੰਗੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਵੈਸਟ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਗ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਐਂਡ ਆਣੀ। ਇਟਸ ਨਾਟ ਅ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆਫ ਇਟਸ ਅ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆਫ ਵੈਨ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਰੱਬਰ ਭਾਜੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਸੈਟ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟੇਜਿਕ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਸੈਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲਿਸਟਾਂ ਦਾ, ਉਹ ਵੈਸਟ ਨਾਲ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਤਾਂ ਚਲੋ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਨਫ਼ਰਤ। ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸਿਮੀਲੇਟ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਅਸਿਮੀਲੇਟ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਕੀ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਨੇ, ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਸਵਰਕਰ ਤੇ ਗਾਂਧੀ ਦਾ ਚਲਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਪੰਥ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਾ ਚਲਾਇਆ ਪੰਥ। ਥੀਸ ਆਰ ਨਾਟ ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ। ਤਾਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਐਟੀਟਿਊਡ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੈਸਟ ਵੱਲ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਹੋਰ ਸਿਵਲਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੱਲ, ਇਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਫ਼ਰਤ ਭਾਲਦੇ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਯਾਰ ਗਰੀਬ ਕਿ 47 ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਯਾਰ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਮਾੜੀ ਮੋਟੀ, ਕਹਿਣਗੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਗੋਰਾ ਲੁੱਟ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਗਿਆ। ਉਹ ਯਾਰ 75 ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗਏ ਨੂੰ, ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਹੱਥ ਪੈਰ ਮਾਰ ਲਓ, ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਾ ਦੇਣਗੇ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਨਫ਼ਰਤ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਈਰਖਾ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਕਈ ਗੁਣਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਫ਼ਰਤ ਇਹ ਗੋਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ,
ਹਰ
ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ
ਬੰਦੇ
ਕੰਟਰੀ
ਨਾਲ ਜੀ,
ਹਰ ਬੰਦੇ ਨਾਲ,
ਆਪਣੀ ਪੁਤਾਵਾ ਹਰ ਬੰਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਫ਼ਰਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜੀ,
ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ
ਆਪਣੇ
ਕ੍ਰਿਸਚੀਅਨ ਹੈ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਹੈ, ਨਫ਼ਰਤ ਹੀ ਨਫ਼ਰਤ ਆ। ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਟਸ ਅ ਡੀਪ ਸੋਸ਼ਲੋਜੀਕਲ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਸੋਸ਼ਲੋਜੀਕਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ। ਐਨੀਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਾਂਗੇ, ਬਟ
ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸਿਰਫ ਐਡ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਈਕ ਦੇ ਦੇਣਾ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਦੋਸਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ। ਇਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਚੀਅਨ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਲਿਆ, ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਰਿਆਸਤ ਛੱਤੀਸਗੜ੍ਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣਾ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਚੀਅਨ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗਿਰਜਾ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਲੱਗੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਮੂਰਤੀਆਂ ਬੀਬੀ ਪਾਕ ਮਰੀਅਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਦਰ ਦੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਤੋੜੀਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ ਉੱਥੇ। ਉੱਤੇ ਇਨਾਮ ਰੱਖੇ ਜੀ, ਪੈਸੇ ਲਵੋ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਬੀਜੇਪੀ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇਤਾ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਵਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਘੱਟ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਤੇ ਵਾਈਪ ਆਊਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਚੱਕਰ। ਇਹ ਦੇਖੋ ਨਾ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਸਿਵਲਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਾਇਮ ਰਹਿ ਸਕੇਗੀ। ਇਹ ਤੇ ਟੋਟੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਰਾ ਲੈਣੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਟੋਟੇ ਕਰਨੇ ਪੈਣੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਤੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੀ ਜਾਓ ਗੱਲ ਉੱਧਰ ਹੀ ਵੱਧ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਐਨੀਵੇਜ਼ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਹੋਰ ਸਵਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਾ ਹੁਣ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਰੈਪ ਅਪ ਕਰਨ ਵੱਲ ਤੁਰੀਏ। ਹੋ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਘੰਟੇ? 3 ਘੰਟੇ 34 ਮਿੰਟ ਮੈਰਾਥਨ। ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਨੀਂਦਾਂ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ, ਮੇਰੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸਵੇਰ ਦੇ 3 ਵੱਜ ਗਏ। ਤੇ ਬਟ we'll try to take last comments from Ali Paji. What's your take on what's going to happen next?
So basically again Paji, air power and geopolitics briefly. Air power is the bada clearly ऐसा गल कर ली सारी ना, Indian Air Force has been reduced to a missile force and everything. Accountability दी भी गल हो गई कि वो ना सीखना कोई नहीं, ठीक है, अपनी गलतियां तो, so that is good for us. Now coming to the briefly geopolitical side, like I said, you see, hopefully inshallah ta'ala very soon a peaceful Pakistan with Khalistan as a buffer state between India and Pakistan. Because if Indians have some issue with Pakistan, which they have, like the only solution is there should be a buffer state, peaceful state between us. कश्मीर का मसला भी उधर नाल हल हो जाएगा, राइट? फिर इंडियंस अगर कुछ करना चाह भी रहे होंगे ना, तो they cannot do directly anything this stupidity like they are doing in 2019 and 2025. So China as a global and regional leader, basically as a regional leader, from Bangladesh, from the east till Afghanistan,
Right.
you will see with the inception of this Khalistan and free Kashmir and free eastern sides, and Indians weakened, like weak Delhi, like you said.
Correct.
Even if they have some wrong motives against their neighbors,
Correct.
okay, they will not be able to do anything. So this is a possibility now, because India with their weak economy, ਉਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਨਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, we know the reality, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, militarily, economically, politically, diplomatically, India ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਨੇ, practically they are not at that point, right? So they have to follow now China's lead in the region, which will definitely inshallah ta'ala lead to the resolution of Kashmir issue, the resolution of the issues in the eastern side, strong Bangladesh and Khalistan, and then a peaceful and prosperous region. Right? South Asia will be peaceful and prosperous with this weekend and under the I'll say thumb of China. And then maybe we will see that this region is in the Chinese camp, and that's a long story that we are going towards USA China confrontation, and I'll not go there right now. So I think this is the future. Okay, Indians should accept कि militarily, ठीक है, economically पाकिस्तान नाल मुकाबला और नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है, चाइना नाल ते गल ही छड़ दो ना, ठीक है, कश्मीर का मसला हल करो, खालिस्तान बनाओ, पीसफुली रीजन विच रहो, ठीक है, प्रोग्रेस करो ते प्रॉस्परस करके चाइना नाल मिलके पूरे रीजन ਨੂੰ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਦਿਓ।
बिल्कुल। Yeah, the one thing, a couple of things. Thank you, Ali Paji. I think you hit it on the nail, head of the nail, and I think couple of things, like just a nitty-gritty, but I call it like a neutral friendly state, not the buffer state, because buffer state sometimes it gives the connotation of a demilitarized zone. So it's going to be neutral friendly states, both with Pakistan and India, with friendly borders on both sides. ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਆ ਕਿ ਈਵਨ ਇਫ ਸਾਊਥ ਤੇ ਨਾਰਥ ਈਸਟ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਆਜ਼ਾਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਅੱਡ ਸਿਵਲਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨਾਂ ਨੇ, ਐਂਡ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਵੈਰੀ ਕੇਪੇਬਲ ਪੀਸਫੁਲ ਪੀਪਲ ਹੂ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰੈਸ, ਨਥਿੰਗ ਐਲਸ। ਜੇ ਫੁੱਲ ਵੀ ਆਜ਼ਾਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਨਾ, you will not see India like today, which is a very deeply centralized, cow belt ਕੋਲ ਸਾਰੀ ਪਾਵਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਤਗੜੀ, ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਫੈਡਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਜੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਏਗੀ। ਫਿਰ ਸਾਊਥ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਟੋਨੋਮੀ ਤਾਂ ਘੱਟ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਲੈ ਜਾਏਗਾ, ਨਾਰਥ ਈਸਟ ਵੀ। ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਪੂਰੇ ਖਿੱਤੇ 'ਚ ਵਪਾਰ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹੇਗਾ, ਚਾਈਨਾ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਮੈਂ ਕਹਾਂਗਾ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹੇਗਾ ਨਾ, ਫਿਰ US ਦਾ ਵੀ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਖੁੱਲੇਗੀ ਤਾਂ US ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਆ ਕੇ ਕੰਪੀਟ ਕਰਨੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਦੀ ਅੱਧੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ US ਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਚਾਈਨਾ 'ਚ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਪੈਸਾ ਤਾਂ US ਕੰਪਨੀ ਦਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ। ਤੇ ਅੱਛਾ, ਤੀਜਾ ਮੈਂ ਮੰਨਦਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੂਵ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਜੀਓਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਟੈਂਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਘਟਾਵੇਗਾ ਲੌਂਗ ਰਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ। ਉਹਦਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਇਹ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟਰੰਪ ਦਾ ਟੈਰਿਫ ਉਹਨੇ ਲਾਈ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਿਵ ਆਰਡਰ ਪੜ੍ਹੋ। ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਰਡ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਉਹਦਾ, ਇਟਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਰਿਵੀਲਿੰਗ। ਉਹ ਟੈਰਿਫ ਲਈ ਕੋਟ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ। ਇਹ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਜੋ ਕਾਰਨ ਕੀ ਦੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਚਾਈਨਾ, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਮਿਲਟਰੀ ਪਾਵਰ ਬਣ ਰਿਹਾ। ਮਿਲਟਰੀ ਪਾਵਰ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਬਟ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਕੋਲ ਮੈਨੂਫੈਕਚਰਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਕੌਨਸੈਂਟਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਣ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਥ੍ਰੈਟ ਬਣ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਮੇਰੇ F-35 'ਚ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਦੇ ਚਿਪ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਲੱਗੇ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਜੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ 80% ਮੈਨੂਫੈਕਚਰਿੰਗ ਇੱਕ ਕੰਟਰੀ 'ਚ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਉਹ ਸਭ ਲਈ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਥ੍ਰੈਟ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਜੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂਫੈਕਚਰਿੰਗ ਫੈਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਕੁਛ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਕੋਲ ਚਲੇਗੀ, ਕੁਛ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਕੋਲ ਚਲੇਗੀ, ਕੁਛ ਬੰਗਲਾਦੇਸ਼ ਕੋਲ ਚਲੇਗੀ, ਕੁਛ ਵੀਅਤਨਾਮ ਕੋਲ ਚਲੇਗੀ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਕੰਟਰੀਆਂ ਲਾਰਜ ਐਮਪਾਇਰਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਜੀਓ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਏਮਸ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਖੁਸ਼ ਰਹਿ ਨੇ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਛੋਟੀ ਕੰਟਰੀਆਂ ਖੁਸ਼ ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਖੁਸ਼ ਨੇ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੀ ਇਨਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਹੈ ਵਿਦ ਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ ਟੂ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਉਹ ਘਟਦੀ ਹੈ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਨੂੰ, ਸਸਤੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ, ਟ੍ਰੇਡ ਹੈ, ਪ੍ਰੋਸਪੈਰਿਟੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਦਿੱਕਤ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ 80% ਮੈਨੂਫੈਕਚਰਿੰਗ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੋ, ਠੀਕ ਆ, ਤੇ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਨੇ ਕੰਪੈਰੇਟਿਵਲੀ ਸਪੀਕਿੰਗ ਚਾਈਨਾ ਕੋਲ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਮਨੀ ਪਾਵਰ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਚਾਈਨਾ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੀ ਫੌਜ ਤੋਂ ਕਈ ਗੁਣਾ ਤਗੜੀ ਫੌਜ ਖੜੀ ਕਰ ਲੈਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਸੀ, ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਉਹ ਮਜਬੂਰੀ 'ਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਾਂਟ ਅ ਪੀਸਫੁਲ ਰਾਈਜ਼, ਠੀਕ ਆ। ਤੇ ਐਂਡ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਕੇਪੇਬਲ ਆਫ ਲਿਵਿੰਗ ਲਾਈਕ ਅ ਪੀਸਫੁਲ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਵਿਦ ਅ ਪਾਵਰ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਵਿਦ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਰਸ਼ੀਆ ਵੀ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ। ਤਾਂ ਬਟ ਉਹਦਾ ਰਾਹ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਸੋਲਵ ਕਰਕੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗੀ, ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਬਰਾਬਰ ਦੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਚਾਈਨਾ ਦੇ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਬਰਾਬਰ ਦੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਚਾਈਨਾ ਕੋਲ ਸਾਰੀ ਮੈਨੂਫੈਕਚਰਿੰਗ ਕਨਸਨਟ੍ਰੇਟਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏਗੀ, then there will be less chances of a nuclear catastrophe and there will be global stability and peace and prosperity. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਮਿਡਲ ਈਸਟ ਵੀ ਸੋਲਵ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦ ਮਿਆਂਮਾਰ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਬਾਈ ਬੱਸ ਟਿਲ ਯੂਰਪ, there are hardly any conflicts left on this entire thing, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਇਨਫਲੂਐਂਸ ਨਾਲ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਮੰਨਦਾ ਆ। ਤੇ I hope both the Americans and the Chinese policy makers listen to people like ordinary people like us, rather than those bullshit think tanks who sell them this Indo-Pacific strategy and all that crap that has been sold in America is just for the last 10 years, deluding the American policy making. I think they have to come out of that slumber and hopefully Operation Sindoor has done that. ਚਲੋ ਫਿਰ ਇਸ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੰਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅਲੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ, ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ੁਕਰੀਆ। I'm always humbled and also grateful for your magnanimity. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਟਾਈਮ ਵੀ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਆਉਂਦੇ ਵੀ ਹੋ, ਮਨਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ। ਤੇ ਹੋਪਫੁਲੀ ਮੈਂ ਹੋਰ ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਮੈਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਦਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਫੌਜੀ ਅਫਸਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਦਵਾ ਪਾਵਾਂ। ਉਹ ਡਰਦੇ ਇੰਨੇ ਨੇ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ, ਨਹੀਂ ਯਾਰ ਕਿੱਥੇ, ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਨੇ, ਡੈਮੋਕ੍ਰੇਸੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਹਿਣ ਨੂੰ ਡੈਮੋਕ੍ਰੇਸੀ, or they are just afraid of even doing a simple YouTube appearance. Anyway, but ਆਪਾਂ ਬੰਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਲੀ ਭਾਜੀ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ।
Thank you very much ਭਾਜੀ, thank you very much, honored to be here.
ਓਕੇ, ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿਆਰ, ਸ਼ੁਕਰੀਆ, ਵਸਦੇ ਰਹੋ। ਆਪਾਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਸਟ੍ਰੀਮ ਕਰ ਦਈਏ ਐਂਡ ਅਲੀ ਭਾਜੀ।